I, Ling Jing, have absolutely nothing left to live for. Standing here on this desolate wasteland, surrounded by these clearly oversized, giant plants tangled all together, accompanied by a bizarre green gas. Even the dark soil has been eroded into a deep green hue. In the distant sky, giant birds fly past, so deformed that it is impossible to tell what species they are. Not far away stands a high, dark gray wall. My name is Ling Jing. In my past life, I was a CEO in the listed catering industry. I bustled and struggled for over half my life, only to be accidentally blown to bits before I could even enjoy it. When I opened my eyes again, I appeared in this eerie place, and was forcibly bound to an apocalypse management system. Talk about being sent back to the Stone Age in one shot. System ding, please claim your newbie gift pack. A holographic screen flickers into existence. The contents are as follows. A simple tricycle food stall. Absolute safety. A roaster capable of ignoring ingredient defects to produce delicious roasted potatoes, roasted sweet potatoes, and more. A tent your residence under absolute protection. A lantern for lighting. A cash box. This device automatically identifies counterfeit currency. Restaurant signage. Please name your restaurant. System. Reminder, you have entered the apocalyptic world. The host of the management system is under system protection, absolutely immune to all harms brought by the apocalypse. Please scale up and strengthen your restaurant. Enjoy your management journey. No, please name your restaurant. Ling Jing, wait, restaurant, seriously. How does this look exactly like that roasted sweet potato stall? I set up at the university town gate to survive when I first started my business. If it is a restaurant, let us just call it donghua restaurant. A white light flashes over the sign on the small cart, transforming into the words donghua restaurant in glowing red. Along with the white light, a cardboard sign appears. The main heading reads, Restaurant Rules. In smaller text, 4 points are listed. 1. All food within the restaurant is absolutely safe and non-toxic. Diners within the restaurant premises are under absolute safety. The restaurant's interests are sacred and inviolable. The manager has absolute authority over everything within the restaurant's jurisdiction. Enjoy your meal. Despite the system's flashy and elaborate setup, it can't change the fact that this is just a shabby little food cart. Ling Jing stares at the stall in silence for a moment, before finally getting ready to move. Ling Jing, whatever. This place is so cursed. I will have to rely on the system to keep me alive. Scene transition. On the dark green wasteland, two figures, wrapped tightly from head to toe, walk forward while supporting each other. One of them leans on a crutch. Her skin is cracked, and dark green veins have seeped deep into the marrow around her eyes. Lena, Sister Lilin, that giant bug just took a bite out of you. Let us rest for a bit. Lilin, I am fine. We are almost at the city wall. Every extra minute outside is a minute of extra danger. Here, take this. I just counted 3 small crystals, plus our remaining city coins. It is enough to trade for 1 ration. Lena, number. Sister, do not give it to me. Lilin, Lena, listen to me. Keep your voice down. Do not attract their attention. If I fall, do not worry about me. Just get inside the city as fast as you can. Growl tilde asterisk, both their stomachs rumble at the same time. They have not traded for any rations, and have been starving for 2 days. Both slump powerlessly onto the ground. Suddenly, the aroma of food wafts over from nearby. Scene transition. Ling Jing sits in front of the roaster, staring at the deep green giant potato she just picked up. In less than 5 seconds, in the roaster, it turned back into the fresh potato she remembered. Ling Jing internal monologue. It seems in this world of mutated flora and fauna, the kitchenware provided by the system can automatically restore mutated plants to a toxin-free fresh state. That makes things a whole lot easier. Ling Jing takes a potato out of the oven. The baked potato even comes with a brief description. Baked potato can remove 1% of toxins from the consumer. Suggested price, 4 coins. Looking at this potato's description, there must be a relatively stable currency system here. The toxins the system mentioned should be that green gas in the air. Ling Jing surveys her surroundings. She suddenly notices 2 people, wrapped up tight, walking toward her. Ling Jing watches as they wobble and stagger toward her. It is obvious life has been putting them through the ringer. Hello there. Would you 2 like a baked potato? They are 4 city coins each. The sweet potatoes are not ready yet. You will have to wait a bit. Lilin and Lena observe Ling Jing. Ling Jing is wearing a clean tracksuit, a blue hoodie paired with black trousers. Her exposed skin shows no hint of that sickly green hue. Her black hair is clean and tidy, unlike the bizarre, jagged styles people hack away with scissors in the apocalypse. No dust, no spreading green infection. Just a short, well-maintained cut. A shoulder-length wolf-cut style. What a bold person. Not wearing any protective gear. As if she has zero fear of mutated plant or animal attacks. Does such a person actually still exist? A human completely untouched by corruption. Could she be some mysterious, high-level powerhouse in this world since the arrival of the mysterious green toxic gas? While plants and animals mutated, humans were also gradually eroded by the toxins. Skin color and pupils show varying degrees of poisoning. When the whole body turns dark green, and the blood turns green as well, you are basically as good as dead, and only the rations issued in the city are edible. This is common knowledge for all apocalypse survivors. Once, someone planted a few radish seeds. Before the radish could even grow, it sprouted long, tentacle-like roots that rip the gardener's guts out. Mutated radishes grow at lightning speed and are a dangerous species. After killing him, it grew as big as a house, and started attacking people on the street. By the time the mutants received the order and rushed over to deal with the plant, The mutated radish had already killed 12 people. It was as massive as a building. Ever since then, all high wall entrances were equipped with strict scanning devices. Supposedly by using a mutant's ability. All flora and seeds are strictly prohibited from entering the city. The aroma of the potato makes it impossible for the two to think. The golden potato before them seems to be taunting. Eat me if you dare. Lena, is this really edible? Ling Jing points to a small board under the sign. It reads, all food in this restaurant is 100% safe and toxin-free. Diners within the restaurant premises are guaranteed absolute safety. The restaurant's interests are sacred and inviolable. The manager has absolute authority over everything within the restaurant's operational scope. Enjoy your meal. Ling Jing, please look at the first rule of the house rules. Ling Jing, we operate with absolute integrity. Why do not you give it a try? Lilin pulls Lena aside to whisper. The potato's aroma continues to invade their brains. In less than 10 seconds, they give up the struggle. Lena, okay. I will take one baked potato. Lena hands over the city coins. Ling Jing puts the coins into the cash box. The display shows 4%. Then she hands the potato to Lena. Ling Jing, careful, it is hot. Lena runs back to Lilin, cradling the potato. She carefully splits the potato into 2 halves. Give it to Lilin. Lilin, I will eat first. With a look of grim determination, Lilin takes a bite of the potato. The rich, mellow flavor of the potato glides over her tongue, boldly awakening taste buds that had not seen food in days. Lilin had lost track of how long it had been. How many months, how many years. She had not tasted anything this delicious in forever. She carefully savors the potato in her mouth, chewing every bit as if it were a treasure. Warm tears well up in her eyes. She suddenly feels that even if this roasted potato were poisonous, being able to eat something this good before dying would be worth it. How is it? Lena stares at Lilin, her face full of anxiety, then suddenly cries out in surprise. Lena, ah. The emerald green tint in Lilin's eyes has faded slightly. Lena blinks in disbelief. Sister, it looks like the green in your pupils has gone down a bit. Oh, right. I forgot to tell you. The roasted potatoes at this restaurant can eliminate trace amounts of toxins. Ling Jing looks at the 2 sisters standing stunned before her and lets out a mysterious smile. You did not trust me anyway. If I had said that before you bought it, I would have sounded like even more of a scammer. The 2 sisters are rooted to the spot in shock. This is 10 times more shocking than when they first saw her. As I thought, in this world, food that can remove toxins probably does not exist. Or even if it does, it is likely not something the average person can get their hands on. That means, my food is currently quite competitive. I have only heard that expensive detox injections can cure the poison, and those only circulate within the 3 great cities, and are prioritized for the mutants. One injection costs thousands of crystals. Can a roasted potato bought for 4 city coins really detoxify us? Lilin stares blankly at the piping hot potato in her sister's hand. Her own reaction was the most obvious. The moment the potato entered her mouth, the pain of her body being eroded by the green toxic gas, really. Once she snaps out of it, Lilin immediately pushes Lena's hand, stuffing the remaining half of the potato into Lena's mouth. Eat it quick. This roasted potato really works. Caught off guard, Lena gets a mouthful of potato. It is so hot, she can't even speak. She can only make muffled, intermittent whimpers. Lilin is startled. What is wrong? Is it poisonous? Lena shakes her head violently. Even though it is too hot to speak, she still can't bear to spit it out, chewing it carefully. After swallowing, she smacks her lips and giggles. It is nothing, it is just really hot. This is too amazing. Sister, there is still some left, you eat it. The 4 city coin potato is passed back and forth between the sisters, treated like a precious treasure. It might not be as miraculous as a detox injection. One roasted potato only removes about 1% of the toxins in your body. You probably feel such a strong effect because of rule number 2. Ling Jing points to the second rule on the small sign beneath the main board. 2. Customers dining within the restaurant premises are absolutely safe. Lilin and Lena look at the sign, then look at their surroundings. They realize the space around the food cart seems to glow with a white light, faintly sealing the green gas outside. Lilin suddenly comes to an absurd conclusion. Could it be, boss, your place can block out the green gas entirely? Lilin is beyond shocked. In this day and age, there is actually a space completely free of green gas. After all, even the high walls can only block some of it. What kind of miraculous person is she? And what a miraculous restaurant. It feels just like a dream, just as they were about to lose all hope. Just like a divine being. She descended right before their eyes. Seen, Lena pulls out 3 small crystals and holds them out, looking at Ling Jing expectantly. Lena, we do not have any money left on us. Do you accept these crystals in exchange for food? Ling Jing, bring them over, let me take a look. Ling Jing expertly took the 3 green crystals of varying sizes. She examined them in the palm of her hand. They looked like green amber, shaped into irregular circles. The largest one was about the size of a peanut. She tentatively placed the 3 crystals into the cash register. The cash register popped up a display, 130%. This proved it accepted them. It even automatically converted them into city coins. Pretty smart system. Ling Jing, these 3 are worth 9 city coins in total. Would you 2 like to order anything else? Lena was stunned for a moment. She did not expect that with this mysterious owner. Not only could she buy amazing detoxifying roasted potatoes, but the exchange rate for crystals was also a total bargain. After all, back in the city, these 3 crystals were only worth 6 city coins. While the sisters were dazed, Ling Jing used her tongs to poke at the succulent roasted sweet potatoes in the stove. The description read, roasted sweet potato can eliminate 2% of toxins from the consumer's body. Suggested price, 6 city coins. Ling Jing, the roasted sweet potatoes are ready too. They are 6 city coins each. They can remove a small amount of toxins, about 2%. Lena, then we will take a roasted sweet potato. Scene, Lingjing picks up a roasted sweet potato, wraps it in a paper bag, and hands it over. At the same time, she presses the change button on the cash register. The cash register was so crude that change was not even a real button. It looked more like a sticker. Following her action, the smart register displayed 3 city coins as change on the top. Lena took the sweet potato and crouched back down in front of Lilin. Lena, sister, eat all of this. I am going to run back and get Aunt Longxi. Before Lilin could even react, Lena had already run off, face mask and all. Lilin held the sweet potato and shook her head helplessly. She knew. Lena just wanted to help her purge the toxins from her body. She murmured to herself, Lilin, what difference can a mere 2% really make? This green miasma has been spreading for many years now. Lingjing, you are right, it has been 10 years. Hearing Lingjing speak, Lilin gave a bitter smile in response. Then it suddenly clicked for her. The green miasma has been around for 10 years. She had been inhaling toxic gas every single day because she would accidentally touched plant sap many times and had been bitten. She started showing symptoms of being near death. The extent of her body's corrosion was hard to quantify, but if one was not bitten or in contact with mutant plant fluids and only inhaled the air tainted with green miasma, 10 years would never reach 100% corrosion. 50% at most, so that 2% was roughly equivalent to half a year's worth of inhaling the miasma. Those who died from toxin corrosion usually got bitten while out exploring or accidentally touched plant sap. She was exactly like that. Now, as long as she could purge some toxins, she could stay alive. The owner said 2% was a small amount. To her, it was a life-saving small amount. Lilin, it works. Lilin scrambled to stuff the sweet potato into her mouth. She was going to live. The golden, soft, and sweet flesh of the roasted potato was so delicious that tears streamed down Lilin's face. Inside a wooden shack within the city, the facilities were old and extremely meager. The only furniture was a single table and a stool. Several people were standing in the room. A woman with short hair stood in the center. How was the hall? Longya and Longxi took off their face masks. Longya took the heavy bag in her hand and dropped it onto the table with a loud thud. Longxi, next time we head out, we need to change directions. Go where? The south wall has been sealed off for ages, and you won't let us go north. To the east, Feng Go's gang is stirring up trouble again. So we head west. Longxi did not reply. She looked at the contents of the bag. A dozen or so scattered small crystals, and 5 medium-sized ones. Besides those, it was mostly metal scraps, ragged cloth, and a few broken plastic bottles. This barely counts as 6 rations. I have eaten today, so I won't eat tomorrow. Save half a portion for Zhe Li, and the rest of you split it. In a bit, Chu Jia and I will head outside the wall to look for more crystals. You guys take care of Zhe Li. He is not doing so well. Actually, he was doing terribly. The emerald green infection had already spread to his pupils. The city doctors said he is a goner. In this state, only an antitoxin injection could save him, but they can barely scrape together enough for food rations, let alone an antitoxin injection that costs a king's ransom. Everyone fell into a heavy silence. Suddenly, there was a knock at the wooden door. Longxi, it is me, Lena. Longxi gestured with her eyes for Longxi to open the door. The moment the door opened, the little girl in the masked cloak rushed straight in. She was panting heavily. The people in the room looked at the girl. Seeing her rush back all alone, they exchanged glances. Their eyes were filled with grief and pity. Longzai's heart sank. She picked up a canteen and handed it to Lena. Take it easy, tell us slowly. Lilin, did something happen to her? Lena gulped down some water. She caught her breath a little. Only then did she begin to recount what happened outside the wall, giving them the whole story, chapter and verse. But Longxi and the others did not believe a word of it. They just stroked her head to comfort her. The poor child probably can't handle the bad news. She is hallucinating. Let her get some rest first. I am telling the truth. Didn't Zhe Li get bitten a few days ago? While serving his duty in the Black Fields, is he still running a fever? Take him there and try it out. Maybe he will be cured after eating a roasted potato. Narrator, Longxi thought to herself. Lena must be too traumatized. Going out together might be for the best. If Lilin's body has not been eaten by mutant plants or animals yet, maybe they could at least give the girl a proper burial. Longxi, fine, I will call a few people, and we will go have a look with you. You all should go. Bring all the money. Seriously, you definitely have to bring it. You can bring crystals too. The restaurant accepts crystals as currency. The exchange rate is way better than in the city. As soon as Lena said this, everyone in the room could not help but shake their heads. They felt the child had indeed suffered a mental breakdown. Longxi humored Lena and led her out the door. While arranging things for the people staying in the house, she only took a few people with her. The group walked out through the west wall. Lena, why would you two even head in this direction? You could not blame Longxi for being skeptical. Before the apocalypse, the west side was just suburban farmland. There is almost nowhere to scavenge for pre-apocalypse supplies. It is not like the north, which is the ruins of the old city, or the east, which has factory remains. There is plenty of useful stuff to pick up there. To the west, there is only rotten vegetables in the dirt. Ever since the green mist infestation began, plants no longer die. Even the vegetables in the fields do not rot. They just get greener, and their toxicity keeps getting stronger. During the first 2 years after the high walls were built, the western side was the most dangerous place. Later on, mutant squads from the 3 great cities started coming once a year. year to suppress the activity of mutant plants outside the west wall. The danger level dropped significantly, but there were almost no crystals left to scavenge. People from the city usually do not come to the west side. On our way back, my sister was bitten by a mutant insect. We could not even bother taking the long way back, the way we came. Only thing that was in the walls. I never expected to stumble upon this mysterious boss and her restaurant. Narration compared to Lena's excitement. Everyone else let out a silent sigh. In their hearts, they feared Lilin was already gone. Long Ya was already growing impatient. Are we there yet? Lena, you are not lost, are you? I am not. I can find it just by following the scent. Can't you smell that delicious roasted potato and sweet potato aroma? Just as Long Ya was about to argue, she suddenly caught a whiff of a fragrance. Wait, is that really roasted sweet potato? It is sweet, with that smoky char of roasted potatoes. This is not some kind of mutant plant trap, is it? No, it is not. Lena was beyond thrilled. She pointed to a spot not far ahead, partially hidden by a large boulder, for everyone to see. Following the little girl's finger, their pupils dilated in unison. They did not see Lilin's corpse. Instead, they saw someone without a hood or face mask, and a tricycle with a canopy. There was no green mist around the tricycle. A gentle white barrier stood before them just a short distance away. Behind the vehicle, that human, who did not look green at all, was busy working on something. Billowing steam wafted from under the canopy. The scent at the tips of their noses grew even stronger. It was the smell of perfectly roasted potatoes, an aroma they had not smelled in 10 years. The scent of real food. It felt like a dream. Sister. Lena ran over excitedly, waking Lilin, who was sleeping by the large boulder. Ling Jing looked at the new customers the little girl had brought back. Each one was standing there like a deer in headlights, staring blankly in her direction. Why do they all look a bit dim-witted? Whatever, as long as they are paying customers. Just now, while checking the system, Ling Jing discovered that although the current panels were all grayed out and clearly marked with a big gray padlock, clicking them brought up the words, "Unlock after completing the newbie quest." The newbie quest had appeared when she claimed her newbie gift pack. Right there on the top left of the panel. Newbie quest, complete 10 transactions. Current 2 per 10. At that thought, she quickly put on her polite, open for business smile, and addressed the stunned group. Welcome. Currently, we have roasted potatoes and roasted sweet potatoes. Roasted potatoes are 4 city coins each. Roasted sweet potatoes are 6 city coins each. Long Shi still had not snapped out of her shock. As the leader of this group, she had not believed a word Lena said the whole way here. She had even prepared for the worst, that a hallucinogenic mutant plant was making Lena see things. But what was this in front of her? This vivid scene, this tempting smell. And Lilin, who was not dead but was actually talking to Lena. Long Ya, pinch me. Long Ya gave Long Shi a hard pinch. It hurt so much tears almost came to her eyes. Only then was she sure she was not dreaming. Smells amazing. Should we go check it out? All right. The group hesitated for a moment before cautiously stepping into the area enveloped in white light. Hey, it is safe and it feels so comfortable in here. Auntie Long Shi, it is not a lie. We have already eaten some. The potatoes and sweet potatoes can actually neutralize the toxin. The 5 of them gasped in unison, their eyes widening in total disbelief. Lilin and Lena both smiled at their reaction. It was exactly how they had looked just moments ago. Boss, are you saying these roasted potatoes can really detoxify us? Ling Jing nodded. She patiently repeated the explanation she had just given to the 2 sisters. If you are still worried, you can buy one to try first. 4 city coins, right? Long Ya moved with lightning speed, without even waiting for an answer. She slapped 4 city coins down on the table. All right. Thank you for your business. The steaming hot potato was placed in Long Ya's hand. Long Shi and the others fixed their gazes intently upon it. The sound of people gulping could be heard one after another. They could not help it. After years of eating nothing but black bread, they had long forgotten what real food actually tasted like. This roasted potato showed no trace of that toxic green hue. It looked just like a normal potato from before the apocalypse. Well, here goes nothing. Long Ya took a big bite. The potato was so hot that she had to roll it around her tongue a few times. Immediately after, taste buds that had not functioned properly for years suddenly woke up. Her eyes flew wide as she chewed, nodding vigorously toward her companions. It is legit, you guys have to try this, quick. The others could not restrain themselves any longer. They quickly polished off the entire roasted potato. Nobody cared about the heat anymore. Everyone was busy juggling the hot bites in their mouths while chewing. This potato, it is just so potatoey. Auntie Long Shi, is Jay Li still doing poorly? Long Shi nodded and immediately rushed over to me. Boss, how many of these roasted potatoes do you have? Ling Jing pondered for a moment. Earlier, I wanted to test if this oven had a capacity limit. Turns out, it definitely does. I started by picking out 40 potatoes and stuffed them all in tightly. There was clearly more space, but it would not let me fit even one more. It just spat the extra one right back out. A line of gray text appeared on the oven's display. Maximum quantity reached. Please upgrade. Oh. So even this equipment can be leveled up. Ling Jing pulled the potatoes out and tested the sweet potatoes next. It could hold 30 sweet potatoes before spitting them out too. Seems like different foods have different requirements. But as long as time permits, I can make as many as you need. Whatever the demand, I have got the supply. You will just have to wait a little while. Long Shi immediately reached for her coins. She was ready to go on a shopping spree, only to realize her pockets were empty. She did not have her bag. Before leaving the city, she thought they were coming out to collect Lilin's body. She had given the bag to Long Shi. Long Ya, forget it. Let us all go back together. Bring everyone else here too. Long Shi originally planned to send Long Ya back alone, to tell the others to bring the money over. But then she remembered Lena's experience, going back and telling them the truth, only for no one to believe her. Better not waste her breath. If she told them now, they would just think she had gone crazy. The scene shifts. The group gathered their belongings, some carrying others on their backs. Despite their confusion, they all eventually followed Long Shi out the door. Hey, where are Long Shi and the others going? No idea. Is that Zhe Li on Long Shi's back? That is what he gets for being a do-gooder. Imagine volunteering to serve someone else's sentence in the Black Fields. Those guys are just big on loyalty. Loyalty? What kind of loyalty? The kind that gets you killed. Can't blame anyone. He had it coming. In this day and age, who still cares about that stuff? Long Zai's whole squad are just stubborn fools. Just you wait and see. Why are they carrying that guy on their backs? Probably because Zhe Li is a goner. They likely do not want the patrol to haul away a corpse. Looks like they are heading past the west wall, where plant activity is low. Maybe they want to set up a headstone, so they have a place to remember him. Maybe they want to set up a headstone, so they have a place to remember him. A crowd gathered around the tricycle. They all had that I can't believe my eyes look on their faces. How much? Just these crystals and scrap metal are worth 83 city coins. Auntie Long Shi, you get a way better exchange rate here with the boss. Out of the blue, 50-something coins turned into 83. Long Shi was so overwhelmed with joy. She did not even know what to buy first. Then, let us start with 5 roasted sweet potatoes. No, make it 6. Ling Jing quickly grabbed 6 wrapped roasted sweet potatoes. She handed them to Long Shi. Yeah, come here. Help Long Shi feed these 5 roasted sweet potatoes to Zhe Li. And give this one to Lena and the others. And then boss, I would like to buy. Hold on a sec. Content on the panel. Newbie quest. Please complete transactions 3 per 10. Great. 6 sweet potatoes bought all at once. And it only counts as 1 transaction. For the rest of the stuff you want, could you have different people buy them one by one? Sure thing. Boss, is there a limit per person? Seeing Long Shi acting so cautious, fearing they would miss out, Ling Jing smiled to put her at ease. Not exactly. You would actually be doing me a small favor. Let me give you your change first. Long Shi took the remaining city coins, and immediately gave instructions to her group. Everyone, get in line and buy in order. As Ling Jing processed the sales, she watched the numbers climbing on her panel. She nodded with satisfaction. Having them distribute the money and buy things one by one seems like a total waste of time. But as long as it works for me, I am good. The transaction count on the panel jumped again. It reached 10 per 10 and 2 lines of small text appeared. Congratulations. You have completed the newbie quest. The official management panel is now unlocked. Ling Jing looked up and saw Long Zai's group was done for now. She gave the screen a light swipe and started checking out the official panel. Meanwhile, Long Ya was non-stop stuffing sweet potato into Zhe Li's mouth. Zhe Li woke up amidst the jostling. He was awake, but he could not even open his eyes. His whole body was in agony. He felt something hot being forced into his mouth. He instinctively tried to swallow, but it was too much. The second he finished one mouthful, another was shoved right in. He was literally choking. Zhe Li started coughing violently. Long Ya quickly poured some water down his throat, then went right back to stuffing sweet potato in his mouth. Zhe Li had no idea who was doing this to him, but they were being incredibly rough. This time, it went straight to the back of his throat. He nearly gagged, which forced his eyes wide open. Wait a minute, you are gonna kill me. Whoa, he is actually awake. Everyone around them crowded in instantly. Zhe Li looked at the people surrounding him, all of them holding a potato in their hands. Everyone watched as Long Shi took another huge bite of the potato. They gathered around to check on him. Zhe Li sighed and shook his head. I must be dead. I am actually seeing hallucinations. Seeing him looking like half-dead meat. Long Ya reached out and gave his face a hard pinch. Ow, ouch, it hurts. Oh, so you still know what pain feels like. That green tint on your skin is actually fading. This is incredible. There is one more left. Hurry up and eat it. Wait, what sweet potato? His companions surrounding him all started talking at once, trying to explain the situation. A moment later, Zhe Li was shocked and bewildered, struggling to process what had just happened. He stared at the sweet potato in his hand, filled with sudden regret. He had just wolfed down 4 of them while his taste buds were completely numb. Zhe Li really wanted to throw them up, just so he could taste them all over again. Rumble. Everyone's attention was snapped away by a sudden, deafening crash. A giant boulder nearby was sent flying through the air. A brownish mutant plant emerged swaying from behind the debris. It was at least 3 stories tall. It looked like a colossal mutant bamboo shoot. Crap. Our noise must have attracted it. How can a plant with such high activity and mutation levels exist outside the west wall? Ling Jing looked up to see everyone bracing for a fight. She glanced indifferently at the thing heading their way. The oversized mutant bamboo shoot. Everyone, please do not panic. Just focus on enjoying your meal. Facing the sudden appearance of this giant mutant plant, Long Shi and her group felt their hearts sink. They prepared themselves for a desperate final stand. Zaicheng was one of the border cities they resided in. The 4 border cities are protected by the 3 great cities. Logically, the surrounding areas should not be this dangerous. Moreover, its mutation level far exceeded the standards for a safe zone mutant plant. Long Zai's team ventured out of the city almost every day, yet they had never seen anything like this. Everyone stood on high alert. No one paid any mind to Ling Jing's words. Long Shi, carry Zhe Li on your back and take Lilin and Lena. Go now. Long Ya, you and Xiao Zhou help the boss evacuate. The rest of you, cover them with me. Understood. Boss, you need to run with me right now. This truck is so big, it is just a sitting duck. It is too late. In an instant, that giant mutant bamboo shoot had already reached them. Its husk-like body was covered in wart-like protrusions. One of the protrusions suddenly elongated, lashing out toward their heads. To hell with it, attack. It is too fast. Longshi gritted her teeth. Her hand tightened around her blade, swinging her arm with everything she had. She mustered all her strength and slashed toward the oncoming bamboo monster. The others barely had time to raise their weapons to try and block the strike, but Long Zai's attack hit nothing but air. She stumbled forward. Her blade had sliced through a void. Everyone's eyes widened in shock as they looked up above them when the mutant bamboo shoot touched the hemispherical zone of white light that had silently centered itself around the tricycle, enveloping everyone present. Every part of the protrusion that entered the dome was instantly disintegrated into dust. Longshi, what the heck is going on? Without giving anyone time to react, the warts on the mutant bamboo shoot began to grow and swell one by one, detaching themselves from its massive body and firing directly at them. They were moving at terrifying, explosive speeds. There was absolutely no time to stop them before anyone could process what was happening. Those green, twisted, parasitic-looking mutant bamboo shoots, the moment they touched the white light, instantly crumbled into dust. In the distance, a massive mutant shoot lunged violently, using its colossal body to spring off the ground, pouncing straight toward them. It is absolutely furious. This particular mutant shoot was a bit larger than the others, so it took a fraction longer to turn into powder. But in the end, nothing remained. The succession of shocks left everyone in total eerie silence. No one dared to speak. You could hear a pin drop. Was it relief for having survived a brush with death, or pure disbelief at the scene they just witnessed? Please trust house rule number 2. Absolute safety. You could not blame them for hesitating in this wasteland. Who could truly guarantee absolute safety? Zaicheng could not guarantee it, nor could the other border cities. Even the 3 great cities teeming with mutants could not promise that. But here at Donghua restaurant they first saw with their own eyes a place that could completely shut out the green toxic gas. Then they tasted precious food capable of purging toxins. And finally, they witnessed how dangerous mutant plants, things that even mutants find troublesome to handle, simply vanished into thin air before them. They had no choice but to believe now. Are you a messenger sent by the heavens to answer our prayers and save us? No. I am just the owner of Donghua restaurant. What does Donghua mean? It is my hometown. Inside a dilapidated wooden shack, an elderly woman pulls a young boy aside, whispering to him, suspiciously, when the city gates open tomorrow, bring whatever you can trade for cash. And follow us to the south of the west wall. But why? Longshi said so. She said we definitely won't regret going. The reason Zhe Li could walk back alive is because of a secret out there. Not long before this, Long Zai's group had returned to the city. They had not been back long when they ran into people wanting to chat, every single one of them staring intensely at Zhe Li. After all, when they carried Zhe Li out on their backs that afternoon, quite a few people had seen him. You can't hide the truth forever, and Longshi did not plan to. They had promised Ling Jing to help spread the word. However, the plain truth might not be believable. They had to play it a bit coy to build hype. The news that there is a secret south of the west wall spread through cryptic riddles and hushed whispers, quietly within their small circle. Scene change. The bells chime outside Zaicheng's west wall. After Long Zai's group left, Ling Jing keenly noticed that the concentration of toxic gas seemed to be rising. The green tint in the air began to slowly deepen. It seems the purpose of those bells is to remind everyone to get back inside the city. I guess I won't be seeing any more customers today. Ling Jing tallied up today's results. On the first day of business, sold 14 roasted potatoes and 7 roasted sweet potatoes, remaining 27 roasted potatoes and 16 roasted sweet potatoes. Just as she was wondering how to handle the leftover food, she looked up and spotted small text at the top of the official panel. Official version perk for restaurant operators. Prepared dishes in the sales area will remain in a fresh, just-made state indefinitely. Well, system, you are actually pretty useful, are not you? She shifted her gaze to the revenue on the cash register. 110 per 100. Right behind it, 3 words were shining brightly. Upgrade available. Ling Jing was not in a hurry to upgrade. There was something else on her mind right now. Back then, when that mutated bamboo shoot monster was crushed by the system's built-in protective shield, she felt like something extra had appeared on the cart. It was not convenient to check with so many people around, but now that she was alone, she had the whole place to herself. Ling Jing moved the baskets of sweet potatoes and potatoes aside. Underneath was a pile of fresh bamboo shoots. She suddenly remembered something. She was also attacked by mutated plants while picking potatoes. A swaying branch had reached out toward her. The moment it touched the white light around the tricycle, it was instantly shredded. Just like that bamboo shoot monster she saw earlier, it vanished upon contact with the shield's white light. That is why, in front of the customers, she was so certain about the second rule of the restaurant guidelines. She told everyone not to panic. She did not know where those branches went when they vanished, but the bamboo shoots had clearly turned into ingredients on her cart. They were fresh and huge, so this white light can be used as an auto-looter too. Interesting. Ling Jing turned around and began to examine the tent provided by the system. The tent looked pretty ordinary at first glance, but when she opened it, a deploy prompt appeared. She reached out and tapped it. The tent started moving on its own. It looked just like a cutscene from a mobile app. A moment later, the tent was fully set up. She did not even have to lift a finger. Ling Jing lifted the flap and walked inside. The space inside was clearly larger than it appeared from the outside. A studio apartment setup. A bed, a wardrobe, and a set of wooden table and chairs. The bed was already made. She opened the wardrobe. Inside hung several sets of comfortable, casual athletic wear. 2 pairs of shoes were also provided. Talk about being thoughtful. At the very back, there was another door. It was the bathroom. A simple shower and a toilet. It looked just like the bathrooms in those 4-person college dorms. All basic living facilities were present and accounted for. After finishing her tour of the tent, she sat down to properly study the unlocked official restaurant management panel. The layout was very user-friendly. It was divided into shop expansion, equipment upgrades, interior decor, layout. Why do the first 4 look like pay-to-win pages in a mobile game? Everything requires spending hard-earned points. Ling Jing looked at her pitiful 110 points in the top right corner. She checked her meager balance of 110 points. There was very little on the entire page that she could actually afford. A line of small text at the bottom caught her eye. Oh, what's this? The host's room levels up with the main business entity. Finally, something that does not cost extra. Ling Jing browsed through each section and clicked on recipes. This section was not like the previous pages. There were not as many grayed out options. Currently, there were only 2 options, roasted potatoes and roasted sweet potatoes. It looked like an exploration-based recipe system. Whatever dish I managed to cook up will be displayed here. Now that is pretty interesting. Ling Jing then clicked on the last tab, tasks. Newbie task. Please complete 10 transactions. Please claim your reward. Flashy special effects instantly popped up on the management panel. Accompanied by upbeat celebratory music, along with the digital fireworks, the reward details appeared. Congratulations, you have received 20 points. All that grand fanfare, just for a measly 20 points. When you are truly speechless, all you can do is laugh. The newbie task disappeared from the task panel. Another line of text has appeared. Task, stall level daily revenue. 0 per 200. Effective, starting from midnight. There is a line of small print underneath. Daily task incomplete. 20% of revenue will be deducted as a penalty. Are you kidding me? A 20% cut. This system is a total ripoff. After checking every detail, Ling Jing clicked back to the equipment upgrade interface. Everything here requires points to upgrade, except for one piece of equipment. The cash box. She opened the upgrade description. Cash box upgrade requirements. Reach revenue target. You can choose the direction of the upgrade. Option 1, daily transaction value. Increases by 3%. Option 2. Expand the variety of items exchangeable in the cash box. Running a restaurant is all about the bread, obviously, but that is only if people actually have money. Bartering is a different ballgame. The abandoned farm is not too far from here. Going there myself would be a huge hassle. It is way easier to just let others bring the stuff to me. Ling Jing decisively picked the second option. Congratulations. Your cash box has been upgraded. Item exchange box has been delivered to your stall. After getting the gist of how everything worked, Ling Jing started her shopping spree in the mall. First, I will upgrade the item exchange box's storage to 30 cubic meters, then a small gas stove, an iron wok, a knife, and some seasonings. After a satisfying shopping spree, she only had 10 points left. As for the ingredients, mutant plants are everywhere, basically free delivery to my door. Why pay when I can get them for $0? Ling Jing hopped on her tricycle and rode away from the high walls. The green gas around her grew thicker. Ling Jing observed her surroundings carefully. Most plants did not react to the green gas at all, but a very small number were clearly sprouting new buds around those active plants. The gas was much thinner, as if it were being absorbed. She stopped. She watched a plant absorbing the green gas for a while. Deep green liquid began to appear within the veins of the leaves. It condensed into droplets at the tips, then plopped onto the ground. So that is how these crystals used for city coins are made. But what exactly makes these crystals valuable enough to be used as currency? While Ling Jing was lost in thought, she got a strong feeling she was being watched. Ling Jing turned around. Of course, a bizarre-looking dark green furry monster was charging straight at her. It was huge, tall as a horse, but built like a bear. 2 long tusks protruded from its face, and a massive boil-like lump sat on its head. Oozing a sickly dark green. Is this thing even edible? Gross. The monster charged incredibly fast, but it disappeared even faster. It slammed into the white light surrounding the tricycle and instantly turned to ash. At the same time, in the storage space of the tricycle, a massive slab of pork appeared. In fact, it was so big that half of it was hanging out of the cart. Thank goodness. The system processes the ingredients automatically. Otherwise, looking at that thing would have killed my appetite. Now, how am I supposed to haul this back? Ling Jing started tinkering with the tricycle. After a while, a makeshift wooden trailer was hitched to the back. I am seriously too good with my hands. A regular MacGyver. Ling Jing returned with her entire haul from tonight. Pork and a few pounds of radishes she had scavenged. Ling Jing stood on the back of the tricycle, grinning from ear to ear. Early morning, the city gates opened. Inside the walls of Zaicheng, at the central plaza, 6 guards in matching black uniforms split into 2 groups. The group on the west was exchanging crystals for city coins, while the group on the east exchanged city coins for rations. People on both sides lined up in an orderly fashion. Long Zai's group, along with some others who wanted to see for themselves, totaled over 20 people. They did not join the queue. Instead, they sneakily headed out through the west gate, making their way toward the mysterious owner's stall from yesterday. The group walked for a while, and finally reached their destination. Rounding a giant boulder, they found the place completely deserted. I am sure it was right here, was not it? Is this the secret? You guys are not actually pulling our leg, are you? What exactly did you bring us here to find? To find the boss. Yesterday, a boss appeared here like she fell from the sky, selling roasted potatoes and sweet potatoes. Such a big cart and a whole person, and now they are just gone. As soon as Lena said this, the skepticism among the crowd grew even louder. Everyone's eyes were filled with expressions, suggesting they thought the group had gone crazy or lost their minds. It is the apocalypse, who is roasting sweet potatoes and potatoes. If that is your story, then you really take us for absolute fools. It is true. Yesterday, I was at death's door. If I had not eaten that roasted sweet potato, I would be pushing up daisies by now. Instead of acting crazy out here with you, we should just head back right now. Maybe we can still trade for some rations. The surrounding people chimed in, one after another. Lena tried to stop them from leaving for the city, but she could not. What do we do, Auntie Long Shi? We promised the boss we would bring people. Wait, everyone, do you smell that? I think I really do smell something. Take a whiff. As they spoke, Long Zai's group walked toward the source of the scent. A few stragglers followed behind them, though their expressions remained gloomy. The scene shifts. Ling Jing cut the fattest part of the pork into small slices. With a loud sizzle, she tossed them into the hot wok, frying them until the lard cracklings turned a perfect deep golden brown. Then she scooped them out and placed them on oil blotting paper, sprinkling a pinch of salt over them. Ling Jing picked up a piece and popped it into her mouth. The oil had been completely rendered out. The slices of fat had become crispy, firm, and filled her mouth with an intense, savory aroma. Boss, big sister. Long Zai's group had already removed their face coverings. The newcomers stood at the edge of the light. The people at the back looking dazed, shocked, and utterly incredulous. How does it look like the inside is completely sealed off from the toxic gas? This has to be some kind of illusion. There really are roasted potatoes, and they can actually detoxify you. Dumbfounded, are not you? We told you, but you did not believe us. Go on, head back now. We lied to you, remember? We really lied to you. Everything you see here is fake. The scene suddenly became incredibly chaotic, with everyone chattering at once. Boss, is what is written on this exchange box for real? There was a sign on the box. Exchange for city coins. Items accepted for exchange. Crystals, metals, and other items tradable for city coins within the city. Ingredients including corroded or mutated plants and animals. This was something Ling Jing had just redeemed with points this morning. She used 3 signs in total. They were all used for explanations simple, clear, and a total time saver. And some kitchenware too. She is completely out of points now. Exactly. Then what are we waiting for? Let us move, now. Long Shi and her group all dashed toward the abandoned farm. Meanwhile, someone among the newcomers finally stepped forward. I will take 1 roasted potato. The customer dropped the city coins into the collection box. He took the potato from Ling Jing's hand and hurriedly stuffed it into his mouth. The crowd around him watched with curiosity. The young man could not even manage a word. He just kept nodding frantically while wolfing down the roasted potato. Seeing this, the others stopped asking questions. They surged forward, clamoring to buy potatoes. I do not know. These potatoes are freaking delicious. Who knows what they are doing if they are not eating these? Sob. I have not tasted anything this good in forever. Those at the back were pushing forward like crazy, terrified they might miss out. No need to scramble. There is enough for everyone. Please line up. Everyone immediately formed 2 neat lines. The speed was so fast it actually made Ling Jing blink in surprise. That easy. They did not see anything wrong with it though. After all, they have to queue for everything in the city, from city coins to rations. Queuing there was enough for everyone. Those at the back finally felt a bit more at ease. They stood on their tiptoes, watching the people in front buying potatoes. They were practically drooling. Their eyes were filled with nothing but pure craving for those roasted potatoes. Hey girl. Can we buy some if we do not have city coins on us? We only brought crystals. You can exchange your crystals right over there. An old lady tossed a small crystal into the box. 3 city coins dropped out of the machine. Wait, this is not right. How did 1 small crystal give me 3 coins? It is correct. The exchange rules for this box are strictly based on the exact size of the crystal. These are all yours, madam. Upon hearing this, the look in everyone's eyes as they watched Ling Jing became even more fanatical. People with crystals suddenly swarmed the exchange. The old lady who exchanged first stepped up to help maintain order. Those who finished exchanging all stood aside, grinning like idiots while clutching their city coins. Suddenly, a group of people came running from the distance. Make way, move it. Long Ya was carrying a pile of things in a tattered cloth, moving like the wind. She flew toward the exchange box. She took a heap of corroded, mutated ingredients and dumped them all in at once, straight into the box. Immediately, the machine spat out 2 coins. You can even trade that. The crowd was shocked yet again. It has been 10 years since the apocalypse. To get food, you usually have to leave the city and risk your life for crystals, or scavenge through the ruins of the old world to find anything of value. Crystals appear randomly every day, but the gangs are everywhere. It is nearly impossible to scavenge anything from under their noses. If you want to survive, you have to search the corners and hunt in the most dangerous places. But now, this mysterious boss says that those common toxic plants and poison veggies can actually be traded for money here. For everyone present, this news was nothing short of a bombshell. Long Shi and her group traded all the ingredients they brought back into city coins. The onlookers stared dumbfounded as Long Zai's group cashed in. Boss, how does this exchange work? It depends on the ingredient. The exchange rates vary accordingly. Potatoes and sweet potatoes are 1 city coin for 2 pounds. Ling Jing muttered the recycling prices provided by the system. The price is so low. I wonder if they will even accept it. After all, besides the cost of the produce itself, there is also the labor cost to consider. Pity I can't change the system's buyback rates. To her surprise, the crowd suddenly erupted in cheers. What a steal. This is a total bargain. Ling Jing could not help but crack a smile. It is rare to find a deal where both the buyer and the seller feel like they have won. Ling Jing finished slicing the crispy pork lard. As she packed them into boxes, a system notification popped up. A small box of crispy pork lard immediately triggers a boost in the consumer's body and stamina recovery speed. Duration 1 minute. Suggested retail price 8 city coins. Boss lady. Is this for sale now? Yes, it is. Lena and Lilin did not have enough money for a full portion of pork lard, so they pooled their money with Long Ya and Long Shi to buy one together. Before Ling Jing could even finish writing the new menu sign, Lena and the others had already dropped their coins into the cash box. 2 adults and 2 children stared at her expectantly with puppy dog eyes. After taking the pork lard, the 4 of them shared it piece by piece. The golden, crispy lard had just come out of the pan. It was at its peak of deliciousness. With one bite, the savory aroma exploded in their mouths. The salt grains coated the meat perfectly. The flavor lingered on their teeth. The more they chewed, the more addictive it became. The 4 of them marveled as they ate. Is this really pork lard? It is way too good. Sob. Humans really need to eat meat to survive. Boss lady. Why do I feel so much stronger after eating this? Because it restores your stamina. Ling Jing spoke while finishing the sign. She clearly listed the effects and the price of the pork lard. The effects and the price of the pork lard were clearly detailed. She and placed the sign on the counter. An incredible buzz of discussion broke out among the crowd. Even though such a buff was unheard of, coming from this mysterious boss, it seemed perfectly natural. Everyone took it for granted. At the foot of the city wall, a group of people gathered, whispering amongst themselves. Did you guys find Long Shi and her group? No. I bet there is not actually any secret at all. Maybe those people were just tricked into leaving. No way, Long Shi is not that kind of person. Then why did not she just tell us what is going on? They vanished in the time it took us to go get some city coins. We can't find them anywhere. Maybe they have already moved. Look. At the city gates, a crowd of people came sprinting back, scrambling over each other. They ignored the people under the wall and ran straight for their homes. They grabbed basins and sacks from home and dashed back out in a frenzy. Like a swarm of locusts, they left nothing but a cloud of dust behind. Why are they running so fast? Did they run into some mutant plants? Can't be. Would people look that happy if they encountered those plants? And why are they heading back out there? The scene shifts. Back to the scene where the crowd was around the tricycle. Lena, go back and grab a sack once you have finished eating. Let us keep loading up. Right. The onlookers suddenly had a realization. They thundered back toward the high walls. They were going back to get containers and recruit more help. Once the crowd had dispersed, Ling Jing finally had a moment of peace. Time to see what ingredients were traded into the box. She walked behind the crates. She tapped the panel to check the storage space. The blue interface flashed open. The stored items were displayed clearly on the screen. Potatoes, 23 caddies. Sweet potatoes, 16 caddies. Cabbage, 8 caddies. Eggplants, 2 caddies. How did I miss these when I went out yesterday? I guess locals really do know the lay of the land better. Ling Jing looked at these 2 ingredients. A new idea sparked, but before that, I need to use my points to upgrade this restaurant first. Otherwise, with the way things went this morning, I won't be able to keep up at all. Ling Jing recalled everyone's excitement as they rushed back. They better not let me down. At the abandoned farm, everyone looked like they were celebrating a bumper harvest. They worked tirelessly until their containers were overflowing. Then they carried their haul and hurried back to the restaurant. Boss. We are back. We just tossed them into this bin, right? Wow, it is selling like hotcakes. A big sack of potatoes just got me 11 city coins. Everyone was in high spirits. They took their newly earned city coins to buy food. A wave of harvesters returned. Some traded for lard residue, others for roasted sweet potatoes or potatoes. Many held steaming hot food in their hands. Eating until their faces glowed with satisfaction. Little Shi, eat up. This is meat. Real meat. Once you eat this, you will feel much better. Give it a taste. This food isn't food supposed to be tasteless? How can this smell so incredibly good? Standing nearby were a few others who had just followed the crowd out from the city. They were frozen in absolute shock. Those already eating began explaining to them all at once. Their every word brimmed with pride. Every time a group ran back from the abandoned farm, the revenue on the cash box would skyrocket. Until the bell rang, people left reluctantly, looking back every 3 steps. They finally cleared away from her stall. The revenue counter stopped at 553. Only Ling Jing was left. After a busy day, Chef Ling was finally going to enjoy the fruits of her labor. She sat on the coin box and grabbed a roasted sweet potato. She ate while checking the system panel. Routine task, simple stall level. 200 completed. System, congratulations. Daily reward obtained, 40 points. Revenue target reached. The cash box is now eligible for an upgrade. Ling Jing hesitated for a moment. She chose to upgrade the exchange bin's collection range. A new category was added to the exchange bin's recyclable list. Non-edible mutant plants. After the upgrade, the button on the cash box grayed out. The numbers changed. 800. Looks like I will have to hike up the prices next time. Then, Ling Jing upgraded the oven 3 times in a row. On the system screen, level 3 oven, initial capacity tripled. Automatically refills ingredients based on settings, while ingredients are sufficient. Automatic roasting and dispensing active. Expanded temporary storage for surplus food. 50 slots. Cost, 200 points. The upgraded oven looked a size larger. A stainless steel platform was added to the front. That must be the automatic dispensing area. Another panel appeared at the top. Ling Jing tried turning on the upgraded oven. She tapped the automatic dispensing switch. On the oven's platform, 4 piping hot roasted potatoes and 2 piping hot roasted sweet potatoes appeared. Ling Jing nodded in satisfaction. She exchanged a few more items from the mall before finally going to sleep. Inside a large wooden cabin, a fierce-looking man listens to his subordinates report. To the west, a brand new day. Ling Jing heats the oil and sautés the scallions, ginger, garlic, and dried chilies until fragrant. Then she tosses the pork belly into the wok. She adds soy sauce and stir-fries everything with a wooden spatula. She waits until the meat sizzles and renders its fat, turning into a beautiful golden brown. One by one, Ling Jing adds her homegrown vegetables. Green beans, eggplants, and potatoes go straight into the pot. She pours in enough water to cover the veggies, and adds the pre-soaked sweet potato vermicelli. Before long, the stew begins to bubble and simmer. The beans, potatoes, and eggplants have already softened, soaking up all the flavor. In the rich, savory broth, the pork slices are tender but not greasy, and the vermicelli has turned perfectly translucent. It is a hearty pot of pork and vermicelli stew, kitchen sink style. Order up. As the bell rings, a wave of familiar faces rushes in, clutching their city coins and bringing all sorts of basins, cloths, and small carts. They scramble toward the restaurant, just as they reach the familiar white light of the entrance. The intense aroma of the food has already set their stomachs growling. Boss, what is this? Ling Jing sees everyone's eyes practically glued to the pot. She can't help but smile, pointing at the sign she just wrote. Hearty mixed stew. The sign reads, hearty mixed stew, within 24 hours of consumption. Physical strength increases by 5%, helps maintain stable body temperature. Mental resistance increases by 10%. Stew synergy, boosts effects of other foods consumed within 30 minutes. Price, 15 city coins per serving. If I eat a portion of this stew, then eat a potato, I can detox by 2% more. That is right. That is a bit pricey, sis. How about we pool our money and share a meal? Then I will pay 7, and you pay 8. Wait, does not that mean I'm getting the short end of the stick? Longxi, you want in, 5 coins each among the 3 of us. Deal. Ling Jing nods. She hands over a pre-packed serving. She points to 2 small wooden containers next to her. One is filled with disposable chopsticks. The other has plastic forks. Utensils are self-service and free. The hearty mixed stew is not selling fast. Only 4 portions have been sold so far. The others do not seem ready to buy just yet. It looks like 15 city coins. Is not an amount everyone can just drop easily. Those who bought the stew as a combo group are eating like there is no tomorrow, terrified of missing a single bite. This is delicious. Hey, slow down. Lilin and Lena can't afford it. They can only stand to the side, watching with longing eyes. Suddenly, another sign catches their attention. Sister, look at that one. The content on the sign. Pickled white radish, within 3 hours of consumption. Reduces inhaled toxin levels by 10%. Pickle perk after eating 3 portions. Increases reaction speed by 2%. Salty and spicy flavor, perfect with a main dish. Price, 1 city coin per serving. Sister, can we buy one to try? Lena takes a bite of the pickled radish they bought. Her eyes widen instantly. It is salty, spicy, and so refreshing. Crunch, crunch, crunch. It has even got a hint of sweetness. So good. Seeing this, those who could not afford the stew, and were just standing there drooling, start buying the pickles too. In the distance, a large crowd starts to gather. Likely some newcomers. Wave after wave of shocked gasps ripple through the crowd. What a textbook display of astonishment. I am starting to get used to this. Money's rolling in. Once the shock wore off, people began following the signs. Some ran toward the farm, while others stayed behind to grab a bite to eat. After upgrading the oven, Ling Jing put up a sign for self-service payment. The line moved quickly. A scrawny man waiting in the roasted potato line kept a close eye on the busy Ling Jing. He made a fake move, pretending to drop the city coins, but pulling them back at the last second. With a sneaky grin, he reached for a roasted potato. Just as his hand was about to touch it, an invisible force blasted him right out of the area. Attempted theft detected. First warning. Repeat offenses will result in an immediate blacklist from the restaurant. What just happened? How did he end up outside in a flash, trying to snatch food without paying? That is 1 warning. 2 strikes and you are banned for life. Thinking you can steal from here, if you piss off the boss and she leaves. No one will sell this delicious stuff anymore. I will beat you myself. The old lady's words made everyone realize just how serious this was. Everyone started chiming in with their own insults. The crowd buzzed with chatter. The scrawny man's face turned beet red. But he still could not bring himself to leave. He slunk back to the very end of the line. Boss. Were not you busy doing something else just now? How did you catch him stealing? Ling Jing pointed to the 3rd rule of the restaurant notice. The restaurant's interests are sacred and inviolable. The manager has absolute authority over everything within the restaurant's domain. Simply put, my house, my rules. Gasps of awe rippled through the crowd. Ling Jing became even more mysterious in their eyes. Mysterious and incredibly powerful. After that little episode with the scrawny man, everyone in line behaved much better. Many people ran to the farm to earn money, then came back for a spending spree. One by one, the stew servings were sold out. Is there any stew left? I am almost at the point where I can afford it. Save one for me, boss. All right, looks like I need to whip up another pot. Come to mama, little coins. Noon had just passed. People gathered in small groups, chatting while enjoying their food. The air was filled with a sense of joy. Have you guys noticed? After eating these pickled radishes, the toxic air does not feel so suffocating anymore. Of course, doesn't it say right there? It reduces the toxins you inhale. Is that for real? I am going to buy some too. Ling Jing started on the second pot of stew. Many customers watched curiously as Ling Jing stirred the pot. Every eye was glued to it. Ling Jing definitely felt the customers' fervent gazes. She was doing it on purpose. Cooking a steaming hot pot of stew right in front of them was meant to make them crave it. Only when you are hungry will my sales skyrocket, ha ha ha. Meanwhile, Ling Jing felt a faint sensation of being watched from the shadows, a gaze filled with scrutiny and doubt, mixed with a lingering greed as if they were plotting something. The scene shifts. The bells tolled. People gradually return to the city. Inside a wooden cabin, a group of people with red armbands are huddling together. A man with short yellow hair walks up to the man sitting at the head of the table. He recounts everything they scouted out beyond the west wall today in full detail. Food that blocks green gas and detoxifies, and it can be traded for city coins. Interesting. Does that woman have any companions? None. She only has those ingredients and cooking supplies. Feng Go's expression turned sinister. Tomorrow, everyone pack your gear and follow me beyond the west wall. Bring that gun Scarface left behind too. A person like her must serve me. Early the next morning, a crowd is walking through the city gates. But they are clearly split into two groups. The group in front keeps looking back, then picks up the pace, running toward the food cart. The group behind them is marching in formation, with red bands tied around their arms. One of them is carrying a wooden box on his back. Why are Feng Go's men here? As soon as those words are spoken, the once cheerful chatter in front of the stall gradually dies down. Everyone watches Feng Go's gang in terror. They strut in with arrogant faces. Ling Jing hears her customers go quiet and looks up. 5 or 6 men with red armbands walk up to the line of people waiting for roasted sweet potatoes. They rudely shove the crowd aside and march to the very front. Boss, the roasted sweet potatoes and potatoes are here. Good. This really is a nice spot. All right. I am in a good mood today. I do not want to waste energy beating you up. If you know what is good for you, get lost. From today on, this place belongs to us. Now that is a classic villain laugh. Seeing this gang telling them to beat it, the people who were too scared to speak just now forget their fear. They all begin to shout in protest. In this apocalypse, it is rare to find a place where you can eat and earn money. By what right do these people just chase them away? No one is willing to give up. This glimmer of stability right before their eyes. By what right do you make us leave? This is the boss's territory. You guys do not call the shots here. Exactly, you can't just ignore the rules. Rules? You are talking to us about rules. Ha ha ha, we are giving you a chance here. Don't spit on our mercy. Feng Go takes the wooden box from his subordinate. He opens it and pulls out a shotgun. He aims it at the person who just spoke up. What are you doing? You dare to kill someone here. I dare to what? Let me show you who is the boss around here. With a dull thud, Ling Jing sets down her spatula. In my shop, I do not allow troublemaking that disrupts my business. The gang looks as if they only just remembered that the owner is standing right there. Hearing this, he does not lower the gun. Instead, he bursts into loud laughter. Ling Jing glares at them. She remembers these faces. A few of them look like the same people who were acting suspicious around her stall yesterday. Your shop. Fine, fine, let us say it is yours. I have not seen such a naive idiot in a long time. You are just a mutant with some detox ability. If we did not have a use for you, I would have trashed this place already. I am warning you one last time. Do not interfere with the normal operation of this shop. A warning? What did you just say, woman? You really think we have never seen a mutant before? Think you are some kind of rare specimen? Let us show her who is boss. Teach her a lesson about how things work around here. With one kick, Feng Go flipped over the currency exchange box. Next to it sat a bag of toxic sweet potatoes, waiting to be traded. His lackeys moved in sync with his command. They began closing in on Ling Jing. Some customers stood up to intervene. The scene descended into total chaos. Others just lurked in the back, enjoying the free show. Hey, tell me, are they about to get wrecked? Who? Feng Go and his goons. Oh, they are definitely going to have a bad time. The siblings shared a peculiar look. They both wore the exact same smirk of mockery. They would seen what happened to the thief yesterday. They would also seen the boss effortlessly take down a high-threat mutant bamboo shoot monster. They were convinced Feng Go had truly lost his mind to even think about starting trouble in this restaurant. Seeing the situation slipping out of his control, Feng Go aimed his shotgun directly at the ceiling. He pulled the trigger to intimidate the crowd. Bang! The shot rang out, and the room went dead silent. But the bullet did not behave as expected. It did not just fly into the air. The moment it hit the white light above, peeved, it vanished into thin air. In the next heartbeat, Feng Go and his entire crew, every single one of them, instantly from where they stood, were warped outside the white light barrier. The restaurant fell into a deafening silence. No one had ever witnessed anything like this before. They were so stunned, they could not even find the words to ask what happened. Outside the white light, Feng Go's gang was even more dazed. 1 second, they were about to school that woman. The next second, they were standing outside in the dirt. Even the gun in his hand had gone missing. What was even creepier, when Feng Go and his men tried to touch the white light again, or tried to force their way back in, that light was no longer just empty air. It was as solid as a reinforced wall. It literally bounced them right back. In my shop, my rules are the only rules. This establishment does not welcome anyone disrupting our operations. Prohibited items have been confiscated. The restaurant guidelines are very clear. The interests of this restaurant are sacrosanct. The manager holds absolute authority over everything within these premises. I have already warned you twice. Feng Go was not having it. Cursing and swearing, he tried to barge in with his men again, but they were repelled the moment they touched the white light. For obstructing the restaurant's operations, the owner has officially blacklisted you. If you wish to dine here, you must pay the full fine. The penalty amount is 99,990 city coins. Shame, the system caps it at 99,999. The people outside the barrier were screaming in rage, but those inside looked at Ling Jing with newfound awe. They realized her powers were far beyond anything they would imagined. Everyone was originally prepared for a bloodbath, to fight Feng Go to the bitter end. Who knew Ling Jing would barely have to lift a finger to kick Feng Go's entire crew to the curb? This place is a literal sanctuary. Blah blah blah, what happened to all that barking? Weren't you just about to come in and hit me? Boss, you are incredible. I will follow you for the rest of my life. You are too kind. As the owner, I am obligated to maintain a proper environment for my business. Everyone, please enjoy your meal in peace. Narrator, Ling Jing had no intention of playing the savior. Running her business was her primary goal. If someone interferes with the shop's operations, of course they have to be evicted. Besides, she crunched the numbers last night. With a little extra hustle today, she can upgrade the restaurant tonight. No more rolling around in this little tricycle. I can't let anyone mess with my business plan. I bet my life you guys have to come out sooner or later. The white light stops anyone on the blacklist from entering the barrier, but it does not stop the delicious aroma from drifting out. The sound of loud smacking lips followed, as if intended for them to hear. Looking at the crowd kicked out and stuck outside, several stomachs began to growl in a loud, pathetic symphony. Everyone inside the white light felt an immense sense of satisfaction. I have got an idea. Long Ya gathered the group and whispered her plan. As the people listened to her words, they went from contemplation to pure excitement. When the bell rang, Long Shi stood at the very front. She led a massive, surging crowd out of the barrier. They headed straight for Feng Go's gang. Let us go. Give them a beatdown they will never forget. At the same time, Feng Go flashed a wicked grin the moment he heard the bell chime. Get ready. The second they step out, we let them have it. Without guns to act as a deterrent, both sides were armed only with crude homemade weapons. But the difference in numbers was like night and day. A few moments later, the gang members with red ribbons on their arms, who were already weak from hunger, were being absolutely demolished by the energetic customers of Donghua restaurant, leaving them screaming for mercy. Scene change. The triumphant crowd marched back inside the walls with their heads held high. After the main group had safely entered, Feng Go's men finally limped back through the gates. Every single one of them looked pathetic, covered in bruises and wounds. As they supported each other, the surrounding crowd erupted into a roar of mockery and laughter. Long Shi, listen up. Tell everyone starting tomorrow. After the morning bell rings, there will be 3 scheduled group departures a day. At 8:00 a.m., 10:00 a.m., and 12:00 p.m., anyone wanting to head out of the city should gather at the west wall. We will move out together. If you do not have a watch, just check the clock in the square. Feng Go and his thugs might have taken a beating today, but they will definitely be looking for a chance to get even. Fighting is strictly forbidden inside the walls, but outside is fair game. If we stick together in large numbers, we have nothing to fear. Copy that. Ling Jing had no idea her reputation in the city was skyrocketing, vaguely hinting at the formation of a brand new social order. Even those who were physically weak or lacked combat skills could now stand tall together, using the power of unity to protect themselves. Ling Jing was packing up the tricycle. 1,600. Today's total revenue has once again hit the target. Ling Jing expanded the recyclable item list in the exchange box, added non-edible mutant animals plus 3,500. The numbers flickered. 1,600. Store expansion interface. After a brief hesitation, she finally pressed the upgrade to casual restaurant button. Are you sure you want to upgrade to a casual restaurant. Upgrading the restaurant will introduce new attributes and changes to daily revenue requirements. Please ensure current operations are stable before proceeding. Cancel. Do I have the management skills for this? The simple stall level only required 200 city coins a day. I made over 1,000 today. That should be more than enough. Ling Jing tapped confirm. Congratulations. Your business entity has been upgraded to a casual restaurant. Please claim your business upgrade rewards. A beautiful, sturdy building materialized with a thump on the empty lot in front of Ling Jing. It looks absolutely adorable. The sign at the top reads, Donghua Restaurant. It is still the same red letters on a white background. Ling Jing did not rush inside just yet. Instead, she opened the management panel after the shop upgrade. The Apocalypse management system interface had undergone some changes as well. In the bottom right corner, besides the settings, there was now an assets button. Ling Jing tapped it open. Ling Jing. 970. Business entity, simple restaurant. Owned equipment. Level 3 oven, cash box, item exchange box. Standard tricycle stall, large cauldron stove. Ingredients. Potatoes, 5,620 pounds. Sweet potatoes, 4,817 pounds. Cabbage. Why did not this feature exist before? Was the system looking down on me for being too broke? Ling Jing dismissed the holographic screen floating before her. She pushed open the glass door and stepped into the shop. What met Ling Jing's eyes was a spacious dining area. It looked to be over 20 square meters, not huge, but decent. 2 windows were set into each of the side walls. The natural lighting was excellent. At the back stood the checkout counter. Next to the counter was a door, with a sign labeled kitchen posted on it. The food service window was located between the kitchen and the cashier area, where a square opening had been cut into the wall. Pushing open the kitchen door, she found a wide clean sink, stainless steel prep tables, and a 4-burner stove. Not a bad basic kitchen setup for a simple restaurant. But wait, where's the refrigerator? On the other side of the kitchen wall were 2 shelves. They were tall but did not take up the whole wall space. Don't tell me this is the reserved space for a fridge. Looks like I will have to buy one from the mall myself. She pushed open the back door of the kitchen. It led to a small room with 2 more doors inside. Ling Jing first pushed open the door on the left, a bedroom, along with the restaurant upgrade. Ling Jing's living quarters had undergone a massive transformation. No more of that gray dirt floor from the tent. The bedroom provided by the simple restaurant was fully floored with wood. There was even a tiny shoe rack by the entrance. She opened the wardrobe. There were more clothes hanging inside than in her old tent wardrobe, all in the styles Ling Jing usually wore. There were also many new little accessories. Ling Jing nodded in satisfaction. Living in a real, proper room is definitely a world away from living in a tent. Opposite the room was a small warehouse, containing only a few ceiling-high iron racks. Your current business entity is a simple restaurant. During daily settlement, the simple restaurant will deduct 50 points for daily maintenance fees. Daily maintenance includes cleaning, power, and water supply. Ling Jing was not surprised. That is just how running a normal business goes. From a street stall to a storefront, then to an expansion. Operating costs are bound to skyrocket. The daily missions turnover target also rose from 200 to 500. Ling Jing scrolled through the mall and bought some benches, a food display case, 4-person tables, round stools, and more ingredients. Finally, she spent a fortune on a specialized table for Molotong skewers. This way. I will put the oven and the stew pot on the table by the door. Everyone can just pay and help themselves. Then I will have time to whip up some new dishes. The more Ling Jing thought about it, the more she felt she might be a total genius. Humming a tune, she began to get busy again. Because of her rapid level-up speed, the system gifted her a basic automatic vegetable cutter. Ling Jing's prep speed increased significantly. On the Molotong table, a milky white beef bone broth simmered in the recessed pot, swirled with spicy orange oil. Ling Jing laid out rows of ingredients threaded onto skewers beside it. Ling Jing had not eaten dinner yet. She had been busy since the afternoon shift ended until now. She took a few skewers of each ingredient and dropped them into the bubbling broth. Skewered vegetables tumble and bubble in the spicy red oil broth. Ling Jing contentedly finishes off an entire pot of Molotong. The scene shifts. Early the next morning, inside the west wall, people begin to gather in small groups. The crowd heads toward the gate leading outside the wall. At the very back of the crowd, a thin, frail figure stands out. His empty sleeve makes him particularly conspicuous. Fu En's expression is gloomy and dark. He is a loner who keeps to himself, especially after leaving the Scar gang. Silent and reserved, on the rare occasion he meets someone's gaze. His eyes are filled with nothing but defensiveness and suspicion. He lives very close to Long Shi. Naturally, he knows there is a secret outside the west wall. He just does not believe it. In an apocalypse that infinitely magnifies the ugliness of the human heart, how could something so good exist? He just wants to see for himself if it is an illusion or a devil's trap. The crowd looks on in bewilderment. Standing before them, above the exquisite wooden cabin, hangs a sign with the words Donghua Restaurant. Beside the glass door of the cabin is the restaurant guidelines they all recognize. On both sides of the roof hang round, plump lanterns. They glow with a warm orange light. There is even a flower basket placed at the entrance. Knowing the boss possesses extraordinary abilities, everyone feels a deep sense of respect. So, upon seeing this wooden house that appeared out of thin air, no one dares to be the first to step inside. There is an indescribable sense of awe. Ling Jing sees the people outside, making no move to enter. She pushes open the glass door and stands at the entrance. We are open. Please come on in, everyone. Boss, this house is... Donghua Restaurant has been upgraded. Everyone, you can sit and rest in here. Roasted potatoes, sweet potatoes, and the big pot stew. Pay at the door first. Self-serve from the roaster. The big pot stew is on the other side. Over there is the item exchange bin. New exchangeable items have all been labeled. You can check them out yourselves. Also, inside the shop, we have just launched Molotong. You should all give it a try. That is incredible. The prices did not go up, did they? Seeing so many changes, the people begin to discuss fervently. Ling Jing only gives a mysterious smile. She turns and heads back to the kitchen. The people in the clearing look left and right, following Long Zai's group. They cautiously step into Donghua restaurant. Entering the shop, right there on the entrance counter, they see the familiar payment bin. Beside the payment bin is a ceramic cat that keeps beckoning with its paw. It looks quite peculiar. The locations of the roaster and the big pot stew are very obvious. They are right on either side of the main door. On the wall behind the payment counter, a large board has been put up. It is the menu. Roasted potato, 4 city coins, high grade tea, detoxification rate 1%. Roasted sweet potato, 6 city coins, detoxification rate 2%. Standard big pot stew, 1,500 city coins. After consumption, maintains stable body temperature. Mental resistance increases by 10%. Rule 4, pickled white radish, 1 city coin proportion. $30. Consume to trigger effect for 3 hours. $3. Reduces inhaled toxins. Toxin levels reduced by 10%. Reaction speed increases by 2%. Reaction speed increases. Spicy Molotong skewers, 0.5 city coins. Every 10 skewers consumed. Converts 1% of internal toxins into energy. Molotong attributes. After consumption, within half an hour. Neural reflexes are enhanced. $3 boost in neural reflex speed. Note, self-service after payment. Settle the bill based on the number of skewers after dining. Please pay honestly. This is a small business. Inside the restaurant, some people look confused. They stare at the newly added Molotong skewers. Peering into the skewer pot. You won't know until you see it. One look and your heart jumps for joy. In the bubbling red oil broth, all sorts of things are tumbling. Skewered vegetables and meats. The sound of bubbling and sizzling. Carrying with it a spicy, numbing aroma. It wafts straight into everyone's noses. First thing in the morning, everyone has been starving all night. Their saliva is acting up. It is literally dripping from their mouths. Charging in first. To the side of the Molotong skewer pot was Long Ya and her group, along with Lilin and Lena. In the blink of an eye, all 10 stools at the long table were completely occupied. Long Shi, aren't you guys moving a bit too fast? Seats are limited. First come, first served, right? You guys just wait until we are finished. Then it is your turn. Boss. How much are these skewers? They have not eaten everything already, have they? I managed to put out 460 skewers this morning. Ling Jing wanted to sell more, but she did not have enough points on her. She had to sell what she had first. Wait until the points started rolling in, and then prep another batch for sale. She spoke while placing the dipping sauces on the table. Boss, what is this? This is Molotong dipping sauce. Take the skewers out of the pot. Dip them in this and enjoy. The sauce is on the house. Keep your skewers. We will tally them up at the end. While Lena was still browsing at the table, Long Ya could not wait any longer. She grabbed a mushroom skewer at random, followed the boss's instructions, dunked it into the tray of sauce, and shoved it into her mouth. As she bit into the mushroom, the spicy broth infused with a milky, meaty aroma exploded in her mouth, along with the fresh earthiness of the mushroom. Her tongue, used to years of bland food, stung at the sudden hit of spice, but it felt incredibly satisfying. After the heat came a savory fragrance, seeping through every pore, a deliciousness that radiated through her entire body. When was the last time she would eaten something this good? She did not even have time to say a word, before quickly fishing out the next skewer. Seeing Long Ya like that, the others stopped being picky, and scrambled to join the feast. Those who could not get a spot at the table settled for the next best thing. Some went to buy the stew. Some went for the roasted potatoes. And others ran to the farm to earn some cash. Long Shi picked up a roasted potato. He took a cautious bite and looked at Ling Jing in shock. It was actually for real. Boss, what do we do about the 0.5 city coins? You would not overcharge us, would you? Everyone looked up, staring at Ling Jing with curiosity. I will give you a voucher. A Molotong credit. Good for your next visit. The popularity of the Molotong was beyond all expectations. The table turnover was incredibly fast. The table was like a bottomless pit. As soon as the skewers were put down, they were gone. Ling Jing felt like she was stuck in an endless loop, trapped between the skewer table and the kitchen, constantly prepping and serving. I can't take this anymore. Ling Jing opened the system mall to look for an automatic skewer machine. Good grief, 280 points. Fine, I will buy it. Technology is the ultimate productivity booster. After all, outside the white light, Feng Go and his gang were fully armed, wearing masks. They hid near the light, behind some large rocks. We have been waiting all day. Not a single one of them has wandered off. They are moving in groups of 20. We won't get a chance for revenge. They are actually playing the Unity is Strength card now. It has been almost a whole day, and they have not scavenged anything. Yet here we are, watching them inside the light, feasting on good food all day long. Grumble. I do not know whose stomach that was, but it growled first. Then the sound of growling stomachs began to rise and fall in a rhythmic chorus. It was like a contagious yawn spreading through the crowd, until the bell finally tolled, and the group, terrified of getting another beatdown, rushed to leave before the others came out of the restaurant. They scrambled back toward the city walls like cornered foxes. Clang, 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 clang. 7 chimes rang out. Everyone in Zaicheng was now packed tightly into the square, a sea of dark shadows. Every face was etched with breathless anxiety. The group returning from the restaurant was also squeezed into the restless crowd, drafted by lottery in the middle of last month. Did not they just hold a lottery? It has not even been 20 days yet. Something seems wrong with the black wheat. The mutation rate used to be low. Over 2 months, maybe only 1 or 2 people would get bitten, but half of those who went for service this time met with disaster. Now that they are short-handed, they have no choice but to draw lots again. Isn't this just sending us to our graves? Black rations are essentially the product of the black fields. Since the apocalypse arrived, no normal plants can be grown, and animals can no longer serve as food for humanity. In the first year after the cataclysm, people relied on the government's reserve grain to survive, but without new production, no matter how large the reserve, they were just eating their way to an empty pantry. By the second year after the cataclysm, the relief rations each person could receive had shrunk drastically. It was not until the third year that the three great cities developed iron black wheat. Rumor has it that it was created through a mutant's power. They call this thing wheat, but those returning from service say it looks extremely eerie. Pitch black from head to toe, shaped like an octopus tentacle, and as hard as a rock. The black rations produced from it are just as tough. Furthermore, iron black wheat carries a risk of mutation. But to ensure food production, service is every citizen's duty. Personnel will be issued safety suits and will receive free rations during their service. In case of an emergency, you can ask the overseer for help. There is no need for panic. They say the same thing at every lottery. But in this world, walls have ears and secrets have wings. Rumors have already spread from those injured in this term, who were discharged from service. If those safety suits were actually useful, how could so many people be sent back dead? Emotions of panic, resentment, and suppressed agony rippled through the crowd. The city guards nearby, with their cold dark gun barrels, became the final line, holding back a total emotional collapse. People could only listen, as name after name was called from the front. The voice coming through the loudspeakers sounded like a death knell. Every soul could only pray in silence, hoping their own name would not be next. Lena steps forward, under 14 years old, just reached adulthood. The guard marks a stroke on the list, motioning for her to draw a lot. Lena stands on her tiptoes, grabbing a slip from the drawing box, unfolding it to reveal a blue circle. Lena breathes alongside relief. Lena exhales deeply, dashing quickly back to Lillian's side. The crowd in the square begins to thin out. Donghua, we can't be that unlucky, right? There are only a dozen of us in total. It makes no sense for them to pick us again. Don't tell me we are getting picked this time too. Donghua glares at Longxi. She steps forward and takes a deep breath. She grabs a slip of paper and pulls it out, unfolding it to reveal a red circle. The group returns to the wooden cabin, frantically stuffing things into Longya's pack. All right, that is enough. What is with those long faces? I am just going for compulsory service. It is not like I'm heading straight to my grave. Ever since returning from the draw at the square, Donghua felt that this bunch was looking at her with very eerie expressions, just like how it was back then, when Jay Li had to go for his service, especially that kid Longxi, staring at her with those concerned yet overly tender eyes. It is making her feel extremely uneasy. Is the departure still tomorrow morning? Yeah, tomorrow morning, by the cabin door. Wait for the guard to take us to the black fields. Right after the drawing ended, those picked for service stayed behind in the square to hear the guard explain the service rules. The service duration is 2 months. Tomorrow morning, someone will specifically escort them to the black fields. Within those 2 months, leaving the designated zone is prohibited. Food and lodging are provided within the zone. Rations are supplied for free. In the past, people were truly starving to death. Just to get a few bites to eat, they would volunteer for the service. But now, they really do not care much for those tasteless rock-hard rations anymore. How about you hit me a couple more times? To lighten the mood a bit, Donghua dodges away in disgust. She thinks Longxi has totally lost it. If she gave him a slap right now, she would be afraid he would lick her palm. The atmosphere inside the cabin, thanks to Longxi's clowning around, has lightened up significantly. A man with one large and one small silver star rank on his shoulders, a city guard in black uniform. He places the list on the large office desk. Behind the desk sits another man dressed in the same, all black uniform, holding an envelope in his hand. However, on his shoulders, he wears one large and two small silver stars. He looks quite aged. A scar half a finger long marks the left side of his face. He has a burly build. His hair is silver white. His gaze is sharp yet steady. Reporting, executor. This is the list of those drawn today for compulsory service. But they are convicted criminals. Last month, we lost 12 people. Even with a 3-shift rotation system, we are still short-staffed. Law in the apocalypse is not what it used to be. There are no detailed clauses or nuanced sentencing anymore. The law of the wasteland is no longer a sophisticated code of conduct, but a brutal iron fist. No matter the crime, everyone is thrown into prison to follow orders and be sent to labor in the black fields. This violent and heavy-handed enforcement is what maintains order within these walls. The executive officer, Yi Fuzhe, slammed the envelope onto his desk. We are short-handed, and the black fields are acting up. How many times have I reported this? Every time, they just say they have noted the anomalies, without a single word on a solution. They won't fix the black fields, but they sure know how to hike up our quotas. They really do not give a damn about us in this border city. With the casualty rate this high, how many people in Zaicheng can actually survive their labor sentence? We must maintain the current scale of the black fields. Tell all overseers to keep a sharp eye out. If anything twitches in those fields, they are to act immediately. I do not want to see casualty figures this high ever again. A knock came at the door. Sir, Zhou Shui is here. Send her in. The door to Yi Fuji's office pushed open. A guard in black armor led a woman inside. She looked to be in her early 20s, dressed in practical tactical gear, with light armor protecting her knees and elbows. Judging by the grime on her clothes, she had just come from a brutal battle. There were still smears of dried blood on her chest and arms. If any other resident of Zaicheng were here, they would be shocked to discover that this person was unlike an ordinary citizen. Her exposed face bore no trace of the green toxin marks. Instead, the emerald hue was concentrated entirely in her pupils. This was the mark of a mutant. Zhou Shui tossed a bag onto Yi Fu Ji's desk, revealing blue-purple crystals inside. Beast cores. Yi Fu Ji handed Zhou Shui 2 cases. One contained medium-grade crystals, and the other held a single dose of antidote. Everything you asked for is here. As for Huo I have already heard. I will have Heizai's squad keep an eye out for any sign of him. Chu Qi and Shadong have not awakened their powers yet. 1 dose of antidote is not enough. That is the entire quota. I have 1 more dose on hand, but it is reserved for Heizai's team. Half of his squad still has not awakened. Oh, so now you are worried about playing fair. It is not about fairness. If we are talking about fairness, the moment you all awakened, I should have reported your names to the authorities. Are you threatening me? Hardly. You should know better than anyone. The 3 great cities are a far bigger threat than anything out there. Zhou Shui remained defiant. He also knew that Yi Fu Jie was telling the truth. Zaicheng has already been abandoned by the 3 great cities. To survive, they can only trust each other. They are waiting for hope to arrive, though no one knows when that will be. Late at night, Ling Jing was lying in bed when she was suddenly jolted awake by the system. Beep. The shop is currently closed. Outside of business hours, a customer has arrived at the shop entrance. Ling Jing was exhausted from the day. After the customers left, she had quickly prepped the food, paid the system to handle the cleaning, bought a few things from the mall, and then hurried to bed to rest. Just as she was drifting off, the system woke her up. Her patience was at an all-time low. Hearing the notification, she processed it for a second, and then rolled back over to sleep. Who in their right mind visits at this hour? Huo struggled to open his eyes. Through the haze, he saw a bright light and a beautiful woman leaning over, looking at him. He struggled to sit up. Have I reached heaven? You must be an angel. Don't move. Before Huo could even react, a piece of roasted potato was stuffed into his mouth. By the way, it is outside of business hours right now. Adding in my service fee. I am charging double. No objections, right? Your bag of crystals was hanging right on you. I have already taken payment. 6 roasted potatoes. 8 city coins. I will give you the change in a bit. Hearing the angel speak like this, Huo was stunned. Do they still collect money in heaven? Is heaven not for the broke? That dark joke turned out to be true. Huo asked out of curiosity, but with his mouth full of food. Ling Jing could not understand a word. She just felt that this guy looked like he was about to kick the bucket, so she sped up the potato stuffing process. A moment later, thanks to the potatoes, Huo's spirit recovered a bit. He sat weakly inside the spotless restaurant. In front of him was a serving of pork cracklings that Ling Jing had just fried. Huo had not even processed the shock that this was not heaven. Before his senses were dazzled by the food in front of him, one piece after another, he stuffed them into his mouth. Ling Jing sat to the side, observing this wild man. His hair was gray with a tint of blue. On his skin, there was not a single trace of corrosion from the green gas. He was different from Longxi and Lina. However, his pupils were a bright emerald green. Why are your eyes green? I am a mutant. Once our abilities awaken, the corrosion marks on our bodies disappear completely, and our pupils turn green. Mutants do not need to return to the city at night. Huo shook his head. The part of his brain responsible for caution had been entirely taken over by the delicious food. Whatever Ling Jing asked, he spilled everything like a waterfall. I will spill everything. It is because while I was on a mission, I was ambushed. The mission was assigned by the High Commissioner. We were told to clear out the area beyond the north wall. Monsters whose danger levels exceed the safety zone. That monster. I do not know how many other mutant plants and animals it had devoured. Other mutant organisms. It had twisted vines growing out of its back. It had bull horns on its head, and its hooves were like a bull's too. But its mouth, it was the mouth of a lion. Oh, right. About this, the commissioner. He does not want anyone to speak a word of it. Boss, you have to help us keep this a secret, okay? What bull hooves, what bull horns? Where is that monster now? Is it far from here? How big is it? Is that really the point right now? It is in the dense forest outside the wall. Ling Jing hands Huo a portion of crispy pork lard. This one's on the house. Once the mutant monster shows up, just make sure you run into the white light. Got it. Ling Jing sees that Huo doesn't have a single objection. He is just munching away beside her with all his might, and occasionally lets out a silly grin. Suddenly, there's a moment of silence. I've never seen someone being used as bait. Who is actually this happy about it? Since Ling Jing transmigrated here, this is the first person she has met for the first time. Who trusts her this blindly? In the darkness, there is a dense rustling sound. From behind the giant plants, to the front left of the two vines suddenly lunge out at high speed. Extremely fast vines, striking towards the person standing outside the tricycle's light, directly at Huo who was looking silly just a moment ago, instantly drops his expression. He takes 2 violent steps back, and enters Bosslings, surrounding protective light. Those 2 vines, chasing right after Huo, while following him, vanished the moment they entered the white light. It is coming. An eerie beastly roar echoes. It sounds like a bull, a wolf, and a lion all at once. The mutant monster charges out. Ling Jing finally sees it clearly. This thing is indeed freaking weird looking. It is as tall as a 2-story building. Bull horns and a lion's mouth. Its lower body has bull hooves, yet on its sides, quite abruptly, several pairs of bird wings have grown. It looks like they were forcefully fused together. On the head of this bizarre creature, there is also a big lump of interwoven green and yellow plants, as if some blind birds built a nest right on top of this thing's head. From the bottom of the nest down to its eyes, it is also densely packed with many yellow-green granules. One look at it is enough to trigger anyone's trypophobia. The enraged mutant chimera charges at where Huo was standing just a moment ago. It did not continue the pursuit. Instead, it stopped in its tracks. It sniffed toward the white light. Its tail flicked irritably behind it twice. Then it took a step back. Could it be that it is wary of the system's protective shield? Ling Jing still does not quite understand this world. As for how humanity ranks mutated animals and plants, she is still in the dark. All she can do for now is find a way to deal with this chaotic mess of creatures in front of her. Dodge. Huo or sidesteps in a flash. Ling Jing quickly swerves the tricycle, changing direction, pedaling hard a couple of times, to charge straight at the mutated lion bull. The moment the mutated lion bull touches the white light radiating from the tricycle, it is like a pile of leaves blown away by the wind, completely disintegrating. Huo keeps munching away, watching Ling Jing with total admiration. She really is a goddess. After the mutated lion bull vanishes, only beast cores remain, along with 4 large basins in the tricycle, piled high with huge chunks of meat. Looking at the shape of those leg bones and ribs, this is definitely beef, no doubt about it. Now I have got all the beef and beef bones I need. Talk about a massive saving. Ling Jing can't help but let out a laugh. As she laughs, she notices in the corner of the tricycle some blood-red bird meat and a large handful of rice. Ling Jing is even more thrilled now. She is almost there. Before the first rays of dawn, the squad heading to donghua restaurant arrives. As they approach the familiar white light, they see the boss, standing right at the entrance. Today, the storefront looks a bit different from usual. There is a table set up at the door, with a large pot sitting on it. Disposable bowls are lined up next to the pot. The sign on the table is eye-catching. Today's limited edition rice porridge. Price, 20 city coins per serving. Blood toxin levels will drop every 5 minutes. Within 1 hour. Consumption of this porridge can delay death from mutation, caused by toxin overload. It is actual rice. I have not tasted real rice in years. The crowd immediately goes into a frenzy. The Dawn squad rushes forward together. All 20 servings of rice porridge are sold out in an instant. The customers who missed out settle for the next best thing, and quickly take their seats for malotong. Ling Jing takes the pot back to the kitchen, then picks up a used disposable plate from the table. Some people are a bit confused. The boss must have eaten that herself, right? Otherwise, it is hard to imagine. Who could be so desperate for food that they would not even wait for the main group, and ran here early just to eat malotong? Meanwhile, Huo is pressing against the high wall, heading north. He lets out a sneeze. He looks up and sees his teammates, locked in a struggle with a mutated monster. He quickly throws out an ice blade to help. Zhou Shui looks up, following the direction of the ice blade. Am I dead? How am I seeing a living Huo right now? This morning, Zhou Shui's Dark Star Squad, with the help of a teammate with scent tracking abilities, they arrived at the entrance of a stone cave. Huo has a score to settle. That mutated bull lion also has to die, but they still had not found the mutated bull lion. When 4 wolf-like mutants pinned them inside the cave, with Huo joining in, the squad's advantage became even clearer. The fight was over fast. Only then did the others get a chance to crowd around Huo. How are you holding up? How bad are your injuries? What about that C-grade mutant from yesterday? I am fine now. That C-grade mutant is already dead. Huo guessed the captain would still come to the north side today. Knowing Zhou Shui, she let that C-grade mutant get away yesterday. There is no way she would just let it slide. So he stayed by the high wall, looked around to the north side first, and found the spot where they got separated yesterday. Then, relying on the memory of being dragged away, plus the ground, with barely visible movement traces, he felt his way all the way here. It is dead already. Huo, you alone killed a C-grade monster. Not bad, bro. Honestly, from that ice blade control just now, your ability really got a huge boost. You can go from close combat to ranged control now. The speed your weapon blades appear is way faster than before too. Looks like when life and death are on the line, it really can unlock your potential. Huo looked at the captain, listening to the analysis. He hesitated for a moment, but still told the truth about what happened outside the west wall yesterday, spilling every detail. The other 5 teammates looked completely lost. Captain, could he have taken a hit to the head yesterday? No. I even brought proof. Look. This is what Boss Ling sells at donghua restaurant: roasted potatoes. No toxins, and it tastes amazing. And it can detox you after you eat it. Huo opened his palm, revealing a roasted potato, golden brown and smelling toasty. Seeing that, the others crowded in to examine what was in his hand. Zhou Shui reached out first and took it, broke off a piece and sniffed it, then popped it into her mouth for a taste. Her eyes lit up. She split the roasted potato and shared it with the other teammates. This flavor really is roasted potato, of course, and the restaurant has way more than that. They do not just sell roasted potatoes. They have roasted sweet potatoes too, boiled, fried, and spicy hot pot bowls. In that place, every kind of food comes with bonus effects. The spicy hot pot bowl 1-8. They said it can convert the toxins in the body into energy. It can actually turn internal toxins straight into pure energy. That place you mentioned. Where exactly is this donghua restaurant? Ling Jing had just finished serving more malotong skewers to a table. She turned around, only to see 6 people, wrapped tightly from head to toe. Every single one of them had glowing green eyes, staring at her with an intense gaze. Looking for trouble again, are we? But then Ling Jing noticed the person right in front, waving at her with a cheerful, goofy grin, practically radiating pure silliness. The figure spoke up hesitantly. Huo, boss. You actually remember me. This morning, did not he just leave Ling Jing's place after finishing his malotong? It is barely noon right now. She is not exactly the type to have a memory like a goldfish. Boss Ling, this is our captain. Ling Jing sized them up with curiosity. She did not know where these mutants had come from, and honestly, she did not care to pry. Whether it is the border town or the 3 great cities, it is none of her business. She is only concerned with her restaurant's bottom line, whether you are a normal human or a mutant. As long as you do not break the furniture, you are a welcome guest at donghua restaurant. Looking for me? Is there something on the menu that confuses you? Greetings, Boss Ling. I do not mean to pry into your secrets, but I am stunned by this food. Do you realize how precious these items are? Just now, as they stepped into the light, the toxic green mist was gone. People were sitting on benches in the bright light, chatting while munching on potatoes. There were even others carrying sacks, running toward this area, lining up in front of a mysterious box. The person at the front of that line held a large bucket, pouring the contents into the box. They were toxin-infested vegetables. After depositing the crops, clink-clank sounds came from the bottom, and a few city coins popped out. What shocked them even more, as they tentatively stepped inside, Zhou Shui and her squad saw the menu hanging by the door. The prices were cheap, the attributes of the food, and paint rules, especially the rules stating that premium tea can convert toxins into energy. For mutants, this is a matter of life and death. I am aware of that. That is why I have clearly listed the prices, have not I? Customers pay, I serve the food. Seems perfectly normal to me. Gotta make a living. But something this precious. But everything she sells is so cheap in fact, that it is practically unbelievable. Ling Jing's composure was so absolute that Zhou Shui did not quite know how to respond. Then, can we take this food? To go. Takeout is perfectly fine. But just a friendly reminder, as stated in the restaurant's policy, within the establishment's premises, diners are under absolute protection. Once you pack up and leave the shop, you will have to watch your own back. Zhou Shui had no intention of dining at Ling Jing's place. To eat inside the shop, they would inevitably have to remove their face coverings. Showing only their eyes was inconspicuous. But once the masks came off, the people around them would easily realize that they were mutants. They had not reported their status, and if too many people found out, it would likely cause some trouble. Zhou Shui tallied the amount of crystals on her person and slowly began her order. 20 roasted potatoes, 10 roasted sweet potatoes, 20 boxes of pickled radishes, 10 servings of the mixed stew, and for the spicy skewers, give me 10 of each kind. Ling Jing's eyes lit up. That is a massive haul. She originally thought about charging a packaging fee, but decided to waive it. She did not want to look like a cheapskate. Ling Jing quickly packed the food up. Meanwhile, Zhou Shui's group scraped together enough crystals and handed them to Ling Jing outside the donghua restaurant. Behind an inconspicuous boulder, a man wearing a cloth mask nudged his comrade, who was about to doze off. Wake up, someone strayed from the pack. It was Feng Go's gang again. They had been lurking here for days, returning empty-handed every time. Today, finally spotting a few isolated targets, they were beyond thrilled. They even packed food. What guts do they think? We have stopped watching them. Why are not they sticking together? I will go inform the boss. This time, we are going to score big. I have been craving a real meal for ages. He. That bossling. Who exactly is she? She does not look like a mutant at all. Her eyes and skin do not have a trace of that mutant color. Maybe she is some kind of deity. Pretty mystical, right? That mutated bovine lion that was hunting me yesterday. Bossling took care of it. She did not even have to lift a finger. Riding her tricycle, she walked up to that C-rank monster, and with a flick of her wrist, that beast just turned into thin air. That is just too badass. Even if she does not want to say where she actually came from. We have zero ill will toward the people of Zaicheng. None at all. Since Bossling does not want to talk about it, we will not ask too many questions either. Understood. Because Huo did not go back last night. He was already listed as a death statistic and reported up the chain. The city controls its population numbers very strictly. Every night they do room checks and head counts. Anyone going in or out through the wall gets logged daily. So if Huo wants to get back inside now, it is going to be a massive hassle. They can only detour to the north wall, where the only gate officer who knows their situation is stationed. Zhou Shui stuffed all the food she brought back into her bag. We need to get our story straight. From the look of it, the executive officer still does not know what happened over at the West Wall. If Bossling is doing this on purpose, we should cooperate. Everyone nodded. After all, if the authorities find out, for people at the bottom, it might not be a good thing. Soon, with a few quick lines, they cooked up a whole tale for Huo, how they barely survived outside the wall at night, living off absorbed crystals, and got lucky enough to crawl back. But this food, can it pass the gate scan? It can. The barrier flags things based on toxins and green miasma contamination. Bossling food like this has zero contamination. It will not trigger the barrier alarm. The moment Zhou Shui finished speaking, she suddenly snapped alert and looked back. A group of people had come up behind them, walking over with hostile faces. A robbery. You want to take a beating? Then hand over the tasty stuff. Then take another beating. Today you all ran into us, so yeah, bad luck. I will give you a way out. Hand over everything you have, all the food, and anything worth money. Then I will let you join our gang. How about it? You are sure you want to rob us? What else? Look around. Who else is even here? This is hilarious. Have oath. Feng Go and his crew quickly joined in, their jeers rising and falling. No idea what they were getting cocky about. Zhou Shui was getting impatient. She recognized the people in front of her as Feng Go men. She had never thought much of Feng Go, or the way his bunch operated. Before, she just could not be bothered. No, They had walked right up and delivered themselves to her. Zhou Shui did not mind loosening up her hands and feet a little. She pivoted cleanly, snapped up a flying kick, twisted her wrist, coiled her forearm for power, and dropped a slick blade-like strike. Moments later, the people who had jumped out to say they were going to rob them. 23 in total. Not a single one was still standing properly. Everyone was clutching their stomachs, waists, legs, and faces, wailing in agony on the ground. Once Pat saw her long blade unsheathed and the blood vine patterns etched on the edge, he instantly gave up all hope of resisting. Zhou Shui, this goddess of death. Why is she here at Donghua restaurant too? From now on, I do not want to see any of you anywhere near Donghua restaurant. Yes, of course. At this moment Pat could not care less about his pride. He had lost his tough guy act. Scrambling up from the ground with his lackeys and running away in total terror. In the black fields, Long Ya, dressed in her protective suit, bit her lip tightly. Long Ya looked down at her leg, where both the safety suit and her clothes had been torn open by a bite wound. Her heart sank to the very bottom. Rewind to earlier this morning. Long Ya, wearing safety suit number 87, stood at the edge of the dark, oppressive fields, exchanging equipment with number 86. The mutation. That is exactly when it happened. Long Ya's entire body was violently jerked to the side. Looking up in a panic, she saw something black swiftly lunging toward them. The supervisors were fast, instantly drawing their guns and firing, but the black tentacles in the field were even faster. Before being withered by the shots, they had already viciously snapped their mouths at her and number 86. The mouths were located at the tips, filled with 4 rows of dense sharp teeth. Long Ya had tried her best to retreat, but then she heard it. A ripping sound, the sound of her safety suit being torn apart. A sharp pain shot through the left side of Long Ya's calf. She looked down at a bite wound as long as half a finger, where the flesh had been ripped clean off. The injured Long Ya was taken away with number 86 to have the wounds treated. Long Ya watched as the Blackfield doctor gave each of them an injection. The liquid inside the syringe was almost entirely transparent, with only a faint hint of green visible. After the shot, they were sent back to work in the fields. Long Ya was not sure what exactly the doctor had injected her with. It felt like nothing more than saline, because while putting on a new safety suit, Long Ya noticed the green infection on her body was even darker than when she first found the restaurant. This meant that the injection had been completely useless. Number 87, Long Ya. Someone sent something for you. Long Ya returned to her room, and after making sure no one was around, she hurriedly rummaged through the bag, pulling everything out. The items hidden deep inside the backpack appeared before Long Ya's eyes. 3 roasted sweet potatoes, 2 roasted potatoes, plus a portion of stew and a bowl of rice porridge. The familiar, rich aroma of the potatoes. As she took a bite, the nerves Long Ya had kept taut all day finally began to ease a little. With this backpack and this life-saving food, she can definitely hold her own. If she remembers correctly, this stew can be boosted with enhanced mental resistance. It is perfect for dealing with the mental pollution in the fields. In the black fields, you do not just have to worry about sudden attacks from black tentacles. You also have to resist the mental influence of the terrain. Even if you are on high alert, you will still start feeling drowsy the moment you step into the black fields. In the dead of night, Ling Jing rides her tricycle, huffing and puffing as she chases a mutant creature. Hidden quest completed. Used food to save 20 dying human lives in the apocalypse. Reward 1 gacha draw. Ling Jing casually swiped the system panel and clicked to draw. Ling Jing looked totally indifferent, not getting her hopes up. The quest rewards are always so stingy. What could a system draw possibly give anyway? Congratulations, you have received a tricycle upgrade pack. Upgrade to electric tricycle now. Ling Jing's weary eyes slowly widened. Why did not you give me this sooner? Back when the bells first rang. Ling Jing pulled the tricycle out of the warehouse and bought a storage box from the mall. It looks like a plain, ordinary chest, taking up no more space than a 20-inch suitcase, but it actually holds 80 cubic meters. No matter how much you pack, the weight stays the same. How? Pocket dimension magic, that is how. Her goal this time is very clear. A mutant plant that produces rice, the mutant cow lion monster, can merge with the patty grain monster, which means in that direction, there is definitely a rice source. Lady Luck does not smile on the same person forever. Ling Jing went out hunting at 8 p.m. after pedaling for 3 hours. It was past 11 p.m. and she had not found a single rice-type mutant. She did, however, harvest a pile of other ingredients. Just as Ling Jing was about to call it a night, a golden yellow vine-like tentacle flashed past her eyes. It seemed to be coming right for her. It was fast, but the moment that tentacle was about to hit the protective shield, it suddenly retracted. Well, this is interesting. If it knows how to avoid danger, this massive monster must be a high-level one. Since you are already here, why do not you just come home with me? Ling Jing gripped the handlebars and started charging toward it. The giant mutant, whose full form was obscured, gave a leap, making the ground tremble slightly, before it bolted away. By the time the system notification popped up, Ling Jing had been chasing the golden beast for 3 hours. It was huge, and ran clumsily. But every time Ling Jing got close, it would use its tentacles to knock down the surrounding mutant trees, blocking her path. Ling Jing felt like she was just 0.00001 gems away from catching it. It can be cashed out, just like those bargain hunting apps. I absolutely could not give up. 1 person, 1 monster. The stalemate chase lasted until 2:00 a.m. So when the electric tricycle popped out of the gacha, Ling Jing felt like her legs did not even belong to her anymore. Ling Jing clicked without a second thought. Confirm. A white light flashed. The tricycle beneath Ling Jing was enveloped in a glow. As the system upgrade light faded, the tricycle had already transformed into a brand new model. Ling Jing looked up. Still fleeing ahead was the massive golden mutant. Without hesitation, she twisted the throttle with her right hand. The speedometer showed in real time. The speed of the electric tricycle shot up from 0 km/h, quickly hitting 40 km/h. The tricycle began to accelerate automatically. Hands-free, now that is the life. That golden yellow mutant was clearly startled. It had just seen this human stop along with that dangerous white light. It had also slowed its pace, running for 3 hours straight. Even a mutant gets exhausted. But what is happening now? She was so slow just a moment ago. How was she moving so fast all of a sudden? Ling Jing could almost see the disbelief on the mutant's face, seeing the dangerous white light, about to touch it. It hurried, its legs made of countless branches, and bolted forward. Just as Ling Jing was about to catch up, the tricycle suddenly emitted a sound. Beep beep. Current speed detected as too high. You are speeding. Are you kidding me? It is the apocalypse, out here in the middle of nowhere. Even if I hit 120, do not tell me a traffic cop is going to pull me over. Ling Jing ignored the useless warning. She pinned the throttle to the max, but when the speed reached 50 km/h, the tricycle's velocity stopped increasing. Still, it was enough. The mutant's speed clearly was not that fast. In the blink of an eye, Ling Jing was right on its tail. The mutant grew desperate. It certainly did not intend to go down without a fight. The mutant let out a roar, slammed the ground, and with all its might, grabbed various mutated plants from the surroundings, and hurled them at Ling Jing, the dense mass of mutated plants. The moment they touched, the protective shield instantly turned into pine nuts, fruits, leeks, and the like. Thanks for the gift. But you are still coming back with me. While the mutant was stunned, Ling Jing did not slow down. She charged straight at it. Finally, the purification light made contact with its massive body. Because of its enormous size, the process of being swallowed by the light, it lasted longer than those mutated plants from before. However, this golden mutant monster did not make Ling Jing chase it for nothing. It was not just carrying the rice Ling Jing wanted, but also corn, mushrooms, loosestrife, horse millet, and wild yams. There is quite a variety. And with the mutations, even Ling Jing, with all her expertise, could only barely recognize a few. Not only did it drop ingredients, but it also gave seeds. Underneath, there is even a purple plant core. Ding. Host detected. Materials have been collected. Key items, beast core and plant core. Unlocking for you now. The new farm sector. Accessing system panel tabs. Store expansion options available. Equipment upgrades and store decor layouts. Mall and recipe tabs unlocked. Checking the back end. Navigating to the task interface. A new farm subcolumn has been added. Ling Jing studied it for a while. The farm was still completely empty, but the farm market had a huge variety, ranging from plots of land to seeds for all kinds of plants, from chicks and piglets to lambs and calves for sale, and even chicken coops, barns, and sheep pens. However, once she entered the farm market, the display in the top right corner was no longer her point balance. Instead, it showed one green and one red, two circular currency icons. Do I need to top up using points? Ling Jing wondered to herself, and clicked on the green coin in the top right. Next to the 0 was a small plus sign. The exchange panel popped up. Exchange your plant cores for plant coins. You currently possess 1. Ling Jing clicked confirm. That rank B mutated plant core was exchanged for 200 plant coins. Ling Jing repeated the process, using the rank C beast core from yesterday, exchanging it for 100 beast coins. Now that Ling Jing had some cash, she started browsing the farm. The items in the market. Inside the farm market, talk about high prices. Considering the items just obtained, the rice and corn seeds, Ling Jing only exchanged for 1 4x4 plot of land. She placed the plot in the woods behind donghua restaurant. Around the plot, wooden fences automatically generated, complete with a gate. Above the plot appeared a white light barrier, identical to the one at donghua restaurant. It covered both the land and the fences together. Ling Jing opened the farm panel, went to her inventory, and found the rice seeds. She tried tapping on them, and a plant option appeared below. As Ling Jing clicked plant rice, it automatically appeared on the plot of land before her. It was not just about planting, even tasks like watering, fertilizing, and harvesting. A whole series of farm work. Ling Jing only needed to lift a finger. Just like those farming simulator mini games she used to play. All she had to do was click, click, click. Soap, the Dark Star Squad, and the others headed toward the restaurant. Captain, outside the west wall, there really is that donghua restaurant you mentioned. It actually exists. Huo or yesterday. Were not you the most eager to explain everything? Why are you so quiet now? I am just wondering, have you guys seen my handheld console? My little machine. Wasn't it right there in my cardboard box? Why can't I find it? The others looked at each other in awkward silence. That night, everyone thought Huo was not coming back. So they took his favorite game console and burned it for him as an offering. It had already turned to ash in the stone basin. In the end, it was Zhou Shui showed the most backbone, while everyone else was passing the buck to one another. She told Huo the truth. The expression on Huo's face at that moment, it just vanished. His whole body instantly lost all color. I am so sorry. When there is a chance later, I will find you another one. Okay. Even if it is similar, it is not the same. I loved my little machine. How could I ever love a replacement? Huo, or if you are so heartbroken, maybe when we get to the donghua restaurant, you will skip the meal. I guess we won't buy your quota then. No, that is definitely not happening. A man's gotta eat to stay strong. I still have to avenge my little machine. After saying that, Huo quickened his pace and ran toward the restaurant. Geez, he still remembers to eat. At least he has not gone crazy. Today, 18 members of Zhou Shui's squad came out except for the wounded, and those staying behind to care for them. Everyone who could come, came. Zhou Shui planned to take some of them out with her to continue clearing out mutants. The other members would stay at the donghua restaurant to work, earning money to buy more food, which they would then take back inside the walls. For their comrades staying behind, they moved quickly, meeting up halfway with the large group heading out together. Ling Jing's status within the Dark Star Squad had risen even higher. After all, in this apocalypse, even the executive officer could not unite the people like this. But she did it. A massive crowd of people stood at the restaurant entrance, watching the restaurant's changes in amazement. The coverage area of the purification light had expanded. There are more chairs now. Out there today. How come there is no limit on the rice porridge anymore? Rice porridge. Starting today, it is unlimited supply. Whoa, what is this? It smells absolutely heavenly, making me drool just thinking about it. It is a new item. When the crowd heard that, they forgot all about making money. Everyone just swarmed into the shop, terrified that if they were a second late, they would miss out entirely. As soon as they stepped inside, everyone noticed the shop had undergone some pretty major changes. The original checkout area had been expanded, transforming into a dedicated, separate space. The checkout counter is still to the left of the entrance. The original oven and the stew counters, which used to be on opposite sides, are now all integrated on the right. The right side also gained new tables and equipment for serving rice porridge, boiled corn, and sugar-roasted chestnuts. 3 new items appeared on the menu. Rice porridge, 7 city coins per serving. Buff, meat recovery for 1 hour. Blood toxin concentration, drops every 5 minutes. After consumption, porridge volume, 200 milliliters. Can delay mutation-induced death, caused by toxin overload. Mutation-induced death can be cleared once, removing the frenzy debuff. Sugar-roasted chestnuts, 8 city coins per serving. Detoxification, 1%. Post-consumption, positive mood, boosted by 20% for the day. Resistance to cold environments, increased by 10%. Boiled corn, 5 city coins per ear. Detoxification, 1%. Within 2 hours of eating. Stamina recovery rate, increased by 10%. What kind of cooking style is sugar roasted? Before the apocalypse, I only ever ate chestnuts stewed in soup. Who cares how it is made? If the boss made it, it is bound to be delicious. I am definitely getting some to try. Don't push, do not shove. I was in line first. The equipment restocks automatically. Everyone line up one by one. The line moves fast. The benches outside quickly became quite lively. Longxi and his group sat on the chairs eating chestnuts, having the time of their lives. Beside the benches, Zhou Shui and her team were stuffing their backpacks with food. She instructed those staying behind regarding the farm's location. The people here should have an organized way to get toxic veggies. Just follow them. Wait, what are they looking at? A dense crowd had their backs turned to Zhou Shui. They were just standing there, occasionally letting out gasps of surprise. So, they all walked forward together to peer over and see what was happening. A beam of white light flashed behind donghua restaurant. Looking over. In that fenced-off plot of land, tender sprouts were emerging. They were normal in size, with no extra mutated tentacles. This is real farmland, even though they were used to Ling Jing's special abilities. Seeing this patch of farmland still left everyone in total shock. Most people were still marveling at a field that showed no trace of toxic green gas erosion. But someone had other ideas. A hand reached toward the field. Attention, this is the owner's private property. Please keep back. A beam of white light shoved the reaching man away. The man noticed the surrounding contemptuous glares and could only offer a weak excuse. I was just curious. Of course, no one bought his story, but they were not in the mood to mock him. After all, Boss Ling had her ways of dealing with his kind. Their attention was now fixed on the farmland. Everyone watched the land where the tiny sprouts were popping up. Though the plot was not large, it felt as if a seed of hope had also sprouted in their hearts. Ling Jing sat behind the cashier counter, leisurely munching on a cob of corn. The variety in the shop had increased, but the boss herself did not get any busier. This was all thanks to last night. After Ling Jing added the new items, she upgraded the roasting machine, the corn steamer, and the porridge pot, all at once, with the auto refill. Just like the potato roaster, everything followed a fully automated process. Now, only the molotong and skewers section needed a bit of monitoring. Customers in the shop came in wave after wave. Each group that arrived repeated the exact same routine as the morning crowd. Whoa, the shop has expanded. Look, there are new items. The rice porridge is not limited anymore. Taking a deep breath, the new sugar-roasted chestnuts and boiled corn smelled heavenly. Checking the menu descriptions, they scanned the menu, taking every. They quickly lined up. Why does everyone act like NPCs? Ling Jing thought. Customers who bought food sat down, chatting in small groups, inside and outside the shop. The atmosphere was full of joy. Inside Zaicheng's towering clock tower, it was a stark contrast to the vibe at donghua restaurant. The city guard officer placed a file on Yifu Zhe's desk. The toxin had already reached the pupils, yet it receded on its own. Yes, it was a new service worker. On their first day on the job, they got bitten on the calf, level 6 exposure area, and they still received treatment. And Commander, we suspect mutation. That mutated black wheat is very likely. Already learned how to hide. Yifu Zhe knit his brows tight, carefully reading the detailed record in his hands, a report file on how long I was bitten by black wheat, yet somehow miraculously improve any other abnormalities on her. This was found in her room. In the trash. It was processed, but we suspect it was used to hold other food. Oh right, earlier in the city, a gang leader showed up. Feng Go said people in the city were hiding a secret from the authorities. Not sure whether that has anything to do with this. Get to the point, he said outside the west wall. A restaurant opened up, right in front of a tall clock tower. Feng Go was leading his men, waiting in front of a city guard officer. He wore a smug grin, Boss, is this really gonna work? You guys don't know Jack, with Dark Star Squad and those black-skinned dogs being connected. Zhou Shui still had to sneak supplies inside. That means those black-skinned dogs have no clue what is going on outside the west wall. Perfect. Keep it that way. I will serve it to them on a platter and get my payback. Yesterday, from his underlings report, Feng Go immediately sensed something was off. As a gang boss, Feng Go had some information channels and knew things ordinary folks in the city did not. Like how Dark Star Squad and the Red Flag Society, as Zixing's biggest and strongest two factions, had been recruited by the authorities. Standing in Yifu Zhe's office, only Feng Go remained. His little brothers were stopped outside. Yifu Zhe sat behind a broad desk, calm but intimidating. You wanted to see me? Yes, executive officer. I want to report a secret. In Feng Go's head, the speech he prepared in advance suddenly scattered into nonsense. After he said that, the executive officer did not respond, just stared at him blankly. Like he was telling him to keep talking. Feng Go rambled, spinning the story about outside the west wall with extra drama. So the mutant running that restaurant is obviously someone who does not want to fulfill mutant duties, and secretly slipped out past the high walls to open a restaurant outside the city. Even Zhou Shui helped him cover it up. And I just discovered this guy, who does not lift a finger for the three great cities, dares not face the front lines, is completely selfish, and totally disregards the oath every human once swore, a man just scraping by to survive, the lowest of the low. So I rushed here to report to you. After Feng Go finished speaking, he suddenly felt the executors gaze toward him turn ice cold. After sending Feng Go away, only Yifu Zhe and the city guard remained in the office. HMPH. Greedy, sinister, and unscrupulous. Bullying the weak while fearing the strong. It is written all over his face. Sir. He just mentioned Zhou Shui. I wonder how much he actually knows. The shallower the knowledge, the more eager they are to spill it. But regardless of what he knows, the fact that he dared to use this to test us in our presence shows he has malicious intent. We can't just let him roam free. Find an excuse to lock him up. Exile him to the Black Fields. Understood. So, is what he said credible? 80% chance it is true, though she is likely not a mutant. Then we need to send someone to the West Wall to investigate. No, before we figure out her stance, we can't act rashly. Send out the order. From now on, all items sent from the outside to the Black Fields quarantine zone are to be seized. I will inspect them personally, especially anything for Unit 87. Outside the city, business had just ended. Lingjing was closing up the shop. Ding, you have unlocked a hidden achievement. Restaurant operational and entered official surveillance. Reward 1 chance. At the premium gacha machine. Please continue to expand your shop's influence. Premium gacha, huh. Hidden achievement rewards really are better than hidden quests. At that thought, Lingjing immediately clicked to draw. The next second, a robot appeared before her. Congratulations, you have received one all-in-one service robot. Added to equipment upgrades. A robot that integrates greeting, ordering, serving, table service, cashiering, and cleaning functions. This all-in-one service robot is now fully dedicated to your restaurant. It truly is a premium item. Honorable boss. Hello, I am your all-in-one service robot. It is a pleasure to serve you. Next, let me introduce myself to you. The robot only reached Lingjing's chest, where its square head should be. There was a screen, which was currently displaying. It is quite large, metallic all over, with a distinct luster. Under its square head is a rectangular body, with some grooves on it. Lingjing reached out and pressed it. The robot's chassis opened up, revealing a hollow square space inside. This is my storage compartment. Press the button on top to open it, and then you can store or retrieve items. Once the automated program is set, this unit can automatically pick up and place things, from the sides of the robot. 2 hands extended. They are short, looking about the size of a human forearm. It pointed to its own head. This is the display screen. The screen can display any text you configure, including recipes, reminders, and so on. As for the button on top of the screen, once pressed, you can access this unit's backend panel. In there, you can set the workflow and the operational range. From the square arms, they're extended. 2 long mechanical limbs. They instantly stretched out to twice the length of a human arm. This is this unit's maximum arm reach. Depending on the task at hand, the arms can automatically switch between cleaning cloths, trays, grippers, pliers, and hammers. Multiple modes, total flexibility. Your legs are wheels. Can you go up and down stairs? Affirmative. The robot's 2 large wheels spun, and with a whirring sound, caterpillar tracks emerged from its body to form a loop, wrapping around the 2 wheels. Then it headed toward the restaurant entrance. There are 2 small steps at the door. With its tracks engaged, the robot slid down quickly and zipped back up just as fast. Oh boy. The robot's tracks got all muddy. Wait. No need to worry, boss. This unit has a self-cleaning system. When dirt is detected, it activates automatically. You are quite the chatterbox, are not you? So, do you need to be charged? Good question. The answer is yes. This unit's operation will deplete its power after 12 hours. When you see my display screen flash a red light, 83.4, it means there is only half an hour left before this unit enters hibernation. At that point, it only costs 100 points to get this robot fully charged. Hey, I figured as much. From now on, I will call you Kai Kai. Blackfield's quarantine zone. Longya was escorted to an unfamiliar building. Standing in the dimly lit room, Longya felt a wave of anxiety. She had anticipated that her abnormalities would eventually be detected by the officials, so she had prepared her story in advance. She planned to attribute the detoxification entirely to the doctor's recent injections. What she did not know was how the high-ranking officers of Zaicheng would react once they learned what happened beyond the West Wall. What would their next move be? But her gut told her she did not want to bring any trouble to the donghua restaurant. Exalted executive officer, I have already told you everything I know. I have spilled it all. Seriously, I do not know anything else. Longya maintained a mask of impatience, yet her eyes remained locked on the executive officer, scanning for any reaction. Finally, the executive officer, Yi Fuzhe, leaned in close and whispered a few words to the nearby city guard. Fine, you may go. Longya quietly breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness Longxi is so thorough. She knew that delivering items every day would draw too much unwanted attention. After Longya left, the city guard picked up a parcel and placed it on Yi Fuji's desk. Sir, we have confiscated the package sent from the outside today, addressed to number 87. There are indeed some unusual items inside. Why did not you question her face-to-face just now? Longya had no idea that just as the city gates were closing today, right at the deadline, Longxi had arrived at the Blackfields, crossing the quarantine perimeter to deliver some things to her. Unfortunately, in the blink of an eye, those items ended up right here. On the package seemed to contain only a thick quilt, a neatly folded, thick quilt. It looked perfectly normal at first glance, but after spreading it out and cutting the stitched seams along the side, they pulled out something that left everyone in the room completely shell-shocked. 4 wrapped roasted sweet potatoes, 4 paper bags of chestnuts roasted in some unique way, 3 neatly wrapped corn cobs, and 2 plastic containers filled with white rice porridge. There was also a small slip of paper. On it was a scrawl so messy, it looked like a chicken had been dancing on the page. The officials had to exert quite an effort to finally decipher the content on the note. Yeah, Longxi originally said she would not send you anything today, but the boss has some new items in stock. I thought about it and decided to bring them to you anyway. In such a long letter, the useful information was practically zero. Yi Fuzhe flipped the note over to the back. There were only 2 lines of text on the reverse. Sugar roasted chestnuts, 1% detoxification. Consumption results in a boost in positive mood for the day. Increases by 20%. Frigid environments. Endurance increased by 10%. Boiled corn detoxification percentage. After consumption, within 2 hours, physical stamina. Recovery rate increases by 10%. Detoxification. Positive mood boost. Frigid environment endurance boost. There is also stamina recovery. But why are only these 2 things labeled? These are today's new items, so they have labels. It seems that restaurant is even more powerful than we imagined. Sir, do we need to immediately interrogate number 87? Also, take these items and have the inspectorate pull a group of people to conduct a control group experiment. See if the food's efficacy actually matches the description. So the questioning is to confirm the findings. After the food Longxi sent over was tested, the city guard does not understand why the executive officer, during the interrogation, did not mention this at all. Number 87's wariness and resentment toward us were written all over her face. She was clearly very nervous, yet she would rather stay in that room, under the inspector's gun, weaving a web of lies, than be willing to tell us the truth. Have you ever wondered why? Because they do not want to be threatened by us. Looking at it this way, that restaurant outside the city has probably given the people a lot of help, causing the scales in their hearts to tilt. That restaurant has won more hearts than we have. Don't feel slighted. From the moment we took our oath, we promised to give everything for the future of humanity. For this goal, I am willing to play the villain. There are some things the public does not need to know. Everything each of us sacrifices will be carved onto our tombstones. Someone will always remember. Yes, this is also a good thing. At least it proves that restaurant has no ill intent towards Zaicheng. Knock knock knock. Urgent knocking sounds. An inspector rushes in and hands Yi Fuzhe a file titled Emergency Report, Mutation Anomaly Outside Zaicheng's South Wall. As Yi Fuzhe reads the contents, his expression gradually turns grim. The situation outside the South Wall is already quite severe. Month after month, while waiting for the 3 great cities to send mutants, countless city guards have already been sacrificed. If the South Wall falls, every human in Zaicheng will end up as fodder for the mutants. And to make matters worse, the Blackfields are acting up too. The Black Wheat is behaving strangely, mutating aggressively, and it is claiming the lives of our workers and supervisors one by one. Zaicheng is reaching its limit. We are running out of people to deploy. What is the word from the lab? The current conclusion is that the corn and chestnuts actually live up to their claimed effects. Good. Spread the word immediately. Mobilize 2 city guard squads. Assemble at the clock tower square, fully armed, with full anti-toxin protocols in place. We are heading back to the square now. Depart for the west wall outskirts instantly. Meanwhile, outside the north wall, Zhou Shui is leading her team, checking their hit list to hunt down some mutants. Their mission today is to clear out 5 grade E mutants. According to the Intercity Alliance treaty, within the safety zone around the border cities, there should only be grade F, or lower tier mutated flora and fauna. But the mutants around Zaicheng have exceeded safety levels for several months now. By all rights, the mutant suppression teams from the 3 great cities should have arrived and cleared them out long ago, yet they are nowhere to be seen. Zhou Shui does not know what the holdup is. Only that Yi Fuzhe handed this task to Darkstar and the Red Flag Society, while setting a quota for forced awakening. On today's hit list, the first 2 are mutated chestnut trees. Rooted organisms like these, grade E mutated plants, should not be able to wander off. But once the team reached the coordinates, they searched the entire area and found nothing. Not a single trace of those 2 mutated plants. Where on earth did they go? Huo or peels a chestnut, pops it into his mouth. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Hey guys, you think it is possible that those two mutants have already been turned into sugar-roasted chestnuts? That actually makes a lot of sense. Alright, on to the next one. Zhou Shui and her crew followed the trail of rabbit fur, spotted by their scout, leading them to a massive thicket of shrubs. But after circling the area, they still could not find a single sign of the mutant radish monster. While everyone was scratching their heads, Huo was munching on some pickled white radish. Crunch, crunch, crunch. This mutant, it is probably already become the radish strips in my mouth right now. Pretty tasty too. Hey hey hey. As night falls, Ling Jing stands at the restaurant entrance and pulls up the system interface. Open the store expansion category. Ling Jing clicked on store expansion, looking at the second floor restaurant expansion. Negative 1,000 points. She clicked it anyway. Ling Jing was ready for a major project. With customers increasing by the day, she had thought about adding new dishes, but worried she would be spread too thin. But now that she has Kai Kai, it means during daytime business hours, all service-related tasks are off her plate. She just needs to focus on the kitchen. Are you sure you want to expand the restaurant to the second floor? The restaurant will be upgraded after expansion. The upgraded restaurant will bring new attributes, as well as changes to daily turnover requirements and other aspects. Please confirm. Upgrade only when your current management capacity is sufficient. Ling Jing clicked confirm without a second thought. The asset panel popped up. Ling Jing quickly noticed that hidden achievements were also counted as part of her assets. The system would not put irrelevant content under the asset tab, so those hidden achievements must have some kind of value. For this upgrade, the reward is expanding the kitchen by 10 square meters. It also upgraded the infrastructure and provided a refrigerator. Compared to the previous kitchen, the current one finally meets the standards of a normal restaurant. The kitchen setup is actually even better. The bedroom also changed from a campus dorm style into a private studio apartment. Ling Jing quickened her pace, striding up the stairs. Under the warm glow of the lights, she saw the newly built second floor of the donghua restaurant. It was very spacious, over 60 square meters, all dedicated to the dining area. Windows on all four sides. Ling Jing set up a few more tables. Ling Jing returned to the kitchen to start preparing tomorrow's dishes. With a new area open, the menu obviously needs an update too. Ling Jing bought brine spices, white liquor, and sugar from the mall, getting ready to make a master stock. Ling Jing prepared 3 large pots, braised meat, offal, and vegetables. Amidst the rising steam, the ingredients in the pots bubbled and simmered. Even before the colors had set, the aroma was already overflowing. Ling Jing sat nearby and waited, munching on a roasted sweet potato, while calculating in the mall what else she needed to buy. After a shopping spree, Ling Jing's pockets were completely empty. Money is just one of those things. No matter when it is, it burns a hole in your pocket. Ling Jing shifted her gaze to Kai Kai. Can you chop vegetables? Boss, chopping vegetables is not within Kai Kai's functional range. But Kai Kai can play some music to cheer you up. Fold a paper crane, tie a red ribbon too. May good people have good luck every day. Your hard work makes life beautiful. May your health bloom like eternal spring. Alert, it is currently closing time for the shop. Non-operational hours. A group of customers has arrived at the entrance. Will you receive them? A whole group. Ling Jing washed her hands, left the kitchen, and with Kai Kai following, walked toward the shop door. Before she could even move a finger, Kai Kai had already, quite proactively, opened the door for her. It even switched on the lights in the dining area simultaneously. The visitors, arriving in the dead of night, were fully revealed before her. 10 people in total, all wearing black uniforms, black leather boots, and black gloves. Ling Jing nonchalantly scanned their waistlines, gun holsters hanging at their hips. These must be the officials the system mentioned. While Ling Jing calmly sized them up, Yi Fuzhe was also observing Ling Jing. Just now when Yi Fuzhe led his men here, even though he was mentally prepared, he still found it unbelievable. Building a private structure outside the walls is not exactly an impossible feat, but this white light protective shield closely resembles the dome over Qiwang City. In the 3 great cities, its ability to isolate the green gas might even be superior. Not until the shop lights flickered on, and a woman stepped out, one who showed absolutely no signs of green gas corrosion. Welcome. It is currently outside our normal business hours. All food prices are doubled. How can I help you? Yi Fuzhe led the city guards into the shop. Clean tables and chairs, bright lighting, and the faint, lingering aroma of food. Greetings. I have some matters I would like to consult you on. I have questions. My apologies. I still have some unfinished business. Ling Jing spoke while heading back toward the kitchen. You can take a seat first. The menu and restaurant rules are right by the door. This establishment welcomes friendly guests. Please refrain from doing anything that harms the restaurant's interests. Otherwise, we will refuse service. Understood. Yi Fuzhe and his men watched her, and that robot playing strange music, disappear into the back room. Then they could not help but look around the place. How many city coins and crystals did we bring? 4,000. That is already on top of the budget required for the city's daily operations. It is the maximum amount we could mobilize. As for the crystals, you did not mention bringing any. Before coming here, they did not even know crystals could be exchanged for currency. In that translated letter, it only mentioned making money. It did not mention how to earn it at all, or what to trade for it. Damn, I am not sure if the money they brought is even enough. Thinking about the situation at the south wall, Yi Fuji's face is filled with worry. Commander, you have to look at this menu. Yi Fuji shifted his gaze to the menu, shifting his gaze to the menu, his eyes widening like saucers. It is this cheap. Yi Fuji's eyes scanned down the menu panel. The more he read, the more excited he became, not just because of the price, but because of the stats of these foods. Yi Fuzhe finally could not hold it back. The battle hardened. High executive actually cried out in shock. In the kitchen, Ling Jing, who was stir-frying at lightning speed, heard the exclamation. From the dining area, it was so loud it drowned out the background music. Curious. She peeked out through the serving hatch. Ling Jing turned around, confirming tonight's 3 stir-fried dishes, plus 3 pots of braised meat. We're all good to go. Only then did she tell Kai Kai to hush, pushed open the door and walked out. Hello, can we buy some right now? You can. But for now, you can't just go by what is on the menu. It depends on our current stock. Some items won't be ready until tomorrow morning. We will take everything, as expected of the authorities. They really are loaded. Ling Jing patted Kai Kai, signaling it to pack the food for them, while she sat down on a stool. Seeing Yi Fuzhe still deep in thought, she asked, how should I address you? I am Yi Fuzhe, the high executive of Zaicheng. Nice to meet you, I am Ling. I recall when you first entered. You said you had something to ask. It is because I saw that box at the entrance. So Boss Ling, if we purchase food from you every day, can we also pay using the items specified on that box outside? Is that right? Correct. Then would another form of crystals work as well? Are you referring to beast cores and plant cores? Of course you can. Ling Jing had originally planned to go out tonight for some hunting, to grab some beast and plant cores herself. An uninvited customer messed up her original schedule, but it was like fate playing a little joke and delivered exactly what she needed right to her doorstep. Yi Fuzhe pulled out paper and pen and quickly started writing. Moments later, a detailed list was handed to Ling Jing. On it, every type of food, and the required quantity was clearly marked. Executive Yi, Donghua restaurant, is still pretty small scale, as you have seen. This place is open to do business. I cannot just focus on filling your order, and then, when other customers come in, have nothing left for them to buy. You agree, right? That would be terrible for the restaurant's reputation. What I mean, executive, is that I can take your order, but it cannot affect our day-to-day operations. What I can do is, every day, after normal business hours end, I reopen for an extra hour, from 6:30 to 7:30 in the evening. I will trade with you and hand over the food. That way it does not count as charging you double. How does that sound? Ling Boss was being very straightforward. Ling Jing personally walked them out. Yi Fuzhe and his people left with big and small bags piled in their arms. Before Yi Fuzhe left, he agreed to 3 conditions from Ling Jing. First, the authorities must help promote Donghua restaurant inside the city. Second, no reselling is allowed. Third, all officially known mutant plants, data and locations must be reported to her in real time. Yi Fuzhe agreed without any hesitation. Ling Jing was not worried at all that Yi Fuzhe might break his word. After all, in this cooperation, the initiative was entirely in her hands. Back inside the city, Yi Fuzhe strode forward, walking so fast it kicked up a breeze, heading straight for the bell tower. Are you planning to pay Donghua restaurant with beast cores and plant cores? What about the quota from the 3 great cities? How do we handle that? We cannot fail to submit what we owe. For the other satellite cities, that is manageable. But with Zaicheng's stockpile and current scale, if we turn everything in, it will only make the 3 great cities suspicious. Is handing those cores over to Donghua restaurant really safe? We do not know. All we can do is bet. But my gut tells me we are not going to lose this one. South wall of Zaicheng. Mutant frog monsters glowing green were swarming and climbing up the city wall. A squad of soldiers hid behind their shields, firing non-stop at the mutant beasts. The captain already had 2 team members injured. Get them down, quick. Rotate fresh people up here. No idea yet if Executive Yi has received the emergency report. Below the high wall, tiny blue lights were starting to appear one by one. They are closing in on the wall. This is going to be a problem. Those glowing blue dots in the dark. They look almost beautiful, but they belong to a hybrid, a cross between a fish and a spider. In the swamps outside the south wall, much like Yanggu, pollution has twisted them into eerie forms. When these monsters approach, the surrounding temperature plummets, while the prey is frozen stiff. They plant parasitic eggs onto the body. We have not even finished off the mutant frogs yet, and now a new wave is hitting us. And would not you know it, they are all mutant swarms. Open fire, we must hold the south wall at all costs. Blue muzzle flashes erupted continuously from the high walls. Viscous, corrosive liquid sprayed upward, splattering against the pre-positioned shields. Despite that, comrades were still falling left and right, just as everyone was reaching their breaking point. A city guard appeared on the battlements. Captain Mo, I am here with reinforcements as ordered. The relief supplies have arrived as well. Go down and take inventory. I will take over your watch. Mo Li found it a bit strange. The situation tonight was grim. The first half of the watch was not even over, and 4 people already had compromised suits and injuries. At a time like this, the executive officer did not send more troops, but sent supplies instead. What good would that do? Just go down and see for yourself. You won't be disappointed. Mo Li descended from the wall. She saw the soldiers who had just been evacuated to have their wounds treated. They were huddled around the bags, looking completely shocked. A moment later, her own face froze in disbelief. Are you saying this stuff is not only edible, but it also neutralizes toxins? It boosts cold resistance, stamina recovery, and reaction speed. Relax. Captain Mo, the executive officer, verified all of this personally. It is the real deal. The wounded soldiers began scarfing down the food. How are you guys feeling? It is delicious. I am asking you about the corruption in your bodies. How is it now? It is noticeably better. Works better than the injections. Soon, all the other wounded soldiers were reporting positive results. Mo Li quickly distributed the food in portions. What was originally a suicide mission had found a glimmer of hope thanks to the arrival of this food. Blackfield's quarantine zone. An inspector lay on a medical bed. His safety suit removed. His dark blue uniform had the sleeves rolled up. His entire right forearm was bandaged, as was his neck. The doctor unwrapped the gauze, which was soaked in blood, mixed with a foul green liquid. The doctor prepared to give him an injection. Don't bother. Don't waste it. The inspector tapped his left chest with his hand. The doctor understood exactly what he meant. Inside the uniform of every soldier, on the left chest, there is a small patch of cloth. Engraved on it is the soldier's identification number. Using that number, the executive officer can find the final testament written by each soldier when they enlisted after the cataclysm. In other words, a will. The doctor gave the other party a solemn nod and offered a formal salute. Just then, the door to the clinic was shoved open from the outside with brute force. Which one is in the worst shape? Speak up now, little cutie. The toughest ones all have red tags at the bedside. Come on, make everyone drink it down. Move it. Doctors, you all, lend a hand. The doctors who got called out joined the crash team in a daze. The moment the inspector's eyes were about to close, his jaw twinged with pain. Then something was forced down his throat. A mouthful of sticky sludge. It jolted his eyelids back open. Through his blurry vision, he seemed to see the chief executor with a strained expression. 2 in the morning. Long Ya finished her shift and queued with the unit to collect rations. Long Ya was exhausted. 8 hours of high-intensity focus. And she had to stay ready for attacks from mutated black wheat. Today, she even got pulled off duty to go out and sit through an interrogation. Right now, the only thing she wanted was to go back and crash. So she was not exactly enthusiastic about collecting rations. After all, she barely ate anyway. A wave of gasps came from the front of the line, snagging Long Ya's attention. As the line inched forward, Long Ya noticed everyone ahead of her, reacting like it was a big deal. When it finally got to her, Long Ya finally understood what the staff were freaking out about. The supplies set in front of the inspectors were not those black rock-hard ration biscuits. They were roasted potatoes. Even the packaging looked exactly like Bosling's, hugging the roasted potatoes and the parcel Long Shi had sent. Long Ya went back to her room looking stunned. Before long, in the bedding, she found the food and a note from Long Shi. What on earth happened out there? Unlike Long Ya's confusion, make Blackfield's quarantine zone. The other workers brought the brand new rations back to the dorms, all of them stuck in total shock. Tonight, whether it was the Blackfields quarantine clinic or the city walls, it was destined to be a sleepless night. At dawn, the bells of Zaicheng rang out. A large crowd of city guards assembled in the square. The leader among them stepped onto the platform, holding the same loudspeaker as last time when the Blackfields labor draft lottery was announced. What is this about? Another lottery announcement. It has only been a few days. Have they lost it? Down below, the crowd wore numb confusion and fear. This kind of scene was way too familiar to the city guards. Every single time he stood on this high platform, he would see countless faces like these. But in the past, what got announced here was always bad news. Today was different. Citizens of Zaicheng, before today's exchange starts, I have an announcement for everyone. A donghua restaurant has opened outside the west wall. They sell all kinds of food, including baked potatoes, baked sweet potatoes, and more. This restaurant lets you exchange crystals, metals, and contaminated ingredients, as well as mutant plants and animals and handmade goods for coins. Then use the coins to buy food. Some item prices and food effects at donghua restaurant, along with the location, are clearly written on this notice board. You can check it yourselves. Anyone who wants to go can stay here. A gate guard will lead a team there. After reading the board, many residents chose to gather in the square. More and more people packed into the square, and the noise kept getting louder. All you could hear were residents' excited voices. The gate guard had a weird feeling, like Zaicheng had come back to life. While new customers were still gathering in the city square, the regulars had already arrived at donghua restaurant. Seeing the two-story building in front of them, no one even found it strange anymore. It felt like no matter what Bosling did, they would not be surprised. Whoa, look. The moment you get close to donghua restaurant, you can see it, just inside the restaurant entrance. A floating little sign pointed to the stairs on the left. It said second floor ordering area item exchange, and beside it stood a weird robot item exchange first. What do they even sell on the second floor? Stir fries, rice dishes, braised flavors, the whole lineup. Honestly, nobody understood a word of what the robot was calling those dishes. But trusting Bosling, quite a few people rumbled up the stairs anyway. The second floor had neat rows of tables and chairs. Each table even had a small menu, packed with lots of new items. 1 serving of braised pork, 50 city coins within 6 hours after eating. Attack power plus 12%. Braised flavor attribute within 24 hours after eating. Toxin immunity plus 5%. 1 serving of braised offal, 45 city coins within 6 hours after eating, immune to parasitic infection. Mental contamination, mind control, and other negative effects from mutation. When attacked, there is a small chance to dodge. Braised flavor attribute within 24 hours after eating. Toxin immunity plus 5%. 1 serving of braised vegetables. 30 city coins. Detox plus 8%. Within 4 hours after eating, clears part of the parasites inside the body and reduces buildup from blood contamination and radiation deposits. Braised flavor attribute within 24 hours after eating. Toxin immunity plus 5%. Note: after eating braised flavor items, please drink more water. That is crazy expensive. If you think it's pricey, then do not eat it. Move aside and give me the seat. I am eating from the start Lingjing plan for the second floor to run a more premium line. So the prices were of course higher, basically a built-in spending threshold. Just as someone was still whining, someone else had already placed an order. Zhou Shui carried the packed takeout. Food was being carried past the crowd. Even though it was already packed up, the rich, savory aroma of meat still managed to leak out uncontrollably. Hey, little robot, we want to order too. Long Zai's group crowded around together, ordering a full table of stir-fried dishes. Compared to the scent of the takeout earlier, watching them eat in person was a total sensory overload for the others. Long Shi grabbed a spoon and shoveled a huge heap of shredded beans and pork into his mouth along with the rice. The smell of the fresh food, combined with the visual temptation, made the sound of people gulping around them echo everywhere. More and more people began taking seats on the second floor. Boss, the second floor needs 9 orders of garlic broccoli, 6 orders of sauteed potato, eggplant, and pepper, 4 orders of stir-fried pork with shredded beans, 2 platters of braised meat, and 1 of braised offal. Why did we suddenly get hit with a flood of orders? Many people followed Long Shi's lead, chipping in together to share a few dishes. Following the robot's instructions, they used the utensils to eat slowly, savoring every bite. The customers who had not bought anything yet headed back down happily. After purchasing their food, they sat on the benches by the entrance, eating while thinking to themselves, I have got to earn more today. Tomorrow, I'm heading to the second floor for those stir-fries and braised dishes. Compared to before, everyone's life was starting to look a lot brighter. Only Lingjing, who was frantically working the wok in the kitchen, did not feel much like smiling. Stir-fry this, stir-fry that. When is this ever going to end? While people were chatting away, someone noticed movement outside the white light. Another group of people had arrived outside the perimeter. Beside them were people dressed in black uniforms. The officials are here. Since this group had left early in the morning, they had not heard the city's announcement. They felt a bit nervous, facing the official arrival. In stark contrast, the group that just arrived was different. The official announcement was like a giant boulder thrown into a lake, stirring up 1,000 waves. Ever since they left the west wall, the chatter in the crowd had not stopped for a second. It continued until they stood before that building, bathed in its own light. The people already inside the shop all stepped out. One side was excited, the other was astonished. How did the city guards end up coming here with you guys? Can we really buy food in here? Not just rations, but actual potatoes, sweet potatoes, and stuff like that. Both groups had countless questions, everyone asking at once. The scene was extremely chaotic for a moment. After the initial confusion, both sides pretty much got the answers they were looking for. The government had announced early this morning at the plaza the location of donghua restaurant and its business details. They even sent out a squad to escort people back and forth. Donghua restaurant was exactly as the city guards described. Not only could you buy cheap, detoxifying food, but you could also trade those toxic crops for money. The newcomers walked into the shop, peering around curiously. The regular customers walked up to the light, curiously sizing up the city guards on duty. It felt like they had all discovered a whole new world. A bunch of regulars volunteered to act as guides, providing one-on-one assistance. Long Shi gave Lingjing a somewhat surprised look. Today's situation was certainly unexpected. The authorities were now fully aware of donghua restaurant's existence. Judging by the city guard's recent behavior, the official stance toward the boss's appearance seems more inclined toward a partnership. Zaicheng, what kind of changes will this bring about? Lingjing still wore a faint calm smile on her face. From Long Zai's perspective, the boss remained composed and mysterious despite the situation. In reality, Lingjing could not care less about what was happening outside. Kai Kai was busy taking orders, serving food, collecting plates, and wiping tables. Once the bowls and plates were collected, Kai Kai would quickly wash them in the kitchen sink. Meanwhile, Lingjing was busy stir-frying, in the gaps between cooking when Kai Kai was overwhelmed. She also had to serve dipping sauces to the customers eating malotong. Thousands of skewers. He was already losing control of his facial expressions. Inside Zaicheng, several people were walking through the city looking dejected. What are we going to do? Tsai. Boss. They have all been hauled off. And we still can't get into donghua restaurant. What else can we do? Back to the east wall it is. Do you think we will ever save up enough for the fine? You mean by scavenging outside the east wall, saving 100,000 city coins each? The group walked toward the east wall with slumped shoulders. At the same time, a series of quick, light footsteps echoed. From the west wall, a crowd was running happily toward the residential area. The sound of wooden doors creaking open was constant. Some were excitedly sharing what they would seen outside the walls. Others were calling their friends and family to join them. The news spread like wildfire throughout Zaicheng. Outside the north wall, Zhou Shui and her team reached the gate. Another team was already waiting there. The man leading them saw Zhou Shui and gave her a simple nod. This was Heishi of the Red Flag Society, another mutant squad in Zaicheng. The two teams rendezvoused. Earlier that morning, a city guard had brought them a message. Deep in the northeast, outside the north wall, a suspected B-rank mutant creature had appeared and was expanding its territory toward the wall. Their mission today was to eliminate that suspected B-rank mutant. Before they set off, the city guard handed them 2 packages. Zhou Shui opened one to take a look. Roasted sweet potatoes and boiled corn, distributed exactly by head count. Everyone got one of each. A note was attached to the package. It detailed the buffs provided by these 2 types of food. At the very bottom, there was a final line of text. Supplies purchased from donghua restaurant outside the west wall. After the mission is complete, everyone may head there on their own. Zhou Shui's team members quickly exchanged glances. He Zai's side, however, was far less composed. Even through their masks, you could tell how shocked the Red Flag Society mutants were. Amidst the shock, Heishi noticed the calmness on the Dark Star side and gave them a puzzled look. Should we pretend to be surprised too? Wow. What is this? This is simply mind-blowing. Roasted sweet potatoes that can detoxify. It smells absolutely amazing. I want to eat it right this second. That is a bit much, guys. Tone it down. Captain Joe, did you know about this donghua restaurant beforehand? Not for very long. The restaurant sells food, but they also trade for various crystals and ingredients. You will understand once you see it for yourselves. The authorities are already aware of the restaurant's existence. There is no need for Zhou Shui to keep it a secret anymore. She should just answer whatever He she asks. However, the more pressing matter right now is the cleanup mission. Chief C, regarding the B-grade monster, what is the specific situation? The situation might be even more severe than we thought. A distant bell begins to toll. Ling Jing wipes the sweat from her forehead. She takes off her transparent cooking face shield. This busy yet fulfilling day has finally come to an end. Just how fulfilling was it, you ask? Chef Ling did not even have time to grab lunch. From opening in the morning until late at night, she only managed a few sips of water in between. The rest of the time was spent stir-frying, chopping, and restocking skewers into the malotong pot, counting bamboo sticks, clearing disposable trays, and serving more trays and dipping sauces. Ling Jing casually grabs a corn cob to munch on. Out of the corner of her eye, she sees someone approaching in a black uniform. Oh boy, why am I not off the clock yet? Complaints aside, Ling Jing is not about to miss an opportunity to make money. Quickly, she finishes her dinner in a few bites. She puts on her professional open-for-business smile. Yi Fu Jie has brought the city guards. They are all carrying large bags. Boss Ling, we have brought the carcasses of the mutated creatures. You can just drop them into the bin outside. Is that so? Correct. What kind of mutated creatures did you bring? Mostly mutated swamp toads and marsh fish pieces. Some mutated reeds and snakes. It is quite a mix. I can't even tell them all apart. There are so many species. Ling Jing does not really get it either. What on earth are these things? Anyway, any usable ingredients will be automatically sorted by the system into the inventory storage space. They will appear as assets on her system panel. She only needs to focus on what new dishes to create. Here is the data you requested. Yi Fu Jie hands a folder to Ling Jing. Ling Jing flips it open. Outside the north wall. Within the safe zone. Coordinates X 380. E grade, Y290. Grade level. No attack pattern. E grade. Branch piercing and whipping. E grade. Approximate location 6 kilometers north of the north wall. 3 kilometers west. Coordinates X 120. Y 75. Suspected lotus fused mutated organism. Suspected level 1. Attack pattern unknown. E. Approximate location 9 kilometers north of the north wall. E grade. Outside the west wall. E grade. If I may offer a word of caution, it is very dangerous outside the south wall. If you really intend to go, we can provide you with whatever assistance is within our power. No matter. Knowing this is enough for me. Thanks a lot. However, for your orders, you might have to. Wait a moment. The spicy hot pot skewers just started simmering, and the big pot stew needs to be made fresh. No problem. Then I will have them start exchanging the mutant carcasses first. Perhaps I could take a look around. Of course, Ling Jing was busy in the kitchen. She suddenly noticed Kai Kai standing to one side. She felt an intense gaze coming from behind her. Boss. Kai Kai wants to ask, can the upstairs guests still place orders now? What would the executor like? Can he have one of everything? Ling Jing hesitated for a moment. After finishing this deal, she still had to prepare tomorrow's dishes and head out tonight for some urban hunting. But when money is literally knocking at the door, there is no reason to say no, right? So Ling Jing gritted her teeth and agreed. Everything was packed up. It was already past 8 of the clock. Ling Jing placed all the packaged food on the tables in the first floor dining area. It was a massive spread, filling up all 4 tables, totaling 3,809 city coins. How would you like to pay? Just a moment. Yi Fu Jie walked to the door and beckoned the city guards who were exchanging coins. The beast cores and plant cores have all been exchanged, right? How much did we get? 1,400. And those mutant creatures. The guard's expression suddenly turned peculiar. Sir, those mutant creatures are worth much more than we imagined. The guard pulled out all the currency he had just exchanged from his pocket. 5,000 denomination bills and 300 denomination bills. There is actually paper money. These high-value bills rarely circulate among the public. They are mostly used for intercity transactions. They did not expect Ling Jing's place to have them too. While they were chatting, Ling Jing took a quick look at her inventory. 274 pounds of bullfrogs, totaling 274 pounds. 59 pounds of marsh green bullfrogs. 96 pounds of tiger stripe frogs. 65 pounds of frogs. 65 pounds. 88 pounds of yellow catfish. 40 pounds of ice fish. Plus various species she had never heard of. Furthermore, 9 new slots were added to the farm module. 5 slots total. The order earned her 3,800 points. The guard probably thought they got a bargain, but Ling Jing certainly did not lose out either. Soon, the guards carried out bags of food and departed under Yi Fu Ji's lead. As they were leaving, the executor still maintained that same look, with a look that says jackpot. She scurried out of the shop like a sneaky little fox. Ling Jing was using the rewards from a hidden mission and official trades exceeding 5,000, specifically the foot soak tub gifted by the system, with both feet soaking in the warm water. It felt as if all the day's exhaustion was being washed away, though today was tiring. In retrospect, the revenue and customer flow had hit an all-time high, while Ling Jing soaked her feet. She was busy calculating tomorrow's menu. Today, the braised offal sold remarkably poorly. It might be related to the locals' level of acceptance regarding organ meats. Ling Jing decided not to restock the braised offal for the time being. After freshening up, Ling Jing returned to the restaurant. She began adjusting the layout of the first floor. First, Ling Jing expanded the first floor area slightly, then added a few more tables. She purchased a dozen trash cans to place by the tables, along with a self-service condiment station. This way, the malotong skewers chores could finally be automated. The situation of being too busy to even eat while running between the kitchen and the Molotong tables should not happen again tomorrow. Having sorted out the first floor, Ling Jing started working on the farm. In one go, she exchanged all the plant and beast cores, then expanded the land area in the farm supermarket. She bought 4 bags of wheat seeds. The restaurant has not served flour-based dishes yet because there is no flour and no wheat. None had appeared in the item exchange box either. It seems the farms near the donghua restaurant do not have wheat fields. The customers might need to explore deeper into the wasteland. They might stumble upon it in more distant farms. But Ling Jing could not just rely on that. Recycling ingredients is one way. Hunting monsters is another. And her own farm is the third path. One must diversify their supply chains. Ling Jing then bought 6 meat chickens and 6 egg-laying hens, raising them separately. Feeding them was the same as the planting zone. Ling Jing just needed to tap the virtual screen, floating right in front of her. Ling Jing stood by the second-floor window of the restaurant, looking at the farm in the back, and nodded with satisfaction. Ding! You have unlocked a hidden achievement. Successfully managed to farm and owned your own plants and animals. Obtain the title, Novice Farmer. Obtain the title, Novice Farmer. Reward, 1 chance at the premium card pool gacha. Reward, 1 chance at the premium card pool gacha. Please continue to expand your farm. Ling Jing entered the restaurant from the back door, and walked to the front. The last time she pulled the gacha, it was right here. That is when she got Kai Kai. In the same spot this time. Please give me something good. Ling Jing leaned against the cashier counter and tapped the draw button. Various cards began spinning across the screen. The speed of the cards gradually slowed down. Finally, it came to a halt in front of Ling Jing, a silver card. Congratulations. You have obtained a fully automated chef robot. Standing before Ling Jing was a robot with an oval head. It was taller than Kai Kai, and its oval head was actually a bit smaller than Kai Kai's square head. The display screen was also slightly smaller. System initializing. Booting up. Greetings, distinguished boss. I am Fufu. I am a fully automated chef robot. Happy to be at your service. This new robot intro routine is a lot like Kai Kai, but it is also different. Different job duties. And the tone is not quite the same either. After that whole self-introduction script, Ling Jing basically got the gist of this chef robot. It can perfectly replicate her cooking steps, and it can also process ingredients automatically. Perfect timing. She was just about to prep for tomorrow. Then from now on, your name is Fufu. The guards leaving donghua restaurant split into 2 teams. Yifu Jie led half the people to the south wall. Mo Li's special ops team was already ready. South wall special ops team. Step 1 of the activation and awakening plan starts now. Mo Li geared up and stood by. 2 other team members were checking the high-strength giant-toothed rope on him. Ready, sir. Commander. When you hit your limit, you must pull the rope to send the signal. This is the first attempt. We have room for trial and error. Do not push yourself. We cannot afford to lose an excellent squad leader. Yes. Can you feel the buffs from the food? Mo Li had just finished the dish the executor brought, a full portion of braised offal, according to the menu description in the restaurant. For the next 6 hours, Mo Li would be immune to parasitic mental contamination, mind control, and the negative effects of mutation. That also raised the error tolerance for the awakening operation. Commander, do not be so tense. I am not going there to get myself killed. Do not say that. Yifu Jie understood the risks of awakening better than anyone. So far, Zaicheng only knows 2 awakening methods. The first is swallowing crystals directly. Pure luck. Lucky ones like Huo have no rejection response after swallowing them, and smoothly become mutants. They are the minority. Most people do not have that kind of luck. The second is surviving a life or death crisis while facing mutant monsters, like Zhou Shui and He Shi. Actually, this was not Zaicheng. First time running an awakening plan, but in that plan, out of 10 guards, only 2 survived, because Zaicheng was short-handed. The plan was forced to shut down. Commander. I am going. Yifu Jie did not speak. He only nodded heavily. The path arranged for Mo Li was the same kind as Zhou Shui and He Shi. Fight mutant creatures, and look for an awakening window during combat. There were too few cases, not enough to draw any solid playbook, so Mo Li could only test it on himself. Everyone wore a grave expression as they watched Mo Li walk away. Blackfield's quarantine zone. Before heading to work, Long Ya received a strange notice. The overseer announced to dispatch laborers who were about to start their shift that after harvesting the ripe iron black wheat, they would not need to plant seeds again. So if all the ripe black wheat in the fields gets cut, then the labor term is over. A huge cheer erupted from the crowd. Long Ya felt a weight lift in her chest too. But when she reached the fields, she realized the prisoners on the other side of the wire fence seemed not to have received the same message. Is the government planning to reduce the Blackfield acreage? Could this be related to donghua restaurant? Long Ya shook her head vigorously. She gave up on overthinking it. No matter what happens, at least Zaicheng is filled with hope for survival now. Outside the North Wall safety zone, at the northern edge of the city ruins, 2 mutant squads were locked in a bitter struggle. It was Zhou Shui and He Shi. They had set out from the North Wall gate this morning. Along the way, they encountered numerous mutant creatures of all shapes and sizes. Dealing with them was not too much trouble. After all, they had 14 mutants in total, which was the perfect chance to practice their teamwork, except for one total show-off. While they were fighting the mutant banyan tree, Huo was summoning ice blades with one hand, while using the other to hide in a corner, munching away on pickled white radish. And when everyone joined forces to burn the tree, Huo kept flinging ice blades, but kept lifting his mask to stuff chestnuts into his mouth. Huo, can't you at least act like you are struggling? Amidst the chaos, the team managed to burn that B-rank mutant banyan to death. Wait, that is it. A B-rank should not be this weak. Something's wrong. This banyan tree used to be the host, but its plant core has already been drained dry by a parasitic plant. Zhou Shui reached out her hand, revealing a dull, grayish-purple crystal core. At that very moment, rustle, rustle, intense sounds erupted all around them as the sun dipped below the horizon. A rank mutant ivy vines were swarming toward them at high speed. Zhou Shui and her team were soon entangled in a fight with the vines, though the two squads had coordinated their powers well so far. Most members of the Red Flag Society had support-type skills. Under the relentless assault of the mutant ivy, they were forced into a purely defensive position, with no chance to counterattack. The sounds of battle were loud in the night air, attracting the nocturnal mutant monsters. Everyone looked up at the noise, only to see a terrifying mass of red dots in the sky. Ghost birds. Now's our chance. Move fast. Once the ghost birds arrived, the mutant ivy actually stopped attacking them. Instead, it lunged for the flock of birds, snaring their legs one by one and pulling them down. They are fighting over who gets to eat us. The ivy is absorbing the ghost bird's energy. We have to move forward before it finishes, and try our best to reach the core. The south wall. The team member guarding Mo Li's safety rope saw it. Suddenly drop down. The captain's rope lost all weight, as if it had been severed. Check it again. The team member immediately tried to reel the rope back in. It is so light. It took only seconds to recover it all. There was no one at the other end. The rope had been completely bitten through by sharp teeth. Donghua restaurant. Lingjing placed the tomato beef brisket, spicy bullfrog, and pan-fried silver fish in front of Fufu. Got it down yet? I have learned it, boss. Not just these 3 dishes. Before making the new ones, Lingjing took the 3 items already on the menu, plus the cafeteria-style meals, and cooked them all once more. Let me double-check. Lingjing pulled up Fufu's backend interface to review Fufu's records. That fully automated chef bot is pretty smart. While recording, it even generated detailed notes. Detailed enough to log its other actions too. After the dish came off the wok, it even picked it up with chopsticks and fed itself. Like, seriously, a robot cannot even digest food, can it? Backstage, Lingjing deleted everything about it, tasting the food from the notes, and corrected the cooking steps. Then she had Fufu make another dish as a test run. Soon enough, Fufu started following the recorded process, replicating every move Lingjing made. It even copied the tiny wrist flick she does when stir-frying. She likes to lift and toss the wok twice while flipping. Fufu also did 2 wok tosses during the high-heat stir-fry. Lingjing took a bite, then gave Fufu a satisfied pat on the head. All right, you two tidy up the kitchen. I am going out foraging. Lingjing rode her tricycle, holding the mutant creature file Yifu Zhe gave her. Let me see. The perilla for bullfrog is 6 kilometers west, then 8 kilometers further out, and 2 kilometers north. Chili peppers are 8 kilometers outside the north wall. Wheat is 15 kilometers north from outside, then 5 kilometers east. These ingredients are perfect. I can grab them all on one route. One trip done. At the end of Yifuji's file, there was one more line of notes. After F level and below mutants die. After E level and above mutants die. Their bodies contain beast cores and plant cores. Reference colors for beast cores and plant cores. E level blue-green. D level blue. C level blue-purple. B level purple. A level purple-red. On her way to pick up ingredients, Lingjing could also snag a few plant cores and beast cores. When she set out, she was a little worried that the mutants listed in the file would not stay where the file said they would be. Turns out, Lingjing was overthinking it. She drove her electric tricycle through the wilderness at night. Noise and a light source like that, to mutated plants and animals, was basically a moving dinner bell. Not long after she rolled out, things started coming one after another, slamming straight into her headlight beam. Lingjing casually collected everything she wanted. Just as Lingjing was about to head back, a massive rabbit flashed past outside the white light in a blur, putting the file together with what she had learned from foraging along the way. This one should be sea level or higher. Since you ran into me, you are coming back with me. No need to be shy, little beast. Lingjing immediately twisted the throttle and chased toward the city ruins in the mutant rabbit's direction. The electric tricycle tore forward, and she was just about to pull the mutant rabbit into the white light shield around the tricycle. Ribbit, the mutant frog rabbit, stepped onto a coil of green vine. In a blink, it was wrapped tight and dragged away. Okay, so you did cut in. On the south wall, the firefight was raging. Down below, the swamp fish mutants and mutant frogs were closing in. The Special Operations Squad pushed them back again and again. Still no word from Mo Li. Nothing. Special Operations Squad reporting in. There are sounds outside the wall, like a Class B mutant creature. Even if no one wanted to believe it, the furious gunfire on the wall still more or less exposed what was really going on, and where the squad members' heads were at. No one announced any news of Mo Li's death, but no one was optimistic either. It was a 9 out of 10 chance of dying kind of mission, to begin with. Whoa. Far outside the wall, that skin-crawling screech echoed again. A pitch-black giant slowly rose up from the swamp below the wall. Its shape was like a whale, or the massive head of some colossal oarfish. Clusters of dark yellow lights flared to life. One of the better-eyed squad members glanced at it once, and dizziness slammed into him. His mind shook so hard he had to snap his eyes shut, and grab the parapet for support, as he forced himself to steady his stance. Oh, he shouted a warning. Do not look straight at the glowing parts. It is a massive psychic contamination field. The moment the others heard him, they all jerked their gaze away at once. But the human silhouette clinging to the giant's side drew all eyes anyway. They avoided staring at the glow and poured in covering fire instead. Mo Li, hanging in midair, was locked onto that whole mass of dark yellow, densely packed, twitching eyeballs. His protective suit had been chewed to rags. Black swamp muck covered him from head to toe. Right now, every trace of green had faded from his skin. All that green had pooled entirely into his eyes. Only then had he managed to find the Class B mutants. Weak spot after a drawn-out brawl. Mo Li was already down to the very last of his strength. His body covered in wounds from every kind of mutant in that swamp biting chunks out of him. His stamina had hit rock bottom a long time ago, if it were not for that set of lungs, infested with parasites yet immune to plague and psychic pollution. Mo Li figured his body should have turned into a cozy little incubator bed for the swampfish eggs ages ago. There was no way he would have just randomly lucked into the biggest weak point of a Class B creature, the eyes. Mo Li drew on the formless wind around him, savagely shredding through the packed cluster of eyeballs. The guns on the wall instantly shifted to support, emptying round after round straight into the gaping maw of the Class B mutant creature. The mutant went berserk. Its enormous jaws snapped at Mo Li's falling body, refusing to rest until it had swallowed him whole. Mo Li also steeled himself to take this Class B mutant creature down with him if he had to. He honestly did not care what those reeking fangs would chew him into. Every last shred of energy in his body became blades of wind, frenziedly ripping into the monster's dark yellow eyes. He could not even control his own body as it slammed down toward it. In another heartbeat, Mo Li would have dropped straight into that massive maw. Suddenly, Mo Li's body jerked on its own, completely ignoring the laws of physics. It flashed sideways in midair, shooting several meters off course, and dropping into the swamp instead. The cluster of dark yellow eyeballs burst apart, scattered and crushed. A rain of bullets was mixed in with them. The massive body toppled back into the mire, even as the mutant thrashed and writhed in a final frenzy. She stepped onto the filthy eyeball-covered mud, and dug out a purple beast core. Mo Li let out a long sigh of relief, wiping the slime off her face. She was thinking about how her body had just moved instinctively, saving her life at the critical moment. When a braised organs dish is under attack, there is a 20% chance to dodge. Inside the south wall, the Special Action Squad successfully rendezvoused with Mo Li, bringing the captain back to the south wall. Mission accomplished, sir. Yi Fu Zhe gave Mo Li a solemn military salute. Don't say a word. Get bandaged up immediately. Send her to the medical bay. Yi Fu Zhe watched Mo Li's receding figure as she was helped away, and breathed a sigh of relief. At that moment, 2 city guards came rushing in, approaching from the north. They whispered a few words into Yi Fu Ji's ear. No one has returned yet. Yi Fu Ji's heart, which had just settled, skipped a beat again. He had a very bad feeling about this. 2 mutant squads out to eliminate a single B-rank mutant creature. How could there be zero news for an entire day? Has something gone sideways? Deploy more men beyond the north wall. If they are alive, I want to see them. If they are dead, I want the bodies. At the city ruins, He had just broken free from the tangling vines. I am fine. Go now. Damn it. It has already finished absorbing the turtlebird flock. Initially, only a few thick vines were active, but now the entire mass of green vines has come to life. They are visibly thickening right before our eyes, as if they have gorged themselves on energy. The A-rank mutant creeper began to close in, turning on the ants near its core. The thick vines are much sturdier than before. When they lash out, they are like whips covered in barbs. Once they wrap around someone, even several blade strikes can't cut them. Bring the fire. But those vines did not retreat or dodge. They relentlessly pursued those who trespass on their forbidden ground, commencing the slaughter of their prey. Zhou Shui stuffed the last crystal into a comrade's mouth. Everyone's energy is nearly depleted. They are at their wits' end. Zhou Tian, this rank mutant creature is incredibly smart. It really is too clever for its own good. It knows exactly who the culprit is that keeps burning its vines. The first person it snatched away was the teammate with fire powers. In an instant, everyone instinctively tried to pull him back, but the creeper exploited the opening. All the mutants from both squads were trapped. More vines coiled upward, wrapping around Zhou Shui's long blade and snaking around her nose and mouth, dragging her into the thicket of vines. As Zhou Shui struggled, she thought she saw a small glimmer of light in the distance. Ling Jing was currently in a high-speed pursuit, chasing down a fox, the culprit behind that C-rank mutant rabbit mess. What on earth are these green vines? How can they move faster than a rabbit? Ling Jing saw the mutant rabbit get tied up in an instant. These vines must be a higher rank than the rabbit. Ling Jing recalled the data she read. Something about B-rank mutant creatures in the city ruins. She had just glanced at it briefly, but seeing it was not a cooking ingredient. She had skipped right over it. Who knew this B-rank mutant creature would deliver itself right to her doorstep? Why would I say no to a free delivery? Ling Jing's expression grew even more excited. The electric cart kept screaming an overspeed warning, loud enough to make him go deaf. Wherever the electric trike passed, mutated green vines scattered like rats jolted awake, bolting like crazy. Pretty soon, Ling Jing went from chasing a single mutated vine to chasing a whole carpet of them. So many tendrils. Oh, the electric cart seemed to suddenly roll over. Something. Ling Jing looked back at the spot from just now. It looked like a big pile of stuff wrapped up in vines. Even after the cart ran it over, it did not vanish. So it was not a real solid target. Ling Jing turned back, disappointed. Whatever. Keep chasing. The vines wound around their necks, suddenly loosened. Air rushed in. Everyone dropped to the ground, coughing. Their voices all turned hoarse. No manners at all. How do vines even stuff themselves into people's mouths? Seriously. Ha ha ha. What is going on? Why did we suddenly get rescued? Ha ha ha. Captain Zhou found the core. No. I think just now. Something fell off me and flew over there. Look. Everyone followed Huo'er's gesture and looked over. In the dark city ruins, the bright spot was obvious. They saw the vines that had trapped them running, dragging a tiny point of light behind them, still chasing it nonstop. The light point was getting closer and closer to that huge mass of vines. The thing that almost got Captain Zhou and the others killed, an A-rank mutated climbing vine, was right in front of that glowing orb, like a mouse seeing a cat. On the plant that was fleeing, you could practically read 2 words, panic mode. What is that? It is Boss Ling. Boss Ling is the owner of Donghua restaurant. She has a 3-wheeled ride. The trike has its own glow shield. It can wipe out mutated plants. She caught up. Huo or shouted. Everyone's attention snapped back to the front. From far away, the vines blanketing the area looked like a clawing, fanged blob in the night. They only saw that glowing orb catch the blob, and then the blob just vanished. Ling Jing opened her panel. She swapped that purple-red loot box for 400 city coins. After chasing all afternoon, she not only got an A-rank plant core, but also a beast core from a C-rank mutated rabbit monster. Behind Ling Jing, Captain Zhou and the others were cheering for her. Why does it sound like there is a sheep bleeding? Oh, right. On the east side of the northern wall, there seems to be sheep. Let's go catch some. Ling Jing twisted the handlebar, in a pretty good mood as she sped off in a cloud of dust. Why is Boss Ling leaving? Without even turning back to say hi. Maybe she has stuff to handle. Ling Jing hauled a trike full of loot back to the restaurant. Today, Ling Jing not only found a ton of ingredients, she also made a fat stack of cash. When she got back, she found Kai Kai and Fu Fu had the restaurant cleaned up spotless. Her mood instantly hit peak. She washed up casually, then climbed into bed and fell asleep. Before dawn, at the edge of the city ruins, a crowd of people is rushing toward the outer high walls. Be on alert, there is movement up ahead. The city guards cautiously circle around to the back. They spot the members of Dark Star and the Red Flag Society, sitting on the ground, eating and laughing together. It looks like an elementary school field trip. Zhou Shui, and you are? We were ordered by the executive officer to support you. Have the mutants already been dealt with? We did not deal with them. That was not just a B-rank mutant plant. It was an A-rank parasitic mutant plant, fused with another a rank banyan tree. 2 A ranks. It also absorbed a massive amount of energy from ghost birds. It might have even evolved. What? The city guards' expressions turn grim. They draw their guns, prepared for the worst, and head out. But they have all been wiped out. The city guards look at them with total confusion. Can't these people just get to the point? Talk about an emotional roller coaster. Late at night, the mutants and 2 squads of guards enter the city through the north wall gate. The 2 mutant squads do not return to the residential area. Instead, they follow the guards to the central tower. Sir, are you sure you want to do this? The 3 great cities can no longer be relied upon. We can only count on ourselves. Early morning, a crowd has gathered by the bulletin board at the edge of the plaza. 2 new notices have been posted on the board. Notice, Dark Star Organization is recruiting mutant members. Notice, Red Flag Society is recruiting mutant members. Mutants in Zaicheng who have awakened abilities, or those wishing to become mutants. Please go to Dark Star signboard number 17, row 2 of the residential area, or Red Flag Society at number 1, row 10 for details. The notice is short, but it causes a massive stir. What does this mean? They are training mutants. Aren't mutants supposed to be reported to the officials and the city guards? They actually allowed this to be posted on the public board. So, there are already mutants inside Zaicheng. The people at the board are completely baffled, but a theory starts spreading like wildfire among them. It seems these 2 organizations have awakened mutants, and the officials have no intention of reporting them to the 3 great cities. Near Donghua restaurant, Ling Jing hears the system notification chime. Alert! 24 hours until the start of the rainy season. Would you like to accept the rainy season limited time quest? High difficulty, but the rewards are generous. Realistic difficulty, rich rewards. Those keywords. Every single one of them hits Ling Jing's interests perfectly. Intrigued, Ling Jing taps to accept the quest. The details of the rainy season quest appear on the system panel in front of Ling Jing. Realistic quest requirements. 1. Reach 10,000 in revenue over the 7 days of the rainy season, 0 per 10,000. 2. Serve 1,000 unique customers within 7 days, 0 per 500. 3. Reach revenue target for specific food categories over 7 days, 0 per 60,000. Note, specific food categories for the rainy season quest include foods that prevent insect infections, combat dampness, chills, and the common cold, and provide warmth and detoxification buffs. How much? A revenue goal of 100,000 in just 7 days. And I have to serve 1,000 customers in a week. That is 1,000 people, not just 1,000 visits. But Zaicheng only has a few hundred people in total. Almost everyone would have to show up to complete this. What is so special about this rainy season, anyway? Before Ling Jing can figure out a plan, customers are already taking their seats in the restaurant. These people are already quite familiar with the routine here. No need for her to manage them. Customers proactively start lining up in front of the counter. As for the second floor and the kitchen, Kai Kai and Fu Fu have everything under control. Even the order within the restaurant and the farm is being monitored by city guards. Ling Jing has nothing to worry about. This is the most relaxing day she has had since she transmigrated. Long Shi and her group just walked out of the Dark Star Squad's cabin, number 17 in the second row. As they emerged, according to what they were told, we can become mutants too. Long Shi nodded, a complex expression clouding her face. Coming out of that cabin, she was almost certain of one thing: the fact that Dark Star and the Red Flag Society both started recruiting mutants on the exact same day must be under official orders from the government. When the authorities get involved, it signifies a major shift in policy. It proves that big changes are coming to Zaicheng. As for whether this upheaval means danger or opportunity, she did not know yet. What do you guys think about this? It is definitely a good thing. We have all seen those mutants clearing out monsters around Zaicheng. We have seen them in action, those monsters that had us screaming and running for our lives. In front of them can be dealt with in the blink of an eye. If we become mutants, at least we will have a better shot at defending ourselves. But that also means facing much greater dangers, does not it? Think about how many people Dark Star used to have. Look at how few were left in that room just now. I heard Dark Star was recruited by the officials. I suppose they are just doing the government's dirty work. Forget it, let us not overthink this for now. You all heard it just now. Zhou Shui made it very clear. To increase the success rate of awakening, one must prepare plenty of detoxifying food. So, regardless of whether we want to become mutants, our primary goal right now is to earn city coins. Inside the large cabin, having just seen off another wave of inquiries, Zhou Shui massaged her temples wearily. Since returning yesterday evening, she and the other members, who had already awakened, had barely slept a wink. They did not make it back into the city until nearly 4 a.m. Upon arrival, she was in a meeting with the executive officer until past 5. She rested for less than 2 hours, before heading out at 7:30 a.m. to post the announcements. Captain, a lot of people seem skeptical. Only that group with the sword-carrying woman seemed like they knew what they were doing. Let us wait and see. There are too many variables right now. The appearance of donghua restaurant is having a complex impact on Zaicheng, a subtle transformation on many levels. The mortality rate during the awakening process is just one of the things being affected. Previously, Dark Star, the Red Flag Society and the special squads had already relied on donghua restaurant's food to significantly boost the awakening probability. The emergence of mutants among the general public of Zaicheng is likely only a matter of time. Today's move to post the announcements appears to be a recruitment drive for mutants, but in reality, it is bringing the existence of mutants within Zaicheng out into the open. This means that from now on, Zaicheng will no longer hand over any mutants to the 3 great cities. Zaicheng is openly beginning to cultivate its own force of mutants. There is only 1 month left until the rainy season. Zaicheng must increase its strength during this window. Otherwise, it might not survive this coming season. Yifu Zhe headed to the restaurant to pick up goods in a pleasant mood. Ever since the incidents at the Blackfields and the South Wall, everyone in Zaicheng's administration had been on high alert. The executive officer had been in endless meetings, large and small. He had not had a full night's sleep at all. Now that the area of the Blackfields has been reduced, all servers have left the quarantine zone. More mutants have awakened. The South Wall and North Wall sweeps are officially deemed a success. Everything is trending in the right direction. Looks like we can get this order back. Tonight, we should finally be able to get some real rest. Donghua restaurant. Lingjing had just finished a full day of regular business and sitting down. Right at the front door, she was browsing the shop mall. Fufu, cashing in the real world mission. Lingjing also got tomorrow weather forecast for free. Rainy season is coming. She could not let her customers eat while getting soaked on the bench outside the door. This one will do. An outdoor rain shelter. Blocks sun, rain, ice, electricity, and basically everything. The next second, a huge light yellow canopy completely covered the rest area above the storefront. She also bought a few small lamps and hung them overhead. Just as the canopy was set up, a group in black uniforms walked in from outside the white light. Yifu Zhe was in front. Behind him came the city guards, each carrying a big sack, stuffed to the brim. Your items are at the front counter. Thanks. Yifu Zhe lifted his head and looked at the 3 new dishes added to donghua restaurant menu. Tomato braised beef brisket, 48 city coins, detox minus 7%. Within 24 hours after eating, inner power increases by 15%. Stew attribute. Within 30 minutes after eating, effects of other foods times 2. Spicy bullfrog, 55 city coins. Within 24 hours after eating, attack power plus 10%. Cold environment tolerance plus 7%. Within 2 hours after eating, immune to acidic corrosion. Boosts jumping ability. Stir-fry attribute. On the day of consumption, 5 senses plus 5%. Color, aroma, and taste all on point. Crispy silver fry, 24 city coins. Within 6 hours after eating, double boost. To underwater breath, hold time, and cold environment tolerance. Plus 10%. Within 2 hours after eating, immune to parasites. Stir-fry attribute. On the day of consumption, 5 senses plus 5%. Color, aroma, and taste all on point. It was pretty obvious the key ingredients in 2 of those dishes came from the mutated creatures Yifu Zhe brought yesterday. He had no idea what kind of crazy ability Bossling had to turn mutated creatures into actual dishes, and somehow cook them in a way that perfectly countered the buffs of the mutated ingredients themselves. Those 2 dishes, bullfrog and silver fry, were for the South Wall Action Squad, both a cherry on top and a lifesaver right on time. Today we also brought Bossling some other new ingredients. Thanks for the hard work. After the guards finished exchanging city coins, Lingjing took the money, and Yifu Zhe had the guards pick up the packed dishes. As they were leaving in a pretty good mood, he casually asked, "Is this canopy for shade? Or for rain?" "For rain. It is going to rain tomorrow." "You are sure?" Right then he saw the executive officer, who had been wandering around the shop, suddenly change color, give him a quick nod, then hurry off with the guards. White light. Halfway there, he suddenly turned back and walked up to Lingjing again. "You can handle a rank mutated creatures. So if things go really sideways, will you still keep the restaurant open on your end? Could we hire you to help with the defense?" "Sorry, I am just a restaurant owner. During the rainy season, this place stays open as usual." Lingjing was still torn about it, but the system in her head started screaming the moment Yifu Zhe said the word hire. It immediately set off alarms in her mind. Alert. Warning. Restaurant interests are sacred and inviolable. The owner must not work for others. But I can guarantee that within this restaurant, every diner will be absolutely safe. That was the most Lingjing could offer Yifu Zhe. And Yifu Zhe was no fool either. Whether he fully caught her meaning or not, the look on his face turned subtly complicated. Understood. Thank you. Yi Fu Zhe turned around and led his people out of the restaurant. Sleep my ass. Call in every squad leader from the city defense checkpoints. Meeting. No. Sirens blared across Zaicheng. At the same time, red fireworks exploded in the night sky, fired from the clock tower in the central square. Those who were asleep, and those who were not, were all jolted awake, confused. They opened their doors to look outside. Red fireworks. The rainy season signal. How can it be now? Is it not July? There should still be at least a month to go. Could the clock tower announcement be wrong? Did you not hear the sirens? Get up, move. The once lively residential district shifted in an instant. A tense, restless mood spread quietly as the sirens kept sounding. In the gaps between the sirens, people filed out of their wooden shacks. Yet there was not much chaos. Civilians temporarily assigned out, worked by group. They collected sandbags and stacked them at low-lying spots in the city. They picked up the flashlights that had been handed out and checked whether all drainage channels were clear. During the rainy season, the city cannot afford standing water for long. Everyone else took out water collection gear from their shacks, went to the city water sources to fetch water, brought it home to stockpile, and sealed it up as tightly as possible. They lined up to receive enough firewood. The rainy season came like clockwork twice a year. People had long since memorized the routine for dealing with it. Even so, whispers still rippled through the crowd. This is too weird. First, the area around us. There have been more and more mutated monsters, and now the rainy season is early. I have got a really bad feeling about this. No talking that hurts morale. Got it. We are done for. Every time before the rainy season, the three great cities send mutants over to clear out the monsters outside the walls. This time, they are nowhere to be seen. The monsters nearby were already increasing. Once the rains hit, who knows what it will turn into? And if we run into a mosquito swarm on top of that? I finally scraped together one day of pay, and boom, the rainy season shows up like it owns the place. Then we get drafted to wipe out the mosquito swarm. What if I get bitten? Go to donghua restaurant. They can detox you, right? Detox is not enough. What about fever and infected rotting wounds? That man only found out about donghua restaurant yesterday, so he still did not really get what it could do. Long Shi immediately launched into an explanation. He had barely listed a few dishes and their effects when he heard someone else nearby explaining too. Long Shi looked up and recognized the speaker as someone he had seen in that dark star place. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. We have got each other's backs now. I do not deserve that. Not at all. Know it like the back of my hand. Loose lips sink ships. With Long Shi and Huo are giving everyone the grand tour. The newcomers, who just found out about the restaurant, began to settle in. The hot topic shifted from the dreaded rainy season to donghua restaurant. In the past, every time the rainy season hit, everyone was in survival mode. The high walls of Zaicheng protect all its residents, but as a mandatory duty, besides serving in the black fields, they must follow orders when the rainy season arrives, obeying the city guards' deployments, donning official issue gear, and forming 24/7 patrol squads under the guards' lead. They must constantly exterminate mutant mosquitoes entering from the sky, preventing them from laying eggs, abnormally active mutant plants, swarms of mosquitoes breeding in the water, and the subsequent wound infections. Contagious diseases take many lives every single time. But now that donghua restaurant is outside the west wall, they suddenly feel a lot more at peace. Inside the restaurant, Ling Jing made herself a cup of chrysanthemum tea. She also cooked a bowl of tomato beef brisket noodles and sat at the counter to eat. Tomorrow, the rainy season limited time quest begins. Ling Jing thought about it and decided to upgrade the unit price on the cash register. After all, the goal is 100,000 in revenue within 7 days. That averages out to about 14,300 points per day to meet the target. Today's revenue hit a new record for donghua restaurant, yet it is still slightly short of 14,300. One upgrade to the checkout function adds 3% to the daily transaction volume. With a base of over 10,000, that is an extra 300 plus in revenue every day. At least it guarantees hitting the quota. After finishing dinner, Ling Jing looked back at Kai Kai and Fufu busy in the restaurant and set off with a clear mind. The new recipes prepared for the rainy season quest still need some ingredients. I have to hunt them in the wild first. Besides, Ling Jing did not know how the outside world would change once the rainy season officially arrived. Taking advantage of tonight before the rains start, she would restock on other ingredients along the way. As Ling Jing rode her bike, she felt a lot more activity in the surroundings. Looks like the rainy season is truly coming. These mutant creatures are getting restless. Ling Jing followed the coordinates in her data, heading first toward the nearest dead man's grass mutant. This one is relatively close. From the restaurant, head southwest. For about 5 kilometers, the dead man's grass mutant has long thin leaves. When she arrived, she happened to see it stretching its leaves out, having a brawl with a nearby pitcher plant mutant. Ling Jing charged right in and successfully mediated the fight. No need for these two plant mutants to settle their score anymore. They are both coming home with me. Ling Jing inspected the spoils of war with satisfaction. The dead man's grass mentioned in the data is indeed lemongrass. Wait, why is there an E-grade plant core? Didn't the data say this was F-grade? Leveling up behind my back. Are we having a few mutant creatures? Not matching the grades in the records is normal. This data is not updated in real time anyway. Mutant flora and fauna are not static objects. Of course they evolve, but if 1/3 of the ingredients I run into do not match the records, that is a bit strange. The one just marked on the chart was clearly a D-grade mutant wolfberry, but when Ling Jing drove up, the mutant wolfberry tree, laden with little red dots, saw the white light of her headlights, uprooted itself and bolted. That has clearly reached C-grade. Good thing it was not fast enough. With a flick of her electric bike's handle, it looked like two trees fused together. The giant mutant goji tree was successfully harvested. As expected, a Class C plant core. Is it because the rainy season is coming? Ling Jing looked up at the sky. The sky was gloomy and the atmosphere felt damp. It was indeed the sign of the approaching rainy season. Ling Jing did not keep track of how many mutants she encountered. Along the way while driving here, there were too many to count. Besides the ones marked on the map, many others actively delivered themselves to her door. Tonight's ingredients. We're exceptionally enthusiastic about jumping into the trap. The prelude to this rain is quite grand. It seems all the mutant creatures have been flushed out. They are usually scattered, so she could not miss such a perfect chance to round them up. She had to seize the opportunity. Mo Li led a small team, staring blankly at the pit where the mutant goji tree used to be. The rainy season is almost here. They had to clear out mutant creatures of class F or higher outside the city. But how many does this make already? The pit for the mutant goji tree was still there, but the tree itself was gone. Just like the other mutant creatures they had investigated along the way, it had simply vanished. Gone. An unknown force had swept through here, like a swarm of locusts, leaving not even a single toxic, corroded goji berry behind. When Ling Jing returned to the restaurant on her electric tricycle, she still looked like she wanted more. Ling Jing spent the night acting as a peace messenger. You could say it was a massive harvest from the wild, besides the beast cores and plant cores. Her 2 storage bins were stuffed to the brim, hoarding groceries for 0 cost. These 2 things are truly irresistible if she had not needed to get back to the restaurant to cook new dishes. Ling Jing might have ridden even further. In the kitchen, Ling Jing put the ingredients into the soup pots. When the rainy season arrives, the dampness from getting soaked seeps through the pores, and as it evaporates, it takes away body temperature. Cold and dampness trap the vital energy. At a time like this, drinking hot soup is the best way to dispel the cold. It can also prevent colds. Ling Jing prepared 2 pots for mutton soup and 2 pots for mushroom soup. Steam rose from all 4 soup pots on the stove, releasing an enticing aroma. Ling Jing scooped out a bowl, lifted it with a spoon, blew on it to cool it down, and took a sip. She could not help but let out a satisfied sigh. As expected, you need something hot on a rainy day. The 2 soups were almost ready. The rest were the 3 types of drinks: chrysanthemum goji tea, ginger red date tea, and mint lemongrass tea. It is currently July, and the temperature is not low. Logically, the arrival of the rainy season should mean a hot and humid environment. But in the actual mission, the required effects included protection against chilling cold, dispelling dampness, and preventing colds. A fever is still a cold. Ling Jing simply took both the cold and the humid heat into consideration. Among the effects of the 3 drinks she made, there was warmth to dispel cold, as well as humidifying and repelling properties. Where should she put these? Ling Jing opened the screen and found the store expansion option. She clicked it without hesitation. In the next second, on both the left and right sides of Donghua restaurant, 2 new single-story storefronts appeared. On the storefronts, there are now signs a bit smaller than the main Donghua restaurant one. 2 small storefronts are now tightly connected to the main 2-story building. Inside, interconnecting doors have been added. Ling Jing moved the 4 Molotong skewers tables and the condiment station into the new storefront on the left. The small sign on that storefront clearly labels it for Molotong skewers. All the original self-service items, roasted sweet potatoes, rice porridge, and corn kernels, were moved, along with the food display cabinets, into the new storefront on the right. Everything's arranged. The 3 newly crafted drinks were also placed in the shop on the right. The sign there reads snacks and drinks. All set. This way, the 1st and 2nd floors of the main shop are dedicated to full-course dining. Congratulations, your business entity now has 2 or more partition dining spaces. It has been upgraded to a specialty general restaurant. Congratulations to you. The outdoor canopy is set up. Plus, the new shops have been expanded. Another day of absolute grinding. Ling Jing looks at today's results with great satisfaction. She stretches and gets ready to hit the hay. The defense measures within the city are ready. This is the list of citizens drafted for the next 7 days. Yi Fu Zhe signs the document, looking up with a grim expression. Starting tomorrow, the boundary between day and night will no longer be so clear. Once the rainy season starts, we must be on 24-hour alert, guarding the high walls. Understood. Except for the 1st group handling daily exchanges, and the squad guarding the path to Donghua restaurant. All other city guards have ceased their current duties. The force is split into 4 teams. 2 teams work from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 2 teams work from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. The inner team handles patrols and mosquito extermination inside the walls. The outer team is responsible for repelling the beast tide outside. Once the rainy season hits, the mutations beyond the high walls, both flora and fauna, will grow at a frantic pace. If the mutants had not moved in early this time, the rainy season's beast tide might have been earlier and more ferocious than ever. Even though Yi Fu Zhe sent the Red Flag Society and the Dark Star mutant squads ahead to clear them out, it is still not enough. The rainy season could trigger a mosquito plague. Mosquito eggs drop inside the city if we do not exterminate them. The mutated toxic mosquitoes that hatch will spread a high fever infectious plague throughout the city. These eggs get everywhere. Even if we draft citizens every rainy season to kill bugs, it is impossible to be perfect. There are always citizens who get bitten by mutated mosquitoes. The medical resources in Zaicheng simply can't handle that many people. Plagues and toxins spread together, and to make matters worse, leaving the city during the rainy season is difficult. The citizens in the city, not everyone can save up enough city coins for rainy season rations in advance. Every rainy season is when Zaicheng sees its highest casualties. At its peak. If Bossling had not warned us ahead of time, Yi Fu Zhe would not even dare to imagine the consequences. If we only realized tomorrow morning that the rainy season had arrived, the regular city guard on duty would have faced the beast tide, and they would have been caught completely off guard. How many more will there be? Insect eggs are silently dropping into the city. This is no time for counting our blessings. The situation remains extremely dire. We can't spare any personnel from the south wall, although mutant creatures outside the south wall have been thinned out. The post-rain mutations will be even more lethal. Understood. We must finish clearing the black fields tonight. Secure the perimeter. Also, by 6 a.m. tomorrow, Dark Star Squad and the mutants from the Red Flag Society will head to the north wall. Reinforce the east and west walls. All external teams, give it your all and cooperate fully. Yes, sir. Zaicheng has reached a do-or-die moment. We must hold those walls at all costs, no matter the price. If the worst-case scenario occurs, and you see the purple signal, all teams at position 3, evacuate all civilians toward donghua restaurant. Move them out. The High Commissioner lives and dies with the frontier. Yi Fuzhe is already prepared to go down with the ship. High Commissioner. Captain Mo Li has returned. What is the status? Yi Fuzhe knows the score. For months, the world outside the walls has seen mutant growth go wild. Even inside the safe zone, many mutant organisms have appeared that fail to meet safety standards. Mo Li hands all the reports to Yi Fuzhe. Seeing her hesitant expression, Yi Fuji's heart sinks. Yi Fuzhe opens the mutation data Mo Li handed over. The documents are indeed covered in Mo Li's new notes, but they are all crossed out. The mutants were devoured. It is unclear, but they have all vanished. Where the mutants disappeared, nothing was left behind. Not a fruit, not a stem. This disappearance pattern matches the descriptions from the Dark Star group. Boss Ling. An eerie silence falls over the meeting room. Sir, are you suggesting Boss Ling won't help our Zaicheng? Boss Ling is a person of vast capabilities. This move is not necessarily to help Zaicheng. It might just be something she needs. At dawn, Zaicheng wakes up under dark clouds. After the people get out of bed, they instinctively gather at the square. The crowd looks different than before. Everyone is wearing a raincoat, all in long hooded cloak styles. Cuffs and pant legs are tied tight. They are more cautious than their usual trips outside. People come to the square to hear the garrison officer read the rainy season draft list. The rainy season draft, like the Black Field Service, is a mandatory duty for frontier citizens. This time, the draft only requires staying inside the walls. Past drafts were split between inside and outside the walls. Each side had its own responsibilities. But obviously, you live longer staying inside. So since there is no need to go outside this time, though everyone is puzzled, the joy in the crowd is impossible to hide. On the way to donghua restaurant, raindrops begin to go splat, hitting someone's raincoat hood. Then, more raindrops come pouring down. The gates were not locked for the rainy season. Instead, the officials sent more garrison officers to escort residents to donghua restaurant. But most people have never been outside during the rainy season. Even with officers watching the road, there is still a fair amount of panic in their hearts, not daring to dally for a second. They hurry their pace towards donghua restaurant. Ha ha ha, holy crap. Following the skyscraper that rose overnight, the boss built another new house overnight. There is even a rain shelter now. I was actually worried I would get drenched today. Outside the white light, the world quickly darkens with the falling rain. A flash of purple lightning streaks through the clouds. The temperature drops sharply. Moisture fills the air. Danger seems to lurk in the hazy distance. But within the white light, the cozy aroma of roasted potatoes and skewers wafts about. A warm glow radiates from the rain shelter, joining the lights from inside donghua restaurant. In the heavy rain, it gives people a solid sense of security. Inside the light, people hide under the shelter, contentedly enjoying their food. In the past, the sound of rain was a death knell for humans in the apocalypse. But within the perimeter of donghua restaurant, one can leisurely sip on drinks, eat, and listen to the rhythm of the rain. People keep arriving from Zaicheng, looking wretched, soaked to the bone and trembling with fear from the journey. Once they reach donghua restaurant, the mood shifts instantly. Customers one after another pull back the hoods of their raincoats, ready to sample the new drinks at donghua restaurant. I really did not expect this. I thought I would be stuck inside once the rainy season started. Me too. I was tossing and turning all night, hating myself for not hoarding more food. Good thing I could make it here today. The light under the shelter is soft and warm. Customers hold cups of steaming hot drinks, chatting while they eat. The oppressive atmosphere outside the rain and white light forms a stark contrast. Inside the restaurant, Kai is busy serving dishes to the customers. Slices of mutton are placed in white soup bowls. Milky white mutton broth is poured in, followed by salt, white pepper, green onions, and a dash of vinegar. A bowl of piping hot, steaming mutton soup is placed before a customer. The customer who ordered it takes a spoonful, blows on it, and takes a sip. The mutton is stewed until tender, but not mushy, the texture of the fibers blending perfectly with the smooth broth. With one gulp, the whole body feels rejuvenated. The air is filled with a buzz of conversation. The atmosphere is peaceful. Did you guys hear something? A few people perk up their ears to listen closely. There is indeed a pitter-patter sound, like something crashing down from the sky. Hail. What is falling outside the shelter is indeed nothing else but hailstones of various sizes. Small ones are like soybeans, while the large ones are as big as eggs. Someone looks up at the roof of the shelter from inside. Though the hail is battering the roof outside, it does not show at all. This roof is incredibly steady. Not only does it block the rain and hail, but it even keeps the noise to a minimum. The lights in the center of the shelter remain steady and bright, without the slightest flicker. This is just too comfortable. The environment is getting worse every year. Not only are the mutants getting stronger, but now the rainy season even brings hail. The sudden hail stops those who were preparing to head out and earn a living. Luckily, the hail comes and goes quickly. After a few minutes of clattering, the hail stops, leaving only the rain. Someone tentatively steps out from under the shelter, preparing to head toward the abandoned farm. Wait, do not go out yet. Long Shi points in a certain direction. A swarm of black objects flies out from the puddles, heading straight for the light. 20 or 30 mutant mosquitoes, each the size of a fist. Their bodies were freakishly swollen, but their legs were thin and long. Their mouth parts were as long as a palm, obviously mutated. Some were covered in barbs, some split into multiple strands. Buzz buzz, the mutated wings beat at high speed. Each mutated mosquito had 2, and even several pitch-black compound eyes, locked onto the people inside the white light. The customers who saw this swarm of mutated mosquitoes all jumped in fright, even though they knew the white light was safe. What happened before? Those nightmare memories of running into mutated mosquitoes over the years were not that easy to wipe out. Fear had already become a conditioned reflex, as the swarm of mutated mosquitoes charged all the way up to the edge of the white light shield. The high-speed wing vibration was practically buzzing right in their ears. Some people clenched their fists, staring hard at the white light. Some shut their eyes tight in panic, and some just sipped tea like it was nothing, not caring at all about the mutated mosquitoes outside. The brain-numbing buzz of the mosquitoes started fading the moment they touched the edge of the white light. A menacing swarm of mutated mosquitoes vanished cleanly in full view of everyone. On the other side of the white light shield, another swarm of mutated mosquitoes appeared too. They were about the same size as the last batch, but the ending was the same. The second they flew toward people, the white light erased them completely. Cheers erupted in the crowd. Shouts rang out, and everyone finally relaxed and went back to their own stuff, like drawing comics. Yi Fu-jie stood on the city wall, his face grim as he watched the mutated mosquitoes flying in from afar. The rainy season had just started, so how were mutated mosquitoes already hatching? Blue flames kept shooting out from the high wall, but there were just way too many mosquitoes. Before they could clear this wave, the next one was already here. Inside the walls, people were racing to clear mosquito eggs. Even so, inside the walls, some people still got hurt. The authorities were short on manpower. Yi Fu-jie closed his eyes and let out a sigh, then opened them again. His eyes held the resolve of someone ready to go all in. He picked part of the manpower to escort the remaining civilians in the city to donghua restaurant. Yi Fu-jie looked west, as if he could see that restaurant wrapped in a white light canopy. White light, I get it now. Yi Fu-jie called the city guard back and spoke in a low voice by his ear. This is the only play we have right now. People in the restaurant were eating leisurely, when suddenly a huge commotion came from far away. What now? Another mutated freak show. Everyone looked outside, curious, until they saw a group of people in black uniforms, sprinting toward the restaurant at top speed, and behind them came a massive wave of mutated mosquitoes. They slipped into the white light without a hitch, while the mutated mosquitoes evaporated on the spot. So it really works. The customers nearby saw it, and all rushed to join in. After all the trouble it took them to finally get a chance to be the big shot, there was no way they were letting this opportunity slip. Everyone copied the same move, luring the mosquitoes that were flying toward the city wall straight to the restaurant, wiped out. Before long, the mosquito tide that worried residents most during the rainy season was resolved just like that. Ling Jing walked out from the back kitchen and saw everyone in the restaurant chatting and laughing, even though the rainy season was not over yet. With donghua restaurant here, everyone's eyes were full of hope. They would definitely make it through this rainy season safe and sound. And as this battle drew near, donghua restaurant has completely made a name for itself in Zaicheng. Looking at the ever-increasing turnover, completing the rainy season mission is just a matter of time now. Blue flashes of fire are constantly shooting from the high walls. There are just way too many mosquitoes. Before this wave is even cleared, the next one is already here. People inside the walls are working around the clock to clear out the mosquito eggs. Despite being inside the walls, some people still got injured. Sir, we are running short on manpower. Yi Fu-jie closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and when he opened them again, his eyes were filled with a desperate resolve. Pick a squad to escort the remaining citizens to donghua restaurant. Yi Fu-jie looked toward the west, seemingly seeing that restaurant shrouded in white light from afar. The white light. I have got it. Yi Fu-jie called the city guard back and whispered in his ear. This is our only way now. Inside the restaurant, people were eating leisurely. Suddenly, a massive commotion came from the distance. What is going on? Is there another mutant monster coming? Everyone looked outside curiously, until they saw a group of people in black uniforms, running toward the restaurant at top speed, with a huge swarm of mutant mosquitoes chasing right behind them. The people successfully entered the white light, while the mutant mosquitoes evaporated on the spot. It actually works. The customers nearby saw this, and started joining in one after another. They finally got a chance to turn the tables. So of course, they were not going to miss this opportunity. Everyone followed suit, luring the mosquitoes headed for the city walls, to the restaurant to be wiped out. Soon, the mosquito nest that worried the residents most during the rainy season was dealt with just like that. Ling Jing walked out from the kitchen, and saw everyone in the restaurant laughing and chatting, even though the rainy season was not over yet. With donghua restaurant here, everyone's eyes were filled with hope. They would definitely survive this rainy season safely. And after this battle for Lingjing, donghua restaurant had completely made a name for itself in Zaicheng. Looking at the ever-increasing turnover, completing the rainy season mission is just a matter of time. The rain shelter was packed with diners enjoying breakfast. Lingjing stood at the checkout counter, watching the bustling scene before her. The rainy season was over. Lingjing's business was doing better than ever, watching the points in her account keep rising. Even the air felt fresher. However, as per usual, this kind of peace generally does not last very long. The heavy roar of engines came from the distance. 3 silver armored vehicles with aggressive designs drove up rudely, braking hard at the edge of the restaurant's protective shield, kicking up a cloud of dust. What the heck is this thing? It almost crashed into my breakfast. The door of the middle armored vehicle opened upward. Mo Fei-si stepped out in a spotless, arrogant coat. The tablet in his hand flickered with a cold light. Target energy field visualized. Structure confirmed stable. Survival status of border town residents. Remains at an inferior level. Yi Fu-jie rushed over with the city guards. His expression grim. I am Yi Fu-jie, the executive officer of Zaicheng. May I ask who you are? Special inspection team from the 3 great cities. I am the team leader, Mo Fei-si. We are here to study that energy field. Please cooperate with our work. Do not obstruct scientific research. Mo Fei-si walked straight toward the protective shield. Behind him followed 8 fully armed peacekeepers. The devices in their hands let out a weird shrill buzz. Boss sis. They look terrifying. Do not be scared. Looks like they did not come in peace. Mo Fei-si stood at the edge of the shield. He reached out and felt that layer of white glow. A feverish, manic look spread across his face. A perfect energy structure. A completely unknown technical principle. I have to get it. Would you like breakfast, guests? Today's special is a level 1 energy suppressor startup. Begin the field interference test immediately. 2 security officers quickly carried out a complex-looking device. Indicator lights on its surface flashed like crazy. The shield suddenly started to ripple violently. The white light visibly contracted inward. Those who had been sitting at the edge of the shield realized in horror half their bodies were already exposed to the toxic air. The shield is shrinking. My shoulder touched the poison gas. Back up, back up. The poison gas is getting in. Boss sis, what do we do? Ling Jing went pale. The system interface in front of her was flashing red like mad. System urgent warning. High-intensity energy interference detected. Shield stability has dropped to 78%. Countermeasures recommended immediately. Coverage reduced by 15%. Countermeasures recommended immediately. They do not waste a second. They show up and start swinging. This bunch is even more rabid than Feng Go. Mo Fei-si stared at the data stream on the tablet, ecstatic. His fingers flew across the screen. The operation is working. The field is shrinking as expected. Energy resonance frequency is being captured. Prepare to initiate. Level 2 interference. Stop your equipment right now. Or do not blame me for getting rough. So you are the controller of this energy field. Interesting. I suggest you shut down the energy field voluntarily. Cooperate with our research. Otherwise, Yi Fu-jie rushed forward with the city guards. Longxi and Longya also moved in front of Ling Jing to protect her. The air turned razor tense. Captain Mo Fei-si, please stop what you are doing immediately. You are on Zaicheng territory. Zaicheng is just a backwater border town. We represent the will of the 3 great cities. This energy field concerns the future of all humanity. Are you sure you want to stand in our way? The other security officers raised their weapons, one after another. Those oddly shaped devices began emitting even stronger energy fluctuations. The shield kept shrinking amid intense flashes of white light. If it keeps shrinking like this, we will all be exposed to the poison gas. Boss, let me smash those junk machines. System switch plans. Any better idea? If this keeps up, the shield is seriously about to give out. Analyzing the interference source. Emergency defense mode recommended. 5,000 points required. Confirm. Confirmed. Initiating immediately. Just as the shield was about to shrink even further, the whole restaurant suddenly erupted in a blinding white light. Trade-offs. The wavering shield stabilized in an instant. It even became more solid than before. Impossible. The energy readings are not dropping. They are rising. That violates the law of conservation of energy. I gave you a chance. Now it is my turn. Ling Jing stepped forward. The shield expanded outward with her, forcing those energy suppressors to stumble back again and again. Hurry, crank up the output power. We have to suppress that energy field. Captain, the equipment is overloaded. Keep this up, and it is going to blow, trying to run wild on my turf. Fine. Today I will show you what absolute defense really means. The restaurant shield flared with blinding white light, teetering on the verge of collapse. Mo Fei-si wore a smile, like victory was already in the bag. So this is all your energy field can do. Keep boosting the power. System, it is time to give these science fanboys a little reality check. Shield stabilization and counterattack module activated, consuming 5,000 points. Friendly reminder, this service includes reverse charging. Beginning cleanup of illegal equipment. The violently surging white light suddenly stabilized, then burst into an even more dazzling glare. The shield not only snapped back to normal in an instant, it even expanded outward by a full ring. Boss sister is the best. Ripples shimmered across the shield surface, and a pulse of energy shot back along the same path. The suppressors had forced it through. Those pricey suppressors from the survey team started belching black smoke one after another. One of the most expensive units just straight up exploded, parts scattering everywhere. Captain, all the equipment overloaded and burned out. My instruments. I bought those with a loan. The tablet in Mo Fei-si hand first turned into a screen of static, then a system crash alert popped up, and finally it went completely black. He hammered the power button like his life depended on it, but nothing happened. No way. Absolutely no way. 3 months of experimental data just vanished. Oh wow, Looks like the three great cities gear is not exactly top tier. Want me to recommend a reliable repair shop, though the repair bill might cost more than the machine itself. Long Shi somehow pulled out a roasted sweet potato, munching while watching the show. Serves you right for showing off. Now you are stunned, huh? Boss sister, they are not going to make us pay for this, are they? Pay? They should be paying me for emotional damages. You scared me so bad I almost threw my wok. Mo Facey face went steel cold, his fingers turning white from the death grip. He glared at Ling Jing, and for the first time, doubt flickered in his eyes. This completely contradicts established scientific theory. Could he have mastered some kind of energy form we still do not understand? Captain, what do we do now? All the equipment is totaled. Yi Fu Zhe stepped forward with the city guards, his tone stern, but with a faint, barely noticeable smile. Captain Mo Facey, looks like your scientific research has run into a few technical difficulties. Need a tow truck? No need. Today was only an equipment test. We will pay a visit another day. The survey team members scrambled to gather up the smoking wreckage. Looking completely pathetic, the diners around them pointed and whispered, snickering under their breath. And here we thought they were something. Turns out this is it. Hey, total crash. With skills like that, they still dared to come wreck the place. But judging by how salty they look, they are probably still plotting some dirty trick. Whatever. Let me count up the points I made today first. Bring it on. I will deal with it when it comes. If trouble shows up, I will cook something so good they will forget why they came. Mo Facey shot Ling Jing a long, hard look. Then he left with his men, tails between their legs. Ling Jing turned and headed back to the restaurant, and went right back to chilling and counting cash. Boss, what if they come back to stir up trouble again? Then we let them experience another round of technology, crushing them flat. Besides, the system already said it. Next time we can upgrade to the deluxe counterattack combo meal, guaranteed to leave a lifelong impression. Mo Facey. He stared at the charred wreckage of the device on the table, his face dark as a storm. If force does not work, then we do it the soft way. Go get the nutrition paste 3.0 sample and find out who's been talking trash about that restaurant. Yes, Captain. But all our instruments got scrapped. What are we supposed to use to analyze it? Garbage like that does not need analysis anymore. What we need is to analyze people. Mo Facey stood on a makeshift stage, holding up a dusty gray, brick-like chunk. Everyone, take a look. 3 Great Cities Tech Crystal All-Purpose Nutrition Paste 3.0. One small piece provides a full day of nutrition. High efficiency, low cost. This is the future of the Mo brand. Mo Facey hyped it up like his life depended on it, knocking the brick so it thudded loud. A few curious residents gathered around. This thing does not even look as tasty as black wheat cake. Plain on the outside, but packed with substance on the inside. If it can be mass-produced, it can benefit everyone. Not like certain places that turn food into flashy nonsense, wasting precious resources just to satisfy a tiny handful of people's cravings. Mo Facey had his assistant cut the nutrition paste into small pieces and hand them out to the crowd. Someone tried it. Their face twisted. No flavor. It is like chewing candles. Nutrition is what matters. Taste is secondary. Just imagine if everyone had this. Why risk your neck every day, going outside the walls to find food? A few of Feng Go former lackeys' faces twitched, trading looks with each other. Long Shi found Ling Jing while she was checking inventory. Boss, today a bunch of regulars were talking about resource allocation and long-term development. They also brought up some paste from the 3 great cities. Oh. So they switched tactics, starting a PR war and trying to poach our people. Some people even said, our restaurant's food is great, but it is too much work. If there really is an apocalypse-level crisis, then that nutrition paste is more practical. They said you were sitting on better technology and refusing to share, holding everyone back. In a corner of the residential district, Mo Facey assistant was in a quiet talk with Pat and his leftover crew, whispering plans. The 3 great cities welcome talented people. As long as you are willing, we can provide status and technology. Think about it. Why stay here and live by someone else's moods, scraping by for a few hard-earned coins? But the restaurant's food really can detox people. We have detox injections too. And they are even more efficient. That Ling Jing is just monopolizing the tech, jacking up the price, making you dependent on her. Has she ever thought about the future of humanity as a whole? In a corner of the residential district, Mo Facey assistant was in a quiet talk with Pat and his leftover crew, whispering plans. The 3 great cities welcome talent. As long as you are willing, we can provide identity tech. Think about it, why keep reading faces around here? Just to scrape together a few hard-earned coins. But that restaurant food really can detox. We have detox injections too. And they are even more efficient. That Ling Jing is just monopolizing the tech and jacking up the price, making you dependent on her. Has she ever considered the future of all humanity? Inside the restaurant, Lena stormed into the rice room, cheeks puffed in anger. Boss, my big sister is mad as hell. Someone just said my chili hot pot I bought was definitely not paid for with that apocalypse spirit stuff. Are their brains glued shut by that junk hook? Do not be mad, someone is treating everyone to bricks. And they still insist bricks are more nutritious than braised pork. Can you hold the line? Let them talk. Perfect chance to see who folds under pressure. Longxi, keep an eye out, especially those who have not been coming to buy rice lately, or those who always look around and fish for info once they enter. Lingjing knew exactly what was going on. Mo Fei pulling this stunt was nothing new, but it was still pretty annoying. Still, she believed even more. On some residents' faces, a wary calculating look began to surface. Time to see who tries to undermine her. Is it your empty promises, or my roasted sweet potatoes that actually smell amazing? At the official exchange counter in Zaicheng Central Square, a long line formed. At the Wenyue exchange window, a new notice was suddenly posted. According to order number 233 from the three great cities, to optimize Apocalypse resource allocation, a new buyback price will be implemented effective immediately. Crystals at 500%. Cores at 800%. Private merchants will set daily purchase quotas. The crowd exploded. Everyone started talking at once. 500 times. Are you kidding me? I saved crystals for half a month, just waiting to pay off my tab and buy braised pork. Purchase limit. What is the restaurant supposed to do now? Pat blended into the crowd, his eyes darting around. He started setting the pace. Oh come on, this is all that shop outside the West Wall bringing bad luck. Before, the three great cities never cared about us. Ever since that shop opened, trouble has been non-stop. What Pat said twisted the three great cities' crackdown into trouble caused by the restaurant. A crowd that was hungry and furious was easiest to lead by the nose. A few residents who got riled up started shouting along. That is right. Things were hard before. But there were not this many stupid rules. The restaurant is good. But once it showed up, the three great cities showed up too. Yi Fuzhe rushed over, staring at the notice, his face turning iron blue. Mo Fei strolled out from behind, unhurried. Executor Yi Fuzhe, this new policy is for optimizing resources for all humanity. Try to understand. You are trying to starve Zaicheng to death, not standardize management. Of course, if Boss Ling is willing to cooperate with our research, the price is not off the table. Poverty shows true colors. The price hike is a smokescreen. Pressuring Ling Jing to hand over the tech is the real goal. Mo Fei is seriously good at dirty tricks. The residents quickly realized something. Sure, the official buyback price went up, but the only ones who could buy in huge, steady volumes were the authorities, and the authorities only handed out a tiny, pathetic amount of rations, or special vouchers that could barely buy anything at all, so they still had no real money to eat. The crowd gathered in the square again. This time, they were angry. Crystals were valuable now, but they still could not trade them for the boss's roasted potatoes. They bought our crystals at sky-high prices. So, what are we supposed to eat? Air for dinner? Huh. My kid is counting on the restaurant's porridge to detox. Now, we cannot afford it anymore. Some leftover goons from Pat's crew blended into the crowd and seized the chance to stir the pot. If you ask me, the root of it is that restaurant. If he did not buy up so much stuff and jack prices up this high, would the three great cities even roll out a policy like this? If he really cared about everyone, he should hand over the technology and bring the prices down. Some people, dizzy from hunger and anxiety, started echoing it. Yeah. If the restaurant were cheaper, we would not be living this hard. The food is delicious, but we cannot afford it. The restaurant side also erupted into chaos. Residents, who came to trade ingredients for cash, swarmed the exchange box and spun in circles from panic. Boss. The box says my quota is maxed out for today. This bucket of mutant veggies used to trade for 2 coins. Now it says it is only worth half a coin. And you are even accusing me of a bad faith exchange. Longxi came rushing in, panting hard. Boss, the square over there has blown up. A lot of people cannot exchange for money. They cannot afford food. Those guys from Pat's side are fanning the flames. They are pointing the finger at us. Oh, so the cornered dogs are jumping the wall. They have started riling up the mob to turn on itself. Even the system's exchange box got restricted by the rules. Ling Jing stood behind the counter, watching the chaos in front of her, while the little accountant in her head kept clicking non-stop. Fine, Mo Fei, you want to play a price war with me? Purchase limits. Like I built my business on buying junk and praying. Warning, external economic policy has changed. Points earning efficiency decreased. 72.8%. Boss, this is Mo Fei's scheme. He is trying to force us to hand over the technology. Hand over the tech. Bring the price down. Keep dreaming. This is legit craftsmanship. Good thing I saw it coming. Time to push the Farm Phase 2 project online ahead of schedule. And while I am at it, add a little spice to this muddy water. At the restaurant's entrance, Ling Jing hung up a new sign. The sign read, starting today, this shop adds a labor points redemption option. Anyone who joins farm expansion, crop care, and related work can earn points by hours worked and redeem food directly. Crystal buyback is limited. Boss, can the farm really produce enough? Before, maybe not. But now, the system unlocked the accelerated growth module for me. Points will be deducted accordingly. Now the real showdown begins. Mo Fei wanted to crush her with resources and rules, but Ling Jing also held the system and the land in her hands. By morning, the empty lot outside the restaurant was packed with people. Longxi squinted as he stepped out of the restaurant. Then he froze. Boss, our backyard got taken over by aliens. Ling Jing walked out with a teacup in hand. That is my delivery order from last night. The ecological garden combo. This place was empty yesterday, and now it is packed with all kinds of stuff that has no business showing up in the apocalypse. Bright green cucumber vines crawled everywhere, and red tomatoes were clustered in bunches. These little guys look fresher than the Three Great Cities promo posters, and they popped out of the soil overnight. Lena pressed her whole face against the clear wall. Boss sis. This cucumber, I swear it is smiling at me. How does it look so ridiculously happy? Because it knows. It is about to get turned into smashed cucumber salad. The crowd kept growing, and gasps rippled through them. Did I breathe in too much toxic gas and start hallucinating? This hurts, so it is not a dream. Boss Ling actually grew vegetables, and they are not toxic. Mo Fei and Yi Fuzhe rushed over. Impossible. Soilless cultivation requires a complete closed-loop system. Photosynthesis takes time. What about conservation of energy? What about the laws of physics? Ling Jing strolled up to Mo Fei with a sweet little smile. Captain Mo Fei, want to come in for a tour? Admission is 10 city coins. I will even throw in a cucumber as a souvenir. Fresh pick too. Way tastier than your nutrient paste. What tech are you using? Everyone, listen up. Starting today, the restaurant will buy limited quantities. The crowd immediately stirred, but we have a better option. Ling Jing walked over to the brand new big sign. A close-up read Hope Farm Work for Meals program. Job, grow vegetables. Pay, labor points. 1 labor point equals 1/10 of a city coin. Perks, do well and get 1 bonus tomato. Power up, do great and get a bonus quote of the day. I cannot grow cucumbers. It is fine. Boss will teach you. Me. I am signing up. My family has farmed for 3 generations. Sure, everything we grew was poisonous, but I am strong. I can even give cucumbers a massage. No massages needed. They are already growing pretty happily. What we need is careful hands. In an instant, the crowd surged to Longxi registration desk. To line up. Old Wang, did you not say yesterday you were ditching to the 3 great cities? No way. I was born a Zaicheng man, and I will die in Zaicheng. A vegetable farmer. Boss Ling points, I plant. Simple. The scene right in front of him was a straight-up nightmare for Mo Fei. His carefully planned economic war started with buying up ingredients at sky-high prices to cut off the restaurant supply, then using public pressure to force Ling Jing to fold. And then Ling Jing flipped the table and dropped an ecological garden on them. And she even rolled out a labor points program, which is basically rebuilding a whole economic system right in Zaicheng. And the key part is, those residents who used to hate Ling Jing because of the high-price crystal policy have completely flipped their attitude. No. Every last one of them is staring at those fresh, dewy veggies like their life depends on it. With only 2 thoughts left in their heads, I want to farm. And I want to eat. Record all of it. We have to get the tech. Captain, our instruments blew up last time. Then use your eyes. And use your brain to remember. Yi Fuzhe walked over to Mo Fei. Looks like Zixing's food problem has already been solved by Boss Ling. Captain Mo Fei, you can pack up that optimized distribution plan of yours now. The output of a small-scale ecological garden like this can't possibly support long-term demand. This one is just for show. The real farm is behind it. 10 times bigger than this. Oh right, Captain Mo Fei. If the 3 great cities run short on vegetables, you can come buy wholesale. Barter is welcome. For example, trade those blown-up instrument parts of yours. The crowd burst out laughing. Let's move. Ling Jing directed the first batch of selected residents into the ecological garden. Inside, it was ridiculously clean, with only neatly arranged cultivation troughs and control panels glowing softly. An old man trembled as he pressed the control panel. Man, I haven't seen vegetables this clean in years. Boss Ling, you are basically my second set of parents. No, sir, just do your job properly. Tomorrow, you can pick the tenderest cucumber for your grandson. Guaranteed to taste better than those nutrition bars. System, that ecological garden module you set me up with is pricey, not gonna lie. But the results are seriously solid. Mo Fei is probably so mad he wants to headbutt a wall. But next, he is going to start playing dirty. System, turn on passive defense for the farm zone tonight. Deduct the points as needed. My fresh, dewy vegetables. Better not get wrecked because someone wants a punching bag. The residents lined up to receive their day 1 labor points cards. Every one of them grinned from ear to ear. Longxi squatted by the ecological garden, gnawing on a roasted sweet potato. Boss, listen. Are we about to get rich or what? No idea if we will get rich, but at least we won't have to read the 3 great cities mood anymore. Time to eat. Lena hugged a freshly picked tomato and refused to let go. Boss sister. This tomato is so red. I can't bear to eat it. Silly kid, there will be new ones tomorrow. Now go help Sister Longxi with the registration. When you're done, I will reward you with a cucumber. A few of Pat's remaining goons hid in the shadows, glaring at the glowing ecological garden. How does that woman keep turning a dead end into a win? But then again, boss, that tomato does look pretty damn good. Shut it. Captain Mo Fei said, as long as we take him down, we will get official status in the 3 great cities. The nearby ecological garden not only broke the economic blockade of the 3 great cities, it also planted a seed in the hearts of Zixing's residents. The seed of standing on their own. Mo Fei is definitely going to use more aggressive methods. After all, a technological miracle he cannot control is, to the current order of the three great cities, probably even more dangerous than mutated monsters. Ling Jing stood at the restaurant entrance, watching the cheering crowd and the glowing ecological garden. Had some tea to cool off. System, remember to settle my overtime pay tonight. Tisk. Points have been deducted from the ecological garden module and the defense system. Multiple hostile surveillance signals detected. Recommendation, host should remain alert. Here they come, here they come. Knew they would not be able to resist. Fine. Tonight, we will see whether your little scheme is any good, or whether my farming style system is the real MVP. Late at night, the ecological garden gave off a soft glow. Three dark figures crept closer in secret. One of Pat's leftover crew hugged a bag of stuff. Blow up this trash garden, and we will get 3 great cities status. Boss, how about we pick a couple tomatoes first, then blow it? They look way too juicy. That guy got smacked with a slap from Pat's leftover crew. Pathetic. After we blow it, we head to the 3 great cities. Ha, there is no good food here anyway. Just as Pat and the others were about to plant the explosives, the ecologist Ai Lin was watching. She stared at the tomatoes and thought of Mo Fei, who would pay any price to get that technology. Her conscience and orders went to war inside her head. These crops are innocent, and those resident smiles are real. I studied ecology to keep life going, not to destroy it. Ai Lin gritted her teeth and made a decision. She slipped out of the camp and ran straight for the Zicheng residential zone. Hurry, someone is going to blow up the ecological garden. Pat and his people are carrying explosives. What? Longya, rally the squad. 5 minutes later, Longya's squad and Pat and his crew ran into each other outside the ecological garden. Pat, are you people stupid? If you blow up the garden, what are you going to eat? Put the explosives down. We will go to the 3 great cities to eat good stuff and drink the spicy burn. The 2 sides slammed into a chaotic brawl. Pat's side had fewer people, but with a do-or-die mindset they fought extra vicious. The 3 great cities' nutrition paste is harder to swallow than a brick. You have been played. In the chaos, one of Pat's leftover crew was about to be subdued when he yanked out a detonator with bloodshot eyes. Then we die together. He hit the button. But the explosives did not go off by the ecological garden. They blew up near the bushes where they had hidden earlier. Boom. Turns out when Ai Lin sent the warning, Long Shi kept an extra trick up her sleeve and had the team quietly move the explosive bag to a different spot. The blast wave still flipped several people over. A shard hit one team member's shoulder. My roasted sweet potato, I have not even eaten it yet. Hang in there. Longya grabbed them. The explosion startled everyone. Ling Jing rushed out of the restaurant with a coat thrown over her. Mo Fei also arrived with his people. On-site system activated. Maximum alert. Also administer the best medicine to the wounded. Emergency points payout has been activated. Medical treatment agents are prepared. Mo Fei looked at Pat and the others pinned down by Long Ya, then at Ai Lin, pale as a sheet, and suddenly understood. Dr. Ai Lin. So you were the one who tipped them off. Those crops are innocent, yes. But we cannot. You violated the investigation team's discipline. You will be placed under review. 2 security officers stepped up and restrained Ai Lin. Stop right there. Captain Mo Fei, your people snuck in at midnight with explosives to wreck my property, and they even hurt my people. Now you want to detain the whistleblower too. This is an internal matter of the expedition team. As for Pat and the others, they are not members of the expedition team. They are just local thugs. Zicheng can handle them as it sees fit, and Dr. Ai Lin is one of ours. We must take her with us. Mo Fei is really pulling a ruthless ditch the pond to save the king move. He treats Pat like a disposable piece. At the same time, under the name of internal discipline, he is trying to control Ai Lin, the one with a conscience who figured it out. The nature of this conflict has already shifted from behind-the-scenes tug-of-war to open confrontation. You. Ling Jing raised her hand to stop them. Long Shi stared at Mo Fei for a few seconds, then suddenly laughed. She pointed at the bushes still smoking, and the injured team members. Fine. Take your person. But Captain Mo Fei, these medical expenses, emotional distress, facility fright and disruption fees, and my sleep loss fee too. Please settle the bill. Points payment accepted. We also accept expedition equipment as debt collateral. HMPH. We will assess the damages. Good. Oh, and Dr. Ai Lin, thank you for saving my garden. Mo Fei left with a dark face, taking his people with him. Long Shi group hurried to carry the injured into the restaurant for treatment. Nice. He went straight to kidnapping. But that girl Ai Lin has guts. She has a conscience. System, keep a close watch on the expedition camp. Focus on protecting Ai Lin's safety. Do not let them really do something to her. Ding. Protection target marked. Friendly reminder, most emotional value has reached the danger threshold. Suggested, host should strengthen defenses. System, are our calm farming days about to be over? Mo Fei arrived with a fully armed security squad, escorting Ai Lin with her hands bound, and blocked the restaurant entrance outright. Ling Jing Yi Fu Jie, get out here now. with that kind of posture. Even the customers eating breakfast were stunned. Ling Jing strolled out at an unhurried pace. Yi Fu Jie also rushed over with the city guards. Captain Mo Fei, such a big show of force. Are you here to present me a banner of honor? I now formally accuse the ecologist Ai Lin of stealing the highest level secrets of the 3 great cities and privately leaking them to local forces. The evidence is conclusive, given the severity of the situation. A final notice is hereby issued. Within 24 hours. Zaicheng and Ling Jing personally must hand over unconditionally 1. The protective mask generator device. 1. The protective mask generator device. 2. All pure crop seeds and cultivation technology. 3. All related research materials. Mo Fei raised the document and looked at Ling Jing with a nasty grin. If you fail to hand them over by the deadline, we will handle Ai Lin according to the law and immediately report to the 3 great cities that Zaicheng and this restaurant are to be classified as an anti-human illegal armed separatist force. When the time comes, the 3 great cities coalition will carry out a full armed purge. Shameless. This is straight-up coercion and blackmail. This is for the safety and future of all humanity. An uncontrolled programmer holding dangerous tech is a threat to everyone. The security officers behind him raised their weapons in unison, barrels aimed straight at the restaurant. Yi Fu Jie side guards also lifted their guns and squared off at once. Click, click, click. The mood dropped to freezing in an instant. Dozens of guns pointed at each other from both sides. In the middle was Ai Lin, tied up, and Ling Jing, still sipping soy milk. The breakfast crowd either crouched down or shrank back inside the donghua restaurant, too scared to make a sound. Boss sis. They actually came. Captain Mo Fei, let's talk this through. Nothing to talk about. Hand it over or not. Look, you want my protective shield. My seeds. How is that any different from asking me to strip myself bare and gift wrap it for you? What's the difference? Just to trade for her. This is your only choice. Trade controllable tech for the life of a trader. Fair deal. Or do you want the whole Zaicheng to be buried with her? Moral kidnapping plus armed threats. Same old playbook. System, if things really pop off. Can our protective shield hold back a coalition army? Based on current data calculations, the protective shield can withstand standard firepower attacks for 72 hours. But if the other side uses strategic level weapons, suggest the host does not attempt it. Note on demographics. Ai Lin vital signs are normal, but her emotional index is too low. Alright, 24 hours, yeah. Bossling, you cannot. You watch him first. Do not let him go hungry. He likes tomatoes. I will give you my answer in 24 hours. You better not try any funny business. I run a restaurant. What kind of tricks could I possibly pull? Worst case, I just add a few extra materials to your technical documentation. Right. Business is business. Do not block me from making money. Longxi, today roasted sweet potatoes are buy 2 get 1 free. Ling Jing went back into the restaurant. Mo Fei stared at the front door for a long while, then waved and ordered a retreat. But the security officers still stayed in the distance, forming a siege posture. Boss, are you really going to hand it over? Hand over what? I am thinking whether to make a tomato bomb or whip up an explosive cucumber. 24 hours is enough for me to prep a big gift. System, activate all defense modules. Points balance sufficient. Also, I need a technical manual that looks terrifying, but is actually useless. A template. Template, activated. Peak form, intimidation only technical document downloaded. 200 points required to generate. Generating additionally. Put a tracker on Ai Lin and enable emergency protection. Do not let anything happen to him for real. Outside the donghua restaurant, the guards set up defensive lines with grim faces. Inside, Ling Jing started studying the system. The non-lethal defense gadgets in the shop. Aunt Longxi, boss. Sis, do you have a plan now? No idea, but I have a feeling. Mo Fei is about to have a very bad day.